when we were being threatened to be sued, they used the Bowblax video as like proof.
Which is why, even though if you come out and you make videos where you aren't necessarily alleging things, but everything that you're saying is like an implication, it still fucking has real world consequences, and it's fucking bullshit.
Crazy.
Some lawyers trying to use this.
We're trying to digest the idea that we like only sold 50K pay-per-views, and we looked at each other and we were like, do you want to just like
kill ourselves?
Like literally, like there was like that actual like, thought. We did everything we could right, and we cared.
It makes me angry.
The accusations of us
really angry
stealing money makes me very angry.
Yeah. And I will say, like, this is one of these things where, like, I haven't come across a video that explicitly states that we or anyone involved has, like, stolen money or whatever.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, with the irresponsible type of, like, commentary videos and reporting, it's basically all implied to the audience, and there is no amount of journalistic integrity to like take responsibility for like the message that you're spreading.
I know.
Shit's like creepy and weird. Like, am I in the right place?
I know.
How did this all go so wrong? And I thought, oh yeah, Ian got a girlfriend.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to the most irresponsible and creepy coverage on YouTube. These clips came from a Patreon-only podcast that iDubbbz and Anissa recently did a couple weeks ago. I just became aware of it and got access to it recently, and oh my god, the stuff they say in there is wild. It's basically a 1 hour and 20-minute therapy session about the failure that was Creator Clash 2, with a surprising emphasis on my coverage being the source of a lot of their problems, calling it weird and creepy. I disagree, but at that point it's just he said, she said. So instead of just telling you that my coverage was fine, why not compile it all into this video and let you guys see for yourselves? Plus, it's been a while since this whole thing happened, so I'm sure a lot of you guys could use a refresher. But if you don't need one, you can skip to the last chapter of this video to get to the new stuff. But with all that being said, let's take a look at the collapse of Creator Clash.
Froggy Fresh 2012.
So as many of you guys know, Froggy Fresh, the baddest of them all, is most known for his comedic viral YouTube songs that he's made over the past decade. And recently he was announced to be a fighter against Chris Ray-Gun in an influencer charity boxing event hosted by iDubbbz and his wife Anissa, that being Creator Clash 2. But recently they kicked him off of the event due to this Twitter video he made trying to promote the event titled Limitless.
There seems to be substantial evidence that Chris Ray-Gun is now on Adderall. Well, young man, amphetamines couldn't save Hitler, and they can't save you either. On April 15th, if I don't hurt you beyond what anybody could have imagined, I will be so disappointed in myself that I will subscribe to Anissa's OnlyFans.
So due to him joking about subscribing to the creator of the event's OnlyFans as a punishment for losing the fight, some other fighters in the event got pretty upset at this, one of them being Mika, who replied, "This is actually gross, Tyler," to which Froggy Fresh responds, "I'm just out here grinding for charities, all of them." So because of that Twitter video he made, as well as training for the fight with iDubbbz's arch nemesis Sam Hyde, this was enough for Anissa's mom to get very mad at him on Twitter, saying stuff such as she's the reason he's on the card, as well as calling him an imp and hoping he gets replaced. Froggy quote tweets her and says, "Better an imp than a pimp. Shout out your boy iDubbbz." Anissa, "Come get your mom." And Maureen iDubbbz, "Hit me up to beat up your daughter's boyfriend, lol." Dick Ticker responds to this by saying, "This is supposed to be a friendly fight for charity, Tyler. Why do you have to do this shit?" Froggy Fresh responds, "For real, that's what I'm saying. Someone come get her mama." He then makes a Twitter video with the caption, "This is for charity."
What's up, you guys? It's your boy Froggy Fresh. I going on to my Twitter today. What don't I see? Anissa's mom is saying, hoping that somebody replaces that imp. Now I go onto Google to see what imp was, and they said it's a small devil. Now, I got saved by the Lord and baptized when I was about 7, so I don't know what she's talking about. But I can tell you this is a charity event. So if Anissa's mom is going to be coming up in here talking garbage about me when she don't know a darn thing about me, I don't appreciate it. We're trying to raise money for charity. If someone can come get her and take her home, give her a coat and take her home. Because I'm just trying to raise money. Thank you.
Sam Hyde responds to the video by saying, Anisa's mom is telling him to pull Froggy Fresh from the fight because he worked out with me for a week. Insane! Hashtag nasty women. Froggy Fresh responds, this is for charity. He then makes another Twitter video titled, this is for charity, ma'am.
Guess what, Internet? I got even more news for you. Something I didn't even say about last night. Anissa's mom also made another tweet at me. She tweeted, classic case of brain damage. Better have that looked at, along with your obviously shrunken balls. First off, when I did hit my head on them monkey bars, yeah, I did get hurt a little bit. But when I got the scan done, they said I was still smart. Second off, as far as with that second thing that you said about my privates, you have got to clean up your language. That is not good to be talking like that.
So because of all of this back and forth, iDubbbz and Anisa decided to kick Froggy Fresh 3 weeks out from his fight. They announced it on the Creator Clash Twitter by saying, there has been a change in the lineup and Froggy Fresh will no longer be fighting against Chris Raygun. We will announce his replacement in the coming days. With just 3 weeks left, the countdown to Creator Clash 2 has begun. Creator Clash's goal is to make an inclusive and fun environment for creators and fans while giving back to charity. That has always been our mission, and Froggy Fresh's recent behavior does not align with that mission. We look forward to sharing this positive experience on April 15th. And as you can see by the view quote tweet to like ratio, people were not happy with this announcement. Froggy Fresh quote tweets and says, damn, comments off? Peter Plant responds, why you no longer fighting? Was looking forward to seeing you in the ring. Froggy Fresh responds, ask them. Samuel says, he can't keep getting away with this! Frosty says, events ruined, showing someone taking out the trash. Keemstar says, this is so disgusting. I can't believe Creator Clash would ban Froggy Fresh just because he made a joke about iDubbbz's wife. And they turned the replies off. Hashtag free Froggy Fresh. We stand with Froggy. Some Ordinary Gamer says, man, this is just sad to see. Wavy Websurf says, this is outrageous. Willie Mac Show says, is this real? Absurd. Literally YouTube's greatest legend gone because he trolled on Twitter. How are we gonna ban the baddest of them all for trolling? Optimus says, bro, this is the most pathetic shit I've ever seen, man. Laughing my ass off, holy fuck. Craziest part of this whole thing is Froggy has been very adamant about how this is for charity. He went into this with pure intentions, made some jokes, hung out with Sam Hyde for a week to work out, and suddenly got removed from the event. It's stupid as fuck, honestly. Augie RFC says, fuck off. iDubbbz has reached a new low with this one. Holy shit. The real reason Anisa and iDubbbz canceled Froggy Fresh's fight is because he started training with Sam Hyde. They are using the OnlyFans joke as a cover-up. Nicholas Diorio says, God, you guys suck, laughing my fucking ass off. If you were not refunding your Creator Clash ticket / pay-per-view, I don't know what you were doing, laughing my fucking ass off. Ian and Anisa obviously don't respect you as a customer, or as a fan. They've made that super clear, lol. The only boxing promotion that shuns promotion, laughing my ass off, what the fuck? Sam Hyde says, can you believe this? And then he shows that he got blocked by Anisa, iDubbbz, and Hassan and says, I own you bitches. Turkey Tom says, making fun of Anisa's mom after she shit talks you on Twitter is now illegal. Then he shows that he got blocked by Anisa. Emp Lemon says, Ian has turned into such an unimaginable prude. This is so fucking pathetic and petty and sad. How about just cut to the chase and ban anyone who has ever breathed the same air molecules as Sam Hyde, why don't ya? This is so lame. I might just bail on the event entirely. The Actman says, yo, this is crazy. Man was training his ass off for this event and for what? Just to get dropped off the lineup 3 weeks beforehand? Absolutely terrible look for Creator Clash. Tier Zoo responds by saying, did he drop out of his own volition? Or was he cancelled or something? Boo Boo Keys responds, removed. He was training with Sam Hyde, made a joke about Anisa's OnlyFans, and Anisa's mom got cranky with him. I don't think this was necessary at all. Let the man fight! Tier Zoo responds, ah lol, it's Anisa's event. Bonehead moved to talk crap about the person organizing the whole thing, especially with so many people itching to fight. Donovan says, I was born with a rare genetic disease that slowly eats away at all my muscles, eventually leaving me a shell of what I could have been. And yet Ian is still somehow more fragile than I could ever be. Leon Lush says, laughing my ass off, catastrophic L. Brendan Buckingham says, Anisa and her mom are the ones who should be removed from Creator Clash. Kavos says, this is so fucking stupid. They better put Froggy Fresh back on the card. Ian really is just the shell of who he used to be, and has become pretty unbearable these days. He also tweets out, laughing my ass off, the Creator Clash versus Froggy Fresh drama summed up, showing a puppet that's iDubbbz girlfriend's mom, controlling another puppet that's iDubbbz girlfriend, controlling another puppet that's iDubbbz. Comment Cop tweets out this image with a quote from iDubbbz video that says, I'm totally fine with dudes joking about and jacking off to Anisa's OnlyFans. Then Froggy Fresh saying, if I lose my boxing fight, I will subscribe to Anisa's OnlyFans. And then Creator Clash tweeting out that Froggy Fresh will no longer be part of the event. Pimpmaster Broda tweets out, iDubbbz 2016, either all of it's okay or none of it is. iDubbbz 2023, it's either, actually let me ask my wife first before I talk so I don't get in trouble. And then he shows that he just got blocked by Ian and Anisa. Moving on to opinions from people who were involved in the event, Creator Clash commentator Charlie tweets out, I'm really disappointed by this. Kicking him for Twitter controversy after months of training is brutal. I don't think any jokes he made were intended to be mean-spirited or shit on anyone. Hopefully they reconsider this decision. Pete Gunter responds by saying, Charlie, if Sam Hyde was involved, you can guarantee it was mean-spirited. Use some perspective and consider a person who harasses these people's communities constantly, and maybe you wouldn't want someone emulating that behavior in your event. Jay LeRae, who was fighting in Creator Clash, approved of this reply. Empleman says, Ian's joining Sneeko in the Ratioed by Critical Club for the month. Never thought I'd see the day. And if you want to know what he's referring to, I have a video about Sneeko on my channel that you can check out after this. But moving on, Chris Raygun, who was set to fight against Froggy Fresh in the event, tweets out this gif. Comment Etiquette, who was a fighter in the last Creator Clash, tweets out, I obviously don't know much about boxing, but I think you're supposed to trash talk your opponent, not the organizers of the event. Nathan Barnett, who plays the character of Dad, who was in the previous Creator Clash and the upcoming one, tweets out, ignore internet slime lord. Anisa is amazing and cares about people. She calls fighters just to talk and ask how we are doing. Ian and Anisa are trying to put on a fun event. No one has time or cares for drama. Ones who start it shouldn't be rewarded the same as the ones being kind. Nocturnus responds by saying, Nathan, I love everything about you, but Froggy just worked with Sam. Sam is an old school guy like us. I wouldn't have him train me, but I saw what he did, and he absolutely prepared Epic Mealtime Guy for war. I'm not contacting anyone, but this is boxing, not ballet. And what he's referring to is Epic Mealtime, one of the fighters for this event and the previous event, was trained by Sam Hyde in Creator Clash 1, yet still ended up participating in the first event and was able to participate in this upcoming event. Nathan responds by saying, Sam is nothing like me, to which Nocturnius responds, yeah he is. He will not break character for anything. Nathan responds, my characters aren't hateful, and don't say random insults. And my characters aren't myself as my own name. Anisa privates her Twitter and says, time for a drink. Or 5. Later on in the night, Keemstar hosted a Twitter space with a bunch of creators joining in, one of which being Gideon, who said he would donate 100k to Creator Clash charity if Froggy Fresh gets put back on the card. Gideon confirms this when he quote tweets Keem and says, I will gladly donate if they put Froggy Fresh back on. Nicholas Diorio, who was in that Twitter space, updates people on what Froggy Fresh said in the space when he tweets out, Froggy Fresh just said his ideal charity to donate to would be anyone that benefits kids with cancer. He was asked where people should donate their money to in case they were planning on canceling their ticket or pay-per-view buy. Froggy found out 5 minutes before the public tweet that he was being dropped. This was 3 weeks before the event date. He spent money out of his own pocket along with the monthly training stuff supplied by Creator Clash. Froggy Fresh then tweets out himself encouraging people to donate to charity when he says, these are the charities I submitted that directly help children with cancer if anyone wants to donate. I don't want to take away from any aspect of charity and would always be willing to participate if invited back. He then links the charities, which I will also link in the description below and in the pinned comment if you guys want to contribute to the good cause. Some people who have already contributed money on Twitter is DJ Screwdriver, Sarah Sausage, and Robin Suda. And I've also donated some money to the charity as I was intending to go to this event but have since decided against it due to what has happened. Froggy Fresh also tweets out, we know at minimum 100k donated straight to the charities of Creator Clash is on the line if I'm reinstated to the fight in Creator Clash. I am more than willing to fight. Let's see how much they truly care about charity. What's up, Invaders then responds, just donate the money anyway. You were just saying that you'll pay 100k to get back into the fight. Let's see how much you really care about charity. Froggy Fresh then responds, Gideon said he would. I don't have 100k to put up. He then posts this song he made to Twitter titled Creator Clash 2.
I opened up my phone, someone sent me a link, and what came up on my iPhone screen's the grossest thing that I ever seen. I really couldn't believe it. Was the picture really real? My knees got weak and my arms got heavy. I almost puked up my meal. I showed my phone to my wife, and I seen her eyes get sad. And that was when I knew this whole dang thing was gonna be bad. So now I'll show you the photo I was sent. Anissa's mom is mad, so now I'm kicked out the event. Give the people their money's worth and give them what they want. Give it all to charity for all the tickets that they bought. Cause we're both trying to find a way, we're both trying to be a man. But there's plenty of people around the world, and we ain't the only fans. Oh no, no. And I can't understand, it all got out of control. Then Anissa's mom said I had brain damage cause she didn't like my joke. What's a man gotta do to sell some tickets for a fight when it all goes straight to charity just to help some people's lives? Guess they don't like money and don't like nothing at all. Anissa's mom called me an imp just because I'm small. Well, guess what, Anissa's mom, you just messed this whole thing up. Cause this was all for charity, but you ain't got no love. Give the people their money's worth and give them what they want. And give it all to charity for all the tickets that they bought. Cause we're both trying to find a way, we're both trying to be a man. But there's plenty of people around the world, and we ain't the only fans. Oh no, no. And I work so hard, yeah, I work so hard, but we all did. Yeah, we did it for the gamers and the small kids who were out here catching losses. And I came so far, yeah, I came so far, but we all did. And it got messed up over some small shit. Could've never imagined all this. The show goes on, it's fine with me. Yeah, whatever puts butts in them seats. Yeah, whatever puts cash in them charities. Yeah, whatever puts smiles on them cheeks. Keep rolling on, it's fine with me. Yeah, I'ma keep making these beats. Sam Hyde gon' keep making that comedy. Keemstar stay reporting that beef. Give the people their money's worth and give them what they want. And give it all to charity for all the tickets that they bought. Cause we're both trying to find a way, we're both trying to be a man. But there's plenty of people around the world, and we ain't the only fans. Oh no, no.
Professor Monkey responds to Creator Clash by saying, kicking him off for silly Twitter controversy is ridiculous. About 100k to charity is on the line if Froggy isn't on the lineup. I've been helping him train too, and it would be a shame to see that all go to waste if he's kicked out. Reinstate Froggy. Froggy quote tweets him and says, one of my sparring partners. He taught me a lot, let me work. Very skilled and great dude. Was gonna be in my corner and walk out. Shout out Danny, you're the man. Danny responds, it was an honor to work with you. I love the sport of boxing and hope to be part of the sport's future one day. I appreciate the shout out. Even without it, I still would have helped. It was a shame what happened. You are welcome in my company anytime. I consider you a friend. Froggy responds, likewise brother. Appreciate everything you and everyone at Square Circle has done for me. So in the last video, I showed a tweet from Creator Clash fighter Nathan Barnett, where he called everybody criticizing Ian and Aniza for kicking Froggy Fresh out of the event Slime Balls, and one of the people he specifically called out was Sam Hyde. He also blocked Sam Hyde, and Sam Hyde responded to all of this on Twitter by saying, quote, "I will literally fight anyone if we can make the same weight," unquote. "I'll put up 100k if you gain 30 pounds. I'll drop 70 pounds. Fight at 200. If I lose 70 pounds, I will be totally weakened and skeletized, probably unable to tie my own shoes without cracking in half. I know he's not gonna step up and be a true hero, so I'll just throw this in there. If Dad beats me, I'll delete all my socials and never make any public work again." He then tweets out, "Unsurprisingly, trash content creator Dad/Nathan Barnett has declined my offer of me dropping 70 pounds and 100k. So let's up the ante. I'll do 250k cash and the GT3 RS, I own it outright. That's $500,000 for charity. Funkos, whatever you want." Froggy Fresh responds, "This is for charity." Happy Punch then tweets out, "Sam Hyde has proposed dropping 70 pounds and 100k to fight Dad," to which someone called Phil responds by showing the response Nathan gave to this proposal on Discord. Someone said, "Yo Nathan Barnett, Sam just put up 100k to fight you at 200 pounds, and says if you win he'll delete his socials and never make content again." Nathan responds, "Who?" To which he responds, "Sam Hyde." Nathan responds with a facepalm emoji, and they respond, "100k and put an end to his terror? Sounds like a great deal, and you get to beat him up." Nathan responds, "Not interested." They say, "Why?" And then he responds, "Not interested in being involved with a person like that." They respond, "Even for 100k to charity, or wherever you want to spend it? Even to banish him from the internet?" Nathan responds, "Nah, I have stuff I'm doing. Making a movie later this year. Not doing YouTube stuff and being involved with negative people. If I box again, it'll be with someone I respect and I'm friends with." Sam Hyde responds to this by saying, "I can't fight him. I'm doing a Disney cruise." He then quote tweets it and says, "This is so nuts. Never mind everything else, just the 'I'm making a movie' line. Far out, brother." So after those tweets by Sam Hyde, Nathan decided to delete all of his tweets on his Twitter account, and then subsequently delete the account, as well as delete the Twitter account for his character Dad. I make light of this on Twitter, and then Jet Neptune quote tweets me and says, "Bullied, abused, broken." Sam Hyde quote tweets him and says, "Take this man into the shop for repairs, cause he's been buck broken." I offered to drop 70 pounds, which is insane, and $500,000 purse, $250 in cash plus my GTRS, to fight this guy. His excuse? "I can't because I'm going to be in a movie and only want to fight people I'm friends with. I own your fucking ass. Forever." Froggy Fresh then tweets out, "Hey Creator Clash, there is still 100k on the line to reinstate me. There is now $500,000 on the line for Sam Hyde to fight Nathan Barnett. That's 600k. How much is this really about charity? Put your egos aside about hurt feelings. Put your money where your mouth is and show that this is more than an ego show." And the 100k he's referring to is what Gideon offered to donate if Froggy Fresh was let back onto Creator Clash to fight Chris Raygun. Mimo responds by saying, "I think they care about the respect more than money from people who disrespect them. Unless you apologize, I don't see this going anywhere. Taunting them just proves their point." Froggy responds, "It shows me their mission statement is BS to make them not like the other events." So in response to this 100k offer, Creator Clash finally made another statement to help clarify their decision. At least that's what they claim. I don't really think it clarifies anything, but I'll just read it out and you guys can decide for yourselves. They say, "As you may be aware, we recently announced Froggy Fresh would be leaving the Creator Clash 2 ticket. We want to provide some additional information around the rationale for this decision, to help clarify some of the online chatter. We have a legally binding code of conduct that each of our Creator Clash 2 fighters are held to, the violation of which is grounds for termination. Unfortunately, there were several violations made by Froggy Fresh during his tenure with Creator Clash this year. The Creator Clash 2 team, inclusive of the production company, takes violations seriously, and made several unsuccessful attempts to address them directly with Froggy Fresh in hopes we could work together to get things back on track. When it became clear that the exhibited behavior wasn't stopping, at risk to the other fighters, fans, and others involved in the event, the Creator Clash 2 team made the collective decision to move forward without Froggy Fresh on the ticket. Our number one priority is ensuring Creator Clash 2 is a positive, safe, welcoming space for everyone. We look forward to kicking off an amazing event and raising a lot of money for charity. Creator Clash and iDubbbz have already donated 50k for each of Froggy Fresh's supported charities, Kids Cancer Foundation and Nick Claus Children's Hospital, for a total of 100k. They will also remain beneficiaries of money raised through the event itself. The fighters have all been working so hard and can't wait to get into the ring. Let's focus on their fights, not any that may exist online. Plain Rock responds by saying, bitches. Frank Castle says, cucked shit. Atozi says, pretty sure it's easier to reinstate Froggy than write all this. Omni says, this is getting way out of hand and hurts your brand for no reason. Just squash the beef and let him fight. Donut Operator says, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but was this all over hurt feelings? Muscle Pilled responds, hurt feelings and a superiority complex. Kino Corner says, co-parter. Wavy Web Surf says, what exactly was the conduct Froggy was banned for? Dame Pesos says, are you saying Froggy Fresh put people at risk? That's 100% a lie. Akura the Dawn says, if there's one thing I like, it's a positive, safe, welcoming space for everyone. Showing a picture of iDubbbz when he snuck into Tana's event to ask her to say the N-word. James says, dog, this isn't explained shit. Michael responds, if anything, it made it more cringy, laughing my ass off. Jabroni says, we want to clarify. Doesn't clarify. Lol. Mac Arthur says, thank you for doing the right thing. Will you also please remove this fighter from the card as well? I believe he also violated your rules. Showing tweets from iDubbbz in 2013 and 2015, where he says he'll rape you and all your starving black children, as well as calling people N-word lovers. Kavos reacts to the statement by saying, insanely bad explanation on why Froggy Fresh was removed. Super vague and reads like fake PR bullshit. Hashtag free Froggy Fresh. Keemstar says, we want to provide some additional information. Proceeds to provide no additional information. Hashtag free Froggy Fresh. Willie Mac Show says, all those words and you still can't say what the violation specifically was that made the event unsafe. Optimus says, iDubbbz and his girlfriend doubled down on kicking Froggy Fresh off the roster of fighters at Creator Clash 2. Extremely disappointing. I think everyone and their mom knew what the right thing to do was. What exactly were these violations, by the way? Pretty idiotic response, laughing my ass off. Sam Hyde says, this actually puts the matter to bed for me, personally. Handled with taste and not in a vague corporate way at all. Glad I can move on and actually enjoy these star-studded fighters, featuring, looks at notes confusingly, Jack Manifold and Albina Sabrina. Sam then makes another quote tweet that says, this is such an insanely bad read. It would have been 100 times better to just ignore it and not even mention it. It's time to take the absinthe away from drunk Aniza. Brandon Buckingham says, several violations? You mean making a lighthearted joke about iDubbbz's wife's OnlyFans? Even your last event was sponsored by Fansly. Aniza's sensitivity about her OnlyFans shouldn't get in the way of a charity event. Free Froggy Fresh. Kuzi Costanza says, watching everyone shit on iDubbbz and his defense force is pretty cathartic. Doomer Coomer says, I'm convinced iDubbbz has a humiliation fetish at this point. Narwitz says, the awful people who made bad moves, stop weaponizing the word inclusivity to justify your own bad actions challenge. Go! Donovan says, this was lawyer talk for. He broke made up rules we didn't have to tell you, so shut the fuck up and leave us alone. Oh, and we gave money to charities so you can't be mad anymore. Pimp Master Broda says, the reason they don't want to clarify what these violations are is because they don't want to be open to a lawsuit if Froggy can prove it's false. So they are intentionally being vague on purpose, just like how many sites' terms of service are about what's allowed. Turkey Tom says, cope, and then follows it up by saying, if iDubbbz sues Froggy Fresh, he loses whatever remaining goodwill he had with anyone. Obviously referring to the fact that in this statement that Creator Clash made, they specifically mentioned that Froggy Fresh broke a legally binding code of conduct, which I guess they could sue him for. Ryan Beard quote tweets Creator Clash and says, this seems totally reasonable. If you repeatedly break the code of conduct in your contract and are given multiple warnings that you ignore, you are probably going to get fired. It makes total sense to fire him to create a comfortable environment for everyone involved. Nicholas Diorio says, damage control, laughing my fucking ass off, jeez. I was expecting double down, and here we are. And then he posts a different statement from Creator Clash and says, finally, some transparency. This statement reads, I'm still insecure about my OnlyFans, Aniza Jamha. Froggy Fresh responds to the tweet by saying, who tried to reach out to me several times, and what are the several violations? Josh responds, they did say they were unsuccessful attempts. It's all lawyer talk. Froggy Fresh responds, yeah, that's not gonna hold up, lol. Red Velvet Necktie responds to Creator Clash by saying, they still aren't saying what they did? To which Froggy Fresh responds, never told me what I did either. Froggy Fresh then quote tweets Creator Clash and says, are you talking about when Ian called me the third time ever, 15 minutes after Sam Hyde retweeted me, to investigate my relationship with Sam Hyde, and then asking that I don't release any content with Sam Hyde until after the event? Haven't released any Sam Hyde content, still kicked? Or are you talking about me responding to Justin Tracy every time he reached out to me? And me asking that we keep everything in text and email so I can have evidence of everything that was communicated? Never received any text or emails after that. Now I've been threatened with a potential lawsuit if I spoke about this entire mess, and demanding the 15K I used for training, equipment, travel, etc. over the last 5 months. Unbelievable. Is this for charity, or what's going on? After these tweets, Keemstar hosted another Twitter space talking about the situation. I'll link an archive to it in the description below for anybody who's interested in listening to it. But in that Twitter space, Mudahar, Some Ordinary Gamers, said that he would pay for Froggy Fresh's legal fees if Creator Clash sued Froggy Fresh. Mudahar quote tweets Keemstar and says, "Threatening litigation like this kinda worries me, but I hate it when smaller creators have to face any legal crap. It ruins lives. I'm down to cover it all. No need for GoFundMes. I just want this to be resolved. I want a successful event at the end of the day." Froggy Fresh then tweets out, "I appreciate everyone's support. Can't lie. This is a stressful situation. I have a family, wife, 2 young kids, mortgage. The threat of being pursed legally unless I remain quiet and let them tarnish my reputation to where no one else would want to work with me for misconduct is rough. I appreciate the donation to the charities I submitted, and continuing to keep donations coming into them. I don't want Creator Clash 2 to fail. I would rather we just walk away amicably, where I'm not threatened. In all sincerity, I hope they raise as much money as possible." YTB News responds by saying, "We disagree on the situation, but in no way support legal action. I think there could be a simpler solution. I hope this can all end well without lawyers." Froggy Fresh responds, "Legal action is the last thing I want. Despite on disagreeing, thank you for supporting me in that aspect." And this is where I would normally say that's about it for the conversation around this, but actually another fighter in the event, Harley of Epic Mealtime, made hundreds of tweets trying to defend Creator Clash for removing Froggy Fresh after Keemstar made this poll with the caption, "Has Creator Clash been ruined because of them kicking Froggy Fresh?" With one of the options being, "No, it's still gonna be lit," and the other being, "Yes, it's game over," with the game over option being in the lead by a good 30+%. Harley quote tweets Keem and says, "I can't sign a contract and then post it, but I did look up a boilerplate contract for a boxing event. There is an extremely similar clause. Let me know if you guys need help understanding how there was a breach. I don't represent Creator Clash. I just want Keem to shut the fuck up, lol." He then shows the boilerplate contract, which reads out, "Fighter agrees, represents, and warrants that he and his accompanying personnel shall conduct themselves in conformity with public conventions, morals, and standards of decency, and not do or commit any act or do anything that could degrade themselves, the broadcasters, the site, event sponsors, the event, or subject any of them to public hatred, contempt, scorn, ridicule, or disrepute, shock or offend their patrons or employees, prejudice their standing in the community, or subject them to liability. A breach of this provision shall entitle the event to terminate its obligations under this agreement." Robin Suda responds, "I'm sorry, but all this controversy stems from dropping him 3 weeks out, not from an OnlyFans joke at the expense of Aniza. If they would have ignored the joke or even played into it, I really don't think they would be in this position." Harley responds, "I don't know everything behind the scene. I don't know all their convos. I just know Froggy ignored a text from them because he stated yesterday in the circle that he did, so it's not my call. I'm just showing they have the right." Dawn responds to Harley's tweet by saying, "This is blanket and vague statement that basically amounts to, we can do whatever we want. It serves your purpose, which is to shut people up who don't know better, but it would never hold up in court if they seriously sued Froggy for it." Harley responds, "Clearly you never read a contract. They are almost all like that on purpose." Durka Soup responds to Harley's tweet by saying, "Just don't feed into Keem. He's a cockroach who never dies. However, all this shitty lawyer speak is BS. You yourself heavily insulted your opponent and his fans at last Creator Clash. Your remarks, in my opinion, were way more degrading than anything Froggy said." Cam Knott responds by saying, "Exactly. Come on, Harley. What you said was gross and made me and probably a lot of people uncomfortable." Harley responds, "It was at my opponent during a press conference, not at the owners on social media." Speaking of that moment from the previous Creator Clash press conference, Cam Knott replies to Harley's tweet by showing a clip of it and saying, "Pretty degrading, bro. Where's the line?"
Yeah, I'm boxing Aaron from Game Grumps. They don't know. Because the people that watch Game Grumps, they're not out there being real people. They're not real people. They're weird fucking mutant people. And I'm not just saying it like I'm making it up. My Twitter timeline is filled with people like, "Aaron's gonna fuck you up." And then I look at them, their display pic. It's like muscular Shrek sucking his own dick. I swear. And I'm not gonna kink shame. For sure I won't kink shame. I'll nut in my own belly button multiple times a week, sip it out with a straw, so I'm not gonna kink shame. But when you bring dogs into it, that's when it gets weird. And I'll look at these people that are like, "Aaron's gonna fuck you up." I'll click on their media on Twitter. They draw like humanoid dogs fucking each other. Those are the people that watch Game Grumps. So I like Aaron, But tomorrow I'm going off because of all those fucking weirdos on my timeline. It's your fault. So tomorrow, Aaron, I'm gonna fuck you till you love me, friend.
Harley quote tweets this and says, "That's my opponent, not the owner. It's also AR the press conference, and it's one day out. They couldn't remove me if they wanted. It wasn't at the owner on social media, lol. I bet if Froggy said things at the press conference, he'd still be fighting at Creator Clash too." Zumass responds to Harley's tweet by saying, "This is a terrible take, and that is a dumb reason to kick someone. You should know that." Harley responds, "It's not a take, laughing my ass off, it's a contract. I showed a legally binding agreement, not my opinion." Zumass responds, "Contract dumb," to which Harley responds, "Yeah, contract dumb. Twitter's stupid. Good talk." 8030 quote tweets Harley and says, "How did Froggy violate the contract?" Harley responds, "Seriously? Lol. I thought it was straightforward. In my opinion, not do or commit any act or do anything that could degrade themselves, the broadcasters, the site, event sponsors, the event, or subject any of them to public hatred, contempt, scorn, ridicule, or disrepute." 8030 responds, "So Froggy joking about subscribing to Anisa's OnlyFans is degrading to the event?" Brandon Buckingham quote tweets Harley and says, "If Froggy Fresh saying he will subscribe to Anisa's OnlyFans is degrading to the event, wouldn't Anisa having an OnlyFans in the first place be far more degrading? Froggy brought zero public hatred, contempt, scorn, ridicule, or disrepute to Creator Clash. Banning him did." Harley responds, "That's your opinion. I'm just sharing how they have the right to do what they want. We also don't know everything. We just know that with the wording of this contract, they have the right. To be honest, I don't think I would work with someone who took a random shot at my wife online." Brandon responds by saying, "On a personal level, I can respect not wanting to work with someone who made a comment about your wife, but Creator Clash is supposed to be business whose entire purpose is to entertain and raise money for a good cause. Anisa's OnlyFans being a touchy subject shouldn't impede that." Harley responds, "I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, Creator Clash is exactly what the owners of the event decide it is. It's their call. It's up to them, and I find it interesting that I'm the only person who understands that the owner stood up for his wife." Froggy Fresh responds to Harley's first response to Brandon Buckingham when he says, "Then why was PewDiePie invited as a creator guest? Why invite someone to your event who made a video also lightly joking about the OnlyFans to a way larger audience?" Harley responds, "Being invited to the event is not the same as being contracted by the event. Super different." Froggy Fresh quote tweets Harley and says, "So they invite one of the biggest YouTubers of all time, PewDiePie, who has publicly commented on and lightly poked fun at Anisa's OnlyFans, but they kick their fighter who has trained for 5+ months out of the event for the same crime. Seems hypocritical. Actually, I don't know if that's why they kicked me. They never told me what exactly I said or did." Harley responds, "Being a guest is different than being under contract. Not only that, but if you want to shit talk a McMahon, you better be the Hulkster." Froggy quote tweets him and says, "Which McMahon is Anisa?" Showing that Vince McMahon agreed to pay $12 million in hush money to 4 women. Dick Masterson quote tweets Harley's original tweet and says, "You guys are comedians putting on a clown show. You are not professional boxers with a boilerplate contract. How do you not understand that? You think boxing leagues are run by a fat cam girl?" Harley responds, "Comedians is doing a lot in that sentence. But anyways, yeah, we get contracts, Dick. The event is taking place where the Tampa Bay Lightning play. Do you think there wouldn't be paperwork in place? Crazy." Dick Masterson responds, "They should add, holders refuse to blame any cuck and his fat wife for petty and abusive behavior to the ticket." Megan responds to Harley's response to Dick by saying, "I am really loving your passion today, and you were right. Seeing how up in arms they are about being removed from the event shows that it was the right decision. Imagine how hostile the environment would be for all of the other creators at the event if they let him stay." Froggy Fresh quote tweets Megan and says, "Yes, because I was so hostile when I met all these people not even 2 months ago. Extremely toxic. Everyone was terrified. I'm mad because months of my life was squandered. They are trying to scare me into silence, then lie to the public." Agent Cow 32 responds to Froggy Fresh by saying, "Dog, I was with you for a bit, but your behavior since hasn't been the best. You both could have handled it better. I feel like you keeping this going is making it worse as well. As the people you choose to associate with you, it's tough they kick you with all the hard work, but you made the choice to do what you did, and it has consequences. Stuff happens, it sucks, but you don't gotta try to change the event or have people beg to get you back on. Walking away is better in my opinion. All this stuff you're doing isn't a good look, and not a fan of your action." Froggy quote tweets him and says, "Dude, do you really think I want to spend my whole day on Twitter playing defense? If the event and their fighters could just move on from this, none of this would be happening. Every time someone comes with some BS, I have to address it. Let it go. It's for charity. Everyone can move on, shut the fuck up, and put on a good show. But every time someone addresses me or brings up misinformation, wrong, it's my responsibility to address it. Moving back to the quote tweet responses to Harley's tweet, Mr. St. Fugi says, "Can you find me the part in the contract where the event promoter's mom can make fun of your height, intelligence, and genitalia?" Harley responds, "Why is that relevant? She didn't sign a contract, lol." Table Cannon responds, "It's relevant because the organizer's mother is literally doing the exact opposite of creating an inclusive, positive, and welcoming environment. So you are actively condoning someone making fun of others' physical appearances? Got it. Thanks, Harley." Harley responds, "But she didn't sign a contract? You can't fire her, lol. What's your point?" Table Cannon responds, "I'm not legitimately responding considering you don't see the blatant faults in your own logic. Good luck. You're gonna need it." Tommy C quote tweets Harley and says, "I don't represent Creator Clash, yet all of his actions say he 100% represents Creator Clash. Who the fuck are you kidding? This guy is phony as fuck." Harley responds, "I'm spelling it out for people like yourself, pal. I'm fighting in the event and fundraising for a charity that is important to me. So yeah, it's important to me to speak up. None of the other creators would be caught dead speaking to your ass." Tommy C then responds with a Twitter video titled, "You are a typical YouTube phony."
And I'm going to make this real clear for people like me, which there's a lot more people like me that are really disappointed with people like you and iDubbbz. Make this utterly clear. I love how you keep on saying, "This is really important to me. This is really important to me, to me, to me." It's about yourself. This has nothing to do with charity, dude. Everybody knows it. This is you. This is about you. Keep saying it over and over and over again. Do you think what about Froggy Fresh's charity? Oh, I don't give a shit about that. That's not about me. Stop fucking pretending. Stop pretending that this is about charity. This is about you, your ego, and your relationship with iDubbbz. Nothing more, nothing less. You're not spilling anything. I just think you're a fake YouTuber, just like iDubbbz, just like anybody that's ever come along. That's you, bro. That's nobody else. This is blowing up in your face, and you deserve it because you're a bunch of fakes. My charity is important to me. Stop hiding behind your charity. Stop hiding behind disabled kids or whatever phony charity. This is about you. This is about iDubbbz ego, and everybody seems to know it. You guys put some corporate statement out there, and you think, oh, people will just believe it. No, nobody believes it. They think you're a fraud. You got caught lying, by the way, and they think iDubbbz is a fraud. This is about ego, not about charity. You fucks. What about his charity? You never mentioned. But this is important to me. Grow the fuck up. You're 6'5", and you're 6'5", you're this big tough dude, and you're acting like a sissy YouTuber. Who cares what's important to you? Do what's right.
Harley then responds with a Twitter video of his own in the caption, "What a terrible take to have as a grown-ass adult. You are a bitter man. It's very clear to me."
What a stupid take, especially for a grown-ass man. Despicable. A fighter got fired for breaching his contract. Would I have fired him? Irrelevant. Would you have kept him? Irrelevant. Are they allowed to fire him? Yes, absolutely. So what happened? You're going to turn on charities? You're going to try and make it like it's all about me? I turned down a $150,000 boxing match to box in this instead. So yeah, the charity is important to me. It's MS Society, and I have multiple people in my life that are affected by it. Sorry, that doesn't fit your bitter fucking angle over here, pal. Sorry, it's not fitting for your narrative, but yeah, I'm boxing for charity. It's a good cause, and it's going down no matter what.
Hey, looks like I got under your skin. You know why? Because you didn't address what I said. What I'm saying is, this is not about charity. Let me spell it out for you. You're lying. This is about you. Don't tell me I don't care about kids with MS. You don't care about kids with MS. You don't. This is about you and your ego. And here's the thing. Who's fucking, I can almost prove it. You pulled out a morals clause to justify throwing this guy off. A morals clause. So I can say without a doubt, objectively, that you don't fucking care. A grown-ass man. You're the same age as me, you douchebag. Bye.
And I turned down a $150,000 offer to box for the MS Society because my best friend of my whole life has MS, and someone who was married into my family has MS. So it's really important to me. And you need to stop being so angry. Why are you spitting all over your camera while you talk? That's the difference between you and I as grown-ass men is I'm not sitting here literally spitting like an angry child throwing a tantrum over it. MS is very important to me. Sorry that bothers you. I'm sorry that it doesn't make this an easy, evil story. It's not ego. It's not about that. It's about the charity that I'm fundraising for. So, sorry.
I know you're trying this new thing now where your move is this is all a wrestling bit, and now we're just trying to promote for the fight. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, whether that's your move or not, and you can say, hey, guys, I was just kidding. I was doing promos for the boxing to get people in there. You helped get this guy kicked off, and that's what people are pissed off of. People are behind me. People are behind Froggy Fresh. They're against you. And yes, I'm gonna tell you what nobody's gonna tell you. You don't give a shit about those kids. Doesn't matter who you know. I mean, let's be real. Everybody knows somebody who died of cancer. Not everybody's going to a boxing event for them. Like, who are you fucking kidding here? You're a YouTube Hollywood phony, a fake that keeps replying to everybody to try to promote this fight. Now you're using me to promote the fight. Usually guys like you say, I'm using you for clicks. It's the other way around. No, you don't care about those kids with the MS. You wouldn't spit on them if they were on fire. You're just using them. And you know what? That's fine. If that's your grift, bro, peace.
So after all of this back and forth with other people, Keemstar finally ends up responding to Harley directly by saying, I totally understand non-disparagement clauses. However, that should only be enforced if there is real damage to the brand. Saying he would sub to her OnlyFans is not damage to the brand. Why can't you just be logical? They clearly overreacted. Sigmar Male Grindset responds to Keem by saying, if Froggy didn't immediately start charity shaming them to try to help a clout-thirsty Nazi hijack the event, you might have a point. But now it is clear Froggy was a menace, and the only mistake they made was signing him in the first place. Froggy responds, I'm a menace? Laughing my fucking ass off. By the way, I would like to point out every single person who has trained with Sam approached Sam. This clout chasing person trying to destroy an event narrative is ridiculous. Harley responds, that's a lie, Froggy. Don't speak for me, please. You can hardly speak for yourself lately. Sam asked me to train, not the other way around. Froggy responds, so you weren't talking boxing with him wanting advice? I just hate this narrative that he's the only one trying to piggyback off of other people when he's helping people in several ways, whether training, making entertaining content, or both. Even Ian approached him, not about boxing, but about making something with him. There are some people down to work with him with a specific narrative, then toss him aside when it's beneficial because suddenly he's a risk. I'm not down with it. Sam has cared more about my training, prep, mental state, and has been more hands-on in a few weeks than anyone affiliated with Creator Clash was since I agreed to do it. Harley responds, I don't know about all that. You just said every single person approached him. That's not true in my case. He approached me. I had to straighten that out for you. Also, Ian have you like 15k for your training. Sounds like Ian also cared for your training. Froggy responds, yeah. I was given an advance on my purse after I told him I couldn't afford to train, buy gear, etc. out of my own pocket at that time. That was all coming out of my purse, which you know is very modest to begin with, so it wasn't a big deal. Ian mentioned I wasn't the only one with this arrangement. Kevin ratios Keemstar under his reply to Harley, and then follows it up by saying W, showing that Keem blocked him. Harley quote tweets this and says, a crack in the armor? Keemstar blocks literally the one person in his mentions that doesn't suck him off on this subject. I thought you were harder than that, Keem. Screezenworks responds by saying, as painful as it is to say, especially to you, Harley, Keem isn't wrong here. They are blowing a very, very tame joke out of proportion. If her OnlyFans was secret, then maybe Froggy would have been out of line. He never said anything malicious or harmful to Creator Clash. Harley responds, it's not my call. I'm just pointing out that under contract, they have the right. Keem replies to Harley by saying, Harley gets trolled so easy, showing that he actually doesn't have Kevin blocked, and then Harley responds by saying, I see a few people you blocked. Seems you want people to have thick skin, but you were allowed to react. It's weird. He then shows another person who Keemstar blocked and says, Keemstar out here acting like he would remove someone from his card if he didn't like what they said, lol. That's funny to me. Kentucky Fried Cucumber responds to Harley by saying, as if blocking a random person on Twitter is comparable to getting someone to train for 9 months for free, kicking them out of the event for making a joke you said was okay, then suing them unless you pay all of your training costs back and surrender your freedom of speech. Harley responds, he got paid 15k. Didn't train for free or out of pocket. Get your shit straight. Cam Knott responds by saying, proof he didn't come out of pocket at all? Putting content creation or other work on the sidelines just to be compensated for some training? Do you have financial stakes in Creator Clash, Harley, outside of just fighting for charity? Weird how defensive you are when you can be quiet. Harley responds, nope. MS Society is important to me. No ownership in Creator Clash. I like Sam, Aniza, Ian, and the LG Froggy I met IRL. Devin Smith replies to Harley's previous response to KFC Cucumber by saying, yeah, and they threatened him to get the 15k back out of spite. Or did you miss that part? Cool charity event, bro. I'm sure Aniza and Ian appreciate your service fanning the flames of this dumpster fire. Harley responds, no. He can keep the money if he stops breaching contract and disparaging the event. It's basically, keep the money and be professional about this. You signed a contract. Devin responds, how would you know? You claim you haven't seen Froggy's contract. Unless this is information Ian and Aniza Anisa are relaying to you? Keemstar then tweets about the people he had in his Twitter space last night, and Harley quote tweets him and says, "Sorry I spoke with my chest and offered a different perspective for you guys. I'll let you circle jerk next time." Green and Red Duke responds by saying, "Didn't you accuse Froggy of doxing Anisa's mom? That was just filibuster." Harley responds, "No, he said someone's name on stream. Their first and last name. They are not a creator." Dick Masterson quote tweets him and says, "These slurs are circling the wagons trying to protect their stupid boxing clown show. The people who pay money for this shit are more despicable than pedophiles." Harley responds, "Yeah, people who pay money for this are despicable. It's a charity event. What kind of backwards brain are you having right now? Meet me on the next PKA for a face-to-face. I want to know how you really feel." Dick Masterson responds, "Lol, you got it. iDubbbz and his fat wife are using charity as a meat shield for acting like complete assholes in their petty grudge against Sam Hyde." Sentient NFT Ape responds to Harley's tweet by saying, "It sucks because you could make decent points and dismantle their arguments, but you are insanely bad at talking with people who disagree with you. Sam and Froggy seem like lunatics, but they are winning the optics contest because you came in and argued terribly." Harley responds, "I was far more patient in the Twitter circle the day before. The optics contest is lost from the jump because I walked into a circle jerk." Ryan Stone responds to Harley by saying, "No, it was good. I'm amazed people don't know how to have a professional relationship when money is at stake, and why everyone is trying to defend themselves against you. You don't make the decisions, lol." Ma'Otter responds by saying, "Froggy never worked for Creator Clash. It's a charity event. These are volunteers fighting. Because the hosts are thin-skinned, they jeopardize the charity for their own egos." Harley responds, "Wrong a couple times actually. Not volunteers. Contracted and salaried fighters. He didn't volunteer. He accepted money." Nicholas Diorio responds to Harley's tweet in response to the Twitter space by saying, "I just don't get why you keep jumping on when this is clearly stressing you out. As the only person making substantive statements on Creator Clash's side, yours are the only ones people can really go by at the moment. I'm all for breaking up the circle jerk, but you didn't provide anything really of substance when you jumped in last night. Some genuine advice from me would be to disconnect, and do your best out there in the ring in a few weeks. Cooler heads didn't prevail with Ian, Anisa, and Froggy, but they can here. Just seems like you were taking everyone on without any help or people in your corner, dude. Hope you were doing well." Harley responds, "Thanks for the advice, Nicholas, but I'll pass. If I want to buy a heavy-duty gaming computer chair, I'll hit you up for your opinion." Nick responds, "Laughing my fucking ass off, bro. Okay, good luck with whatever self-destruction you want to engage in." Fat Cock Big McNut responds by saying, "Man's just mad because his opinion genuinely has more holes in it than a block of Swiss cheese." Nick responds by saying, "That's why I said he brought nothing productive yesterday, but agreed it would have otherwise been a circle jerk. Coming in hot and emotional just to monologue a ton of shit nobody gets a chance to respond to doesn't help his cause." Harley responds, "You need help understanding the contract I posted? It's pretty straightforward." FPS Diesel responds to Harley's gaming chair comment to Nicholas by saying, "It would have been better to let the opposition circle jerk than Harley throw multiple episodes in defense of people who won't have his back. Like, who cares about his opinion when he's coping and calling Nicholas Diorio fat?" Harley responds, "I didn't call him fat. That's messed up. I've never even seen him. He doesn't show his face in his videos. But I'm 235 pounds and would need a heavy-duty gaming chair. So, interesting that you would put that insult in my mouth. It's clearly your own thought." Milk responds by saying, "I'm a huge fan of you, and I don't hardly know who Nicholas is, but you definitely called the dude fat. What's the point of bringing up a heavy-duty gaming chair? Does he have a gaming chair business? If not, then you know it was an insult, lol." Harley responds, "Because I'm 235 pounds. I need a heavy-duty one." FPS Diesel responds to Harley by saying, "How could this be seen any other way? Listen, you look like an idiot, keep popping off in replies. You have no honor left to defend, so save the energy for the fight." Harley then responds with this Twitter video.
Bro, you literally called him fat. I did not call him fat. I don't see him in his videos. He doesn't show himself in his videos. I don't know what he looks like. You do, though, and you called him fat. That's messed up.
FPS Diesel simply responds by saying, "Comedy, poetry, and motion." Optimus quote tweets Harley and says, "So where exactly is the line when it comes to what people can and can't say while being affiliated with Creator Clash? Because a joke about Anisa's OnlyFans was crossing the line, but you were okay to call Nicholas fat and insult him for bringing up a counter-argument to you?" FPS Diesel responds, "And before Harley says you were wrong and you called Nick fat." Keemstar then responds directly to Harley's tweet about the Twitter space by saying, "What are you talking about? We wanted you to stay in there because you did have a different perspective. You rage quit." He then makes this Twitter video titled, "Dear Harley Plays."
Meal time, Harley Plays! I gotta ask you a question since you're the unofficial representative of Creator Clash. You're the only one that seems to be speaking. Like, we're not hearing anything directly from iDubbbz or Anisa, but we're hearing a lot from Harley. So I want to bring this question to you. Wouldn't it make more sense for Creator Clash, iDubbbz or Anisa, to actually get on the phone with Froggy Fresh and try to work things out? Potentially make peace, potentially put Froggy back on the card? Doesn't that make the most sense? Because when I do these polls and I see the reaction, not just from my community, my fans, but from like the comment sections of Philip DeFranco, Def Noodle, like all these other people that are covering the story, when I see their comment section, it appears to me that most people feel that Froggy Fresh got screwed over, which means if there was an amends and he was put back on the card, that could only be beneficial to Froggy Fresh, Anissa, iDubbbz, Creator Clash, and all the charities involved. So again, back to the original question. Don't you think it would make sense for these parties to get on the phone and actually talk this out and try to make amends? Or no? Let me know. Because it seems like you're pushing this narrative. Screw Froggy. Froggy messed up. We're done with him. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I just want to know where you're at.
Harley responds to Keem by saying, I knew I should have questioned your guarantee.
Why are you trying to get Froggy back on the card? You guaranteed me 2 days ago in the Twitter circle that you had a match for him. You guaranteed me that he was going to be in Happy Punch in some Misfits boxing thing. Who knows? You made a big deal about getting Sam on DAZN. Can you not book him the match? Is that the problem? Are you going back on your word? You guaranteed me, Keem. I would love to see Froggy in the ring. I would love to watch him box. It's not happening at Creator Clash, so we could drop that. But are you going back on your word? You guaranteed that you were going to have Froggy boxing. Let's go, buddy. Get to work.
Keemstar responds, are you okay?
Harley, I'm sorry, but you literally ignored everything I said in the video above. Then you created a false narrative that I'm no longer guaranteeing Froggy Fresh a fight, and then questioned me about no longer guaranteeing him a fight. Where is this coming from? Where have I said anywhere that I'm no longer guaranteeing a fight? I never said that. You just made that up out of thin air to avoid what I'm saying above. You're avoiding what I am saying above. What I said in the Twitter video above on this thread is that wouldn't it be best if Anissa, iDubbbz, all right, and Froggy Fresh talk to each other, actually get on the phone, squash this beef for the betterment of all parties involved, including the charities that you care so much about. Instead of you answering the question that I proposed to you, you then spin some narrative that I am no longer guaranteeing a fight with Froggy. This is why people are coming at you, Harley, all right? We're going to need you to, like, be real, be authentic, be like another human having this conversation instead of this weird manipulation tactic. Like, people see right through this bullshit, all right? I, once again, just so we're confirmed, all right, am guaranteeing a fight for Froggy Fresh this year. I guarantee it, all right? Nothing has changed. The only thing that has changed is that I asked you a question. Wouldn't it be cool if they made peace and Froggy Fresh potentially went back on the card? Wouldn't it be wouldn't that be the betterment of all people involved, including your charity? That is the question. Now answer that question, and please don't duck and weave and spin to some other fucking weird fucking invented narrative in your fucking head.
Harley responds by saying, nice try, Keem. Don't make claims you can't fulfill.
You're guaranteeing him a fight this year. Okay, what event? What event do you have to guarantee a fight for him this year? Don't come at me, Keem, just talking lies. You think you're going to bullshit me? You're just going to come here and bullshit and say that you guaranteed Froggy a fight? Don't bullshit me, okay? Which event? What event is it going to be? What are you talking about? You can't guarantee that, Keem. You can't guarantee that. So why are you making the claim that you can? You know what would be cool, Keem? If you shut up. That'd be cool.
Keemstar responds, Mr. YouTube Money Guy.
Harley, this is the second time that you've avoided answering the question that I said at the very beginning of the thread. At this point, you're just acting in bad faith, all right? But again, at the very start of the thread, I said, wouldn't it be the best if Froggy, Anissa, and iDubbbz get on the phone and make peace, potentially have him back on the card? Wouldn't that be the betterment for the entire event and the charity that you care so much about? You avoided that. You didn't answer it. So then the second time I responded to you, I repeated that again. This is the third time I'm asking you the same question that you keep avoiding. Wouldn't it be best? But you're now saying that I can't guarantee a fight with Froggy Fresh. So let's do what men do. All right. Let's place a bet, $50,000. All right. Because I guarantee a fight for Froggy Fresh this year. I guarantee it. I'll put $50,000 on the line. If he has a fight in 2023, all right, you pay me 50 grand. If he doesn't have a fight this year, set up by me, organized by me, all right, then I pay you $50,000. All right, deal? Do we have a deal? And can you please answer the question that you're avoiding?
Maxine responds to Keem by saying, Froggy has liked or retweeted Sam Hyde saying, shut up bitch, I own all you bitches, etc. Why would they want to make peace with him? Why didn't he just apologize when Micah called his Aniza comment gross? He could have easily said sorry and called iDubbbz. He knows what he did. I'd be so disappointed if I lose to Chris Reagan that why did he have to mock her? What did she have to do with anything? All he had to do to avoid all this drama was not bite the hand that feeds him. Literally mocked her out of nowhere. Froggy responds, how are they feeding me? I was sent in advance for training money to fight for a charity event, and I'm still out of pocket. These Hands responds by saying, yeah, it's pretty wild to me how most people aren't finding anything wrong with him dissing the event organizers for pretty much no reason at first. Do that anywhere in the real world, and it's guaranteed you're fired. This person has said it best regarding this whole situation. He then shows a Reddit post from someone who claims to loosely be involved with Creator Clash. They say, I'm going to repost a stupidly long comment I dropped in another thread on the topic. I'm loosely involved with Creator Clash and followed this whole thing, publicly and behind the scenes. I can sum up the public aspect. Froggy Fresh went to train with Sam, which was a little weird, but fine. Shortly after, he randomly took a jab at Aniza about her OnlyFans, saying that if he loses the fight, his punishment would be to subscribe. Aniza is incredibly involved with the fighters and works very closely with all of them. She's very emotionally invested. Meanwhile, her entire online experience is being harassed relentlessly about her OnlyFans. Everyone knows it's a sensitive subject. She does not need this from someone who she got into this event and has done so much for. The joke wasn't that bad, obviously, but in this situation, it was incredibly disrespectful and a huge slap in the face for one of her own fighters to join and further rile up the hate mob against her, even in the slightest. This alone was enough. The next day, Aniza's mom responded in an unremarkable tweet of Aniza's making angry references to Froggy Fresh, insulting his size and intelligence, without saying his name. It was unfortunate, but would have gone completely unseen. He then responded to her with tweets and a video making more rude comments and generally playing dumb. Prior to that, as far as I know, people didn't know this account was Aniza's mom, and in the tweets he said her real name, so now that's out there too. He also joked that iDubbbz is a pimp, implying Aniza's a whore. He also made retweets including other subtle jabs at Aniza and iDubbbz around this time, and further aligned himself with their most prominent harassers. In the videos he posted, I noticed he also started mispronouncing Aniza's name in the same way Sam Hyde does, as another subtle sign of disrespect. All of the fighters have to share a space, literally, and Aniza has continued working closely with them all. She should not be expected to do that with him after this. This entire thing is being dropped on her shoulders, and she's done nothing to deserve it. Froggy Fresh was the fighter I was most excited to meet and chill with this year, and I loved his positive energy leading up to this bizarre turn. It's incredibly disappointing to see. I don't think he's a horrible person, but he has clearly never been involved in a serious and professional event on this level, and rather than handling his mistake privately, he chose to treat it like childish internet beef. This is the result of that choice. It sucks for everyone involved, but once again, Aniza takes the brunt of it. I can tell you from experience that the atmosphere in the locker room before a fight is incredibly tense and weirdly intimate. It's an amazing bonding experience. No one wants bad energy before they go out there and fight. Even Harley, who also trained with Sam, said he would have removed Tyler. If you still have doubts that they made the right call, consider the unanimity amongst the fighters, or assume what you see on Twitter or this comment doesn't tell the entire story. Harley responds to this by saying, where did you find this incredibly accurate retelling of events? This person knows someone on the inside because it's spot on. Nick quote tweets this and says, in videos I noticed he started mispronouncing Aniza's name the way Sam does. Another sign of disrespect. Lol, are you guys fucking kidding? Steffi responds by saying, that's Dad's friend. To which Froggy responds, who is this? How does he know Dad? This guy follows me. He made a tweet telling me to apologize but deleted it. Froggy then shows the response he made to the deleted tweet, where he says, how am I supposed to apologize when anyone who took offense didn't bring it to my attention? I was just banned like 5 minutes before the statement went public. I was trying to promote a fight. Steffi then shows that the Reddit poster creator, Altide Yoda, is a graphic designer who works with Nathan Barnett, aka Dad. Froggy then responds by saying, "Gotcha, thanks." Froggy Fresh then responds directly to D's hands by saying, "She can feel free to come out whenever she wants, and prove how well involved and close with all the fighters she is at any time. Maybe she is with the others, not my experience." Harley responds, "You ignored the last text she sent you. I still don't understand why you did that." Froggy then quote tweets Harley with a Twitter video titled, "Context is helpful."
Okay, Harley has tweeted at me again. He says, "You ignored the last text she sent you. I still don't understand why you did that." That's because he ran out of the Twitter space before I could even address it, along with the several other points that he made, and then wouldn't allow me to refute. Anissa's last text, which was checking on me. You don't understand the context of that. Me and Ian had hardly talked at all. He's probably called me 2 times before this at this point, okay? So Sam Hyde retweets me. I hardly have any contact with Ian and Anissa. Very rarely, okay? It's on occasion, okay? You don't get a phone call from Ian, which is fine. I don't need a phone call from Ian. Okay, but when Sam Hyde retweets me, 15 minutes later, Ian's calling my phone. I already knew what it's about before I even picked up. Okay, I get dressed. He calls me again without letting me call me back. Starts investigating me about Sam Hyde. Dude, I'm not dealing with a Sam Hyde investigation. I'm not his private eye. I'm not his private eye for rent. I'm not doing Sam Hyde investigation work with him. So I need to move on with my day and my life. So he starts blowing up my phone, investigating what's going on with Sam Hyde, when I'm going, why I'm going, and when I'm releasing content. Anissa's concern text of hope everything's going okay was a way for her to try to manipulate the situation, to try to do further investigation into my friendship with Sam Hyde. That was not an "are you okay" text. That was a "Ian is not able to break your shell." Maybe a vague, concerned, manipulative text from me will be able to. And it's just, I'm not going to even respond to that. When her husband's already blowing my phone up, she doesn't even need to be involved. So why would I respond to that? So don't frame it like it was some text out of concern when it was an investigation text that I wasn't going to respond to. I was already talking to Ian back and forth about it. I don't even need to respond to that. I don't even need to address that at that time because I was fine. Nothing was wrong with me, so it doesn't need to be addressed. So when Ian's investigating, I can communicate with him. So now you have the context of that concerning text message left by Anissa, okay? So I just don't understand what you have such an interest in this for.
Adon responds to Froggy by saying, "The context you give here does nothing to the obvious situation. They wanted to talk to you and clear things up. You didn't want to. This is so silly." Froggy responds, "I was forced to text with Ian about it for the rest of the day, until he left me alone with a vague answer about whether or not I was going to be kicked out for going to work with Sam Hyde." Snowman Inoff responds by saying, "Wait, so there was a warning then? You said there wasn't." Froggy responds, "There was no warning, JFC." Pixelated Tree responds to Froggy by saying, "It could be them being nosy, but I can say at the same time I could see them being cautious and checking to make sure Sam wasn't going to crash the event." Froggy responds, "It was well communicated and accepted that I knew he wouldn't be able to attend. I was going there to train and film what I could about the training." Little Triangle responds to Froggy by saying, "Okay, but I'm texting someone and they could just start ignoring me. I'd be like, what's going on? Are they mad at me? So maybe her text to you wasn't as nefarious as you were thinking." Froggy responds, "Because they were trying to manipulate me. Had already been speaking to Ian. Didn't feel like talking to her on the phone for the first time ever when I knew it was manipulation." Dire Wolfboy responds to Froggy by saying, "So you admit that Ian and Anissa reached out to you, and that you knew it was related to Sam Hyde, and you choose to ignore them, or at least disregard them, because you thought they were going to use you to investigate and manipulate your friendship with Sam? Did you listen to the whole part where I talked to Ian about it for the rest of the day?" Quitter NSFW responds, "How are we supposed to believe that when you just admitted you lied about people not trying to reach out to you?" Froggy responds, "No one reached out to me about violating anything. They can't prove they warned me about behavior because they didn't. Last interaction with anyone from Creator Clash." He then shows some texts he had with Justin that says, "Hey Tyler, can you give me a shout today? Trying to get some quick answers on press avails and promo plans leading up to Creator Clash. Thanks." He responds, "Yeah, brother. Go ahead and text or email me. Thanks." He responds, "Is there a better time for you to jump on a call?" He responds, "Not really. I'm pretty busy right now. Is there something you can't text or email? Something sensitive?" There's no reply for 2 days, until Saturday, which is the day Froggy Fresh got kicked from the event, where Justin says, "Hey Tyler, Legal just sent over a notice for you. Can you please confirm receipt?" And then Froggy Fresh responds, "Tell Anisa and Ian have fun telling everyone I'm kicked out, the official announcer for Creator Clash 2, Akinola, responds to Froggy posting those DMs by saying, "What was in the document? I just want to know. That way we could see who we should be angry at." MM responds to him by saying, "He was already kicked out when they sent it, no?" Akinola responds, "That's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of." Akinola then goes back to Froggy's original tweet and responds with a clown emoji. D Larson52 responds by saying, "Interesting PR move," to which Froggy Fresh responds, "Another pro response from a member or employee of Creator Clash." Akinola responds, "Life is tough sometimes, but I've never been removed from a boxing card for acting strange. It sucks because I was ready to yell your name out to thousands of people around the world, but thankfully there's plenty of promotions to box for, so you're gonna be okay." Lab Tuna responds to him by saying, "Mind elaborating on acting strange?" Akinola responds, "I can't see what you tweeted for some reason. It's coming up as blank. Could you try sending it again? Thanks." Lab Tuna responds, "Mind elaborating on acting strange? And why that would be a fireable offense?" Akinola responds, "Okay, because you have Twitter Blue, I can't answer your tweet, I think. Maybe when it expires, I'll see what you said." D Larson52 responds, "You have a legacy checkmark, but no one knows who you are?" Akinola responds, "My mom and dad are very proud of me for what I've accomplished. Can't wait to get back into the ring at Creator Clash 2 at Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida. It's gonna be epic." D Larson52 responds, "Mom and dad didn't give you the checkmark," to which Akinola responds, "Yeah, I know. Twitter did. I'll be sad when the checkmark goes, but it's not a big deal. I shitposted before I got one, and I'll continue to do so after it goes." Froggy Fresh then quote tweets Akinola's clown emoji with a lip bite emoji, and then Akinola responds with a gorilla in the caption, "Bro's plotting something devious." Going back to some more serious tweets, Tio responds to Froggy Fresh's context Twitter video by saying, "I wouldn't even still be acknowledging Harley at this point with the way he talks to you and treats you, Froggy. I was shocked at how condescending he was speaking to you yesterday. You don't owe that guy any further explanations." Harley responds, "He repeatedly called me a liar the day before only to show that he read a text wrong. He called me a liar like 45 times, no exaggeration. He was wrong." Harley then responds to Froggy Fresh directly with a Twitter video and a tweet saying, "I just don't understand why you're playing victim when you explained that you were ignoring them and doing whatever you wanted, then followed up ignoring them with a social media insult on a subject that only her enemies joke about. You can't be surprised that they weren't about it."
So Ian tried to talk to you and Anissa tried to talk to you. You ignored Anissa and you didn't give Ian the time of day. That's all right. You have the right to do that. But then you took the effort, which could have been spent on responding to either of them. Instead, you bashed them on Twitter. And you could do that also. But when you face repercussions for ignoring them and choosing instead to bash them online, even if it's a mild joke, yeah, I thought it was mild, you have made your bed. You disrespected them publicly and privately by ignoring them. Why you did that, I don't know. But the repercussions you're facing, I understand.
Froggy responds by saying, "Harley, you don't listen. I never ignored Ian. I ignored Anissa because she has never once called me and I barely have any contact with her, so I was not about to be manipulated by her with her fake concern, when she'd never show any concern about my progress, journey, or anything before the day Sam retweeted me. I am not an idiot. I'm not a pawn. I know when someone doesn't give a fuck about me and only check in when they want something. Like you said, there was nothing in the contract that forbid me from training with Sam. I told Ian I was going, he was aware. He didn't say I was out if I went to Sam. I sent the last text to Ian and I was in contact with him after I didn't answer Anissa's call, or text asking if I was okay, like I'm insane. It's insulting. Dude, just go fight in Creator Clash 2. Have a good time and raise money. I'm not trying to talk about this anymore unless people come at me with shit I have to clear up. Have a good one." Cledden responds to Froggy by saying, "I've never heard of this Harley dude, so I honestly can't tell if this fake macho dimwit Bravo persona is like a character he's upkeeping, or if he's just genuinely this socially inept and generally confused. Either way, it's sad to see someone so actively choose to be ignorant." Froggy responds, "I think he's just concerned about Creator Clash 2 doing well, and wants to make sure it does." Froggy also makes another shorter response to Harley's video by saying, "Harley, you are completely misleading. I was already talking to Ian all day that day, trying to walk him off the cliff regarding Sam Hyde. I didn't need to respond to Anissa's fake concern. I immediately asked Justin Tracy to communicate through text or email. He did not." Snowman in Off responds by saying, "Huh, and yet elsewhere you said they didn't try to reach you at all? Curious." Froggy responds, "Ian reached out to me to talk about Sam. He was aware I was going. I was never told I was violating anything, let alone a contract. Justin reached out to me about press event. I asked to keep things in email or text and he never responded. Once again, never given a warning of a violation or ignoring anyone. If there were a violation of contract, they should have emailed or texted it to me. Now going back to that Reddit post I read out from someone loosely involved in the event, Froggy Fresh makes a direct response to them when he quote tweets them and says, providing clarification on these statements I seen floating around. Froggy Fresh went to train with Sam, which was a little weird, but fine. So when Harley, who is still in the event, went to train with Sam, was it a little weird but fine? Shortly after that, he randomly took a jab at Anisa about her OnlyFans. I said I would subscribe to Anisa's OnlyFans if I didn't beat Chris Reagan in the boxing match, more than anyone could have imagined. It was light banter, and Ian has already said publicly that he was not bothered by his wife's decision to have an OnlyFans account. Anisa is incredibly involved with the fighters and works very closely with all of them. I can't speak for other fighters, but the only time Anisa checked in on me was the day Sam Hyde retweeted me, after Ian started his investigation calls, which is whatever. I don't need Anisa to check in on me. The next day, Anisa's mom responded, making angry references to Froggy Fresh, insulting his size and intelligence. She came to my Twitter thread, said I had brain damage, shrunken balls, and was an imp, and was hoping I was about to be replaced, which was evidence enough to me that Creator Clash was already discussing my removal if Anisa's mom already had a hot take. There were several more tweets from her that I didn't even address. He also joked that iDubbbz is a pimp, implying that Anisa is a whore. If iDubbbz enables Anisa to have a successful sex work career, which was only made possible from his own success, and attacks people who joke about it, I mean, you saying Anisa is a whore is your own take. I would say a more accurate title would be sex worker in this case. All of the fighters have to share a space. She should not be expected to do this with him after this. So me saying that I would subscribe to her OnlyFans if I lose, training with Sam Hyde, then responding to her mother's attacks with quote retweets is too much for them to handle? Ian already said publicly her OnlyFans doesn't bother him, so it is only Sam Hyde? What is going on here? PewDiePie currently has a video up with 9.6 million views, where he casually criticizes and laughs at memes about Anisa's OnlyFans. He is an invited creator guest to the event. He would have had access to every red carpet event, party, press event that would have been held, so she would have no problem sharing those spaces with him. Do you see the hypocrisy here? He, Froggy Fresh, has clearly never been involved in a serious and professional event on this level. Okay, what level is that? The one where you fire a fighter 3 weeks before their fight? To extreme internet backlash? Because either A, I trained with Sam Hyde, and you know about it 2 weeks earlier, or B, I made a joke about subscribing to Anisa's OnlyFans if I didn't beat Chris badly, or C, I responded to Marine's nasty attacks. Unanimity amongst the fighters. Correct. I am the only person on the card who doesn't obey all commands. Harley said he couldn't work with Sam again this year, if it was related to Creator Clash. I've personally never been the type of person to let iDubbbz tell me who I can and can't train with, because I didn't sign any documents or contracts stating that I wouldn't work with said person. Other people feel differently than me. Everyone else falls in line and jumps when Ian and Anisa say jump. Even Harley wants a bite of the carrot, and Anisa ultimately holds the line. Good night. Adan responds to Froggy by saying, I'm fine with your wife having an OnlyFans is very different from being fine with people making jokes of her having one. Stop conflating the two. Froggy then responds, so why is PewDiePie invited to the exact same event as a creator guest, sharing spaces with Anisa, when he has a video with 9.6 million views criticizing and mocking Anisa? Can you explain this? Dead Level responds to Froggy by saying, Froggy on a warpath, and honestly, I support it. Froggy responds, honestly, I'm not on a warpath. I just got some new BS I have to address every 3 hours. Now going all the way back to the Twitter video back and forth that Keem and Harley were having, we actually never ended up finishing that, as one of the responses to Keem midway through derailed us onto a completely separate argument. So let's continue the main back and forth that this stemmed from by showing the Twitter response Harley made to Keemstar with the caption, nice try Daniel, thecreatorclash.com.
So you're a grown man with a working brain, and you have a direct line of contact to Froggy. Why are you asking me? Oh, that's right. You're content baiting, right, Keem? Oh, you want to disparage Creator Clash too, so your boxing shit looks better? I know what's going on here. If you think that'd be so cool, why don't you hit up Froggy and ask him to apologize? The last messages he's got on text, he admitted to just ignoring what Anisa said before any of this went down. So why don't you contact Froggy and ask him? I got a match to train for on April 15th, Creator Clash 2. I don't give a shit what's cool, what's not cool anymore. I'm going back into training.
Young Hermit responds to Harley by saying, you really didn't answer the question again. Why haven't Anisa and Ian talked with Froggy? Even if it isn't to bring him back, but to explain their side of it to him, instead of just posting a PR message. Harley responds, he ignored the last means of communication. He said it on the circle last night. She texted him, he ignored it. Keemstar then responds to Harley with a Twitter video of his own.
This is now the third time you avoided my question. It's clear that you're acting in bad faith. This will be the fourth time that I'm explaining it to you. Wouldn't it be better for Creator Clash if Ian Anissa and Froggy Fresh got on the phone, squashed this, and potentially put Froggy back on the card, wouldn't that be the best outcome for Creator Clash? Please answer that direct question. Your first response was like trying to make up a false narrative that I'm no longer guaranteeing him a fight. I am guaranteeing him a fight. I've offered you a $50,000 bet that the fight for Froggy that I'm setting up will happen. You've also avoided that because, again, you're acting in bad faith. When I asked you the question about making peace, once again, you said, well, why don't I go to Froggy and make Froggy say sorry? I don't know what he would be sorry for. Based on all the evidence, you can clearly see the community is against you, Harley, and does not agree with you, Harley, and is on Froggy's side in this scenario. So I'm not sure what he would say sorry for, but we do know publicly and privately, based on the statements that Froggy Fresh has made, that he does want to squash the beef, and he wants the best for a Creator Clash. So a lot of false narratives, a lot of bad faith coming from you, Harley. And I don't know. Me and you've never had beef before. I didn't realize that you would treat me in such a disrespectful manner, but okay.
Harley responds by saying, get tickets here, Keem, thecreatorclash.com.
Keem, I don't have beef with you. It's exactly as it's always been. To any of my friends, if I think they should shut up, I'd be like, hey, by the way, I think you should shut up. And to any of my friends, if they ever told me to shut up, no chance I would ever shut up. And I want to tell you something, okay? You want to ask me if I think it's cool if Froggy and Anissa sort out? Yeah, I think that'd be cool. That's up to them, though. Let them go do that. And I would say if Froggy really cares, he should probably apologize, because I get how it works in a professional setting. I understand that they have the power here, not him. He should apologize. If he doesn't want to, I really don't give a shit, bro. I actually don't. And yeah, the whole community's against me. You're a gruesome gremlin bottom-feeding community that I really don't give a shit about. And they're all going to watch Creator Clash 2 on April 15th. And so will you, Keem, right? You're going to watch on April 15th. Say it. You're going to watch and you're not going to pirate it because you don't want to go to hell.
You can't remove an international superstar like Froggy Fresh, the baddest of them all, off of a card and expect the event to be this wild success. You can't, because that is the main draw. The main draw to Creator Clash 2 was Froggy Fresh, and now that's been taken away. Let me ask you a question directly, Harley. If your fight was canceled on the first Creator Clash, would Creator Clash have raised that much money and had that many views? No, it would obviously be less if you were removed off the card. So it's like, we're dealing with the same situation here, right? If we want to help Creator Clash, we need peace and we need Froggy back on the card. You should be working for that goal. You should be taking this energy towards the people with the power, telling them, hey, make amends, wake up, make peace, if you really care about Creator Clash. And I'm not seeing that from you.
So after this back and forth between Harley and Keemstar in Twitter videos, Froggy Fresh comments on all of it in a Twitter video of his own and says this.
Hey, what's up? There's another thing I have to address. Yes, the opportunity for me to fight at Happy Punch and Misfits for Mams Taylor and KSI was put on the table. I'm very thankful for the opportunity. Both of them have been very warm and welcoming. I mean, what else can you do to somebody if they take a stage away, like, the best thing you do is give them another stage, right? At this point in my life, I don't, when I did boxing, I agreed to fight Chris Raygun. Chris Raygun had a few months of training. I had little to no boxing experience at all. I was like, okay, this could be a competitive fight. Personally, in my opinion, I think the talent at Misfits and Happy Punch is in a different league that is out of my league. As far as I'm concerned in boxing, I don't feel like it's a league I can be competitive at. So I'm probably not going to take that road, and that's no disrespect to either one of these people, Mams Taylor or Keemstar, who presented me this opportunity. I'm thankful to both of them, 1,000%. And if I felt like I belonged or was talented enough to be amongst that group of fighters, because there's like some real talent in there. If I felt like I was good enough to compete in there, I would. But moving on from that, as far as a phone call with Ian and Anissa and everyone to try to squash it and fix Creator Clash, that's fine. I would be down for that. I'm not pushing a phone call. If that's what people want, that's okay. So I'm done with boxing. I can fulfill my current obligations. If for some reason Creator Clash changed their mind, I could fulfill my current obligations. I'm not interested in going further in any other boxing. So if I don't do Misfits or I don't do some Happy Punch promotion boxing, it was because I didn't feel like I was at that point in my life. It's got nothing to do with whether or not Keem would follow through, because he 1,000% would. 1000% would. So if it doesn't happen, it was on my own accord. So you can't hold Keemstar and Mams Taylor accountable for that. I don't know what else, I'd really need to address. So Keemstar has also mentioned doing other avenues, like maybe doing a charity concert, or even pursuing other avenues of content creation too. So Keem's been nothing but helpful. So you can't go dragging his name through the mud, because anything he's offered me, I know he'll follow through on. So if it don't happen, it's because of me. So.
Replay responds to Froggy by saying, they offered him Dean. Froggy responds, nah, they didn't offer me anyone. They said it would be a fair fight. But to be honest, I'm just kind of ready to move on from boxing. Keemstar responds, I'll try to run Chris Raygun versus you on Misfits. I don't believe me and Chris have ever had any beef. Froggy quote tweets him and says, let's do it. Let's do it up big for charity. Chris Raygun, let's get this charity money. But this would be it for me. One and done. Fulfill my obligations and move on. Shrek Expert responds to Froggy by saying, I feel like it's not that cool to try and drag Chris into the iDubbbz beef. Froggy responds, I didn't imply he should be dropped from Creator Clash. Obviously would be a separate event if he wanted to do it. So after all of this back and forth, Harley posts a Twitter video to his main timeline and pins it with the caption, here's my message about Creator Clash 2. Tickets available here, thecreatorclash.com.
I'm sorry Froggy's not boxing as a result of his own actions, but what I'm not sorry about is what I'm going to say right now. I've been seeing a lot of gremlins in my timeline thinking that they can give me advice or tell me what I should be doing. I don't respect you. I'm a YouTube legend. You're a little bitch sitting at your family computer in the basement talking smack to me. You were nothing. If you don't like what I got to say, you better be tweeting John Morrison and asking him if he's training double time, because your only chance at shutting me up is if he punches me in the mouth on April 15th. And I know you're going to watch Creator Clash. I know you're going to watch. Oh, you're going to pirate a charity event? Then I'll see you in hell.
Comic Cop's burner responds to Harley by saying, Harley, I feel like you're overcompensating for the last event where you trained with Sam and stuff. I get the first Twitter space you joined, but why continue? For all I know, your place at the event isn't at risk. Wouldn't it be better to let this all die? From a PR standpoint. Harley responds, I tell it how I see it. To which Orange Lord responds, Harley, please. I want to know just the drop rate. I'm at the edge of my seat with your wife's OnlyFans, dude. Please. Harley responds, I'm not married. Let's make a collabo with one of your parents. Dan responds to Harley by saying, cringe challenge. Level ultra. And then Harley points out the spelling mistake by responding, challenge. Going back to Tommy C, he makes a Twitter video with the caption, is Harley going to pull it was all an act when videos are made on him?
With Harley going back and forth to Keemstar, does anybody get the feeling that now he's playing like the professional wrestler promo, sort of kayfabe, fake bit, so he can turn around when this whole thing fucking blows up, or people call him out, or there's videos made on this whole situation, which there will be, so he can say, oh, it's like an Andy Kaufman bit. You guys are so stupid. That's what I think's going on now. And I gotta be honest with you, I think that's been done before. Joey Berger situation, I'm baited. But yeah, I think that's the move he's making now. He knows he's screwed this up.
Harley responds to Tommy by saying, what will you do when Creator Clash 2 is a banger event? What will you say? Tommy quote tweets him and says, I would say, I guess I'm wrong. I can't believe so many people supported lying, fake, dishonest YouTubers like iDubbbz and Harley Plays, who uses kids with MS for fame, and could not give two shits about them. Not Real XVI says, Harley, Keemstar. Out of all this drama, I only care to see Harley fight if I'm being honest. Harley quote tweets them and says, best believe I'm gonna put on a show come April 15th. I'm putting on such a show that Keemstar is gonna call me up right after and get me a spot on that Froggy card he keeps mentioning, if he's being honest about actually getting Froggy on a card, that is. Harley then tweets out a Twitter video with the caption, okay Gideon, let's get this sorted out for the kids now. Hashtag Creator Clash 2.
Gideon! Didn't you say you had 100K for charity? I mean, you said you had 100K for charity if they brought Froggy Fresh back, but they didn't. So does that mean you no longer have 100K for charity? What was your 100K for? Froggy Fresh's appearance? What are you going to do with that 100K now? I want to know. I mean, that 100K didn't just exist to blackmail Creator Clash to bringing Froggy back, right? You were going to donate it somewhere, so where are you going to donate it? I'm sure that wasn't 100K for Froggy Fresh. That'd be weird. What about the children?
Celebrity Boxing Matchups response to Harley by saying, how on earth do you think you have the right to tell another man where to put his money and why? That's like a charity auction saying you didn't get the item, but the rest of you should donate your bids anyway. Harley responds, he said it himself. He said he'd donate 100K if Froggy was back on the card. Froggy isn't back. But does that mean he isn't donating any money? Logically, that means he values Froggy over the charity. It's weird, but maybe that's how he feels. Edward responds by saying, yeah, it probably does mean he isn't donating it. Who gives a fuck? It's his money. He's earned it, and can do what he wants with it. Stop trying to play moral high ground, you dog monkey. Gideon, you got some extra for me? Harley responds, he said it, not me. He volunteered to donate 100K to charity. I just want to know if it was 100K for Froggy. Seems weird to put up 100K for Froggy, but not the actual charity. Crazy priorities. RG responds to Harley by saying, lol man, this didn't age well at all with Gideon saying that 100K will go to Froggy versus Chris Ray gun fight in June. Harley responds, it aged beautifully, brother. I literally made that happen. You witnessed it. I mean, you were not wrong other than you can sleep good knowing it wasn't blackmail. Harley responds, no it wasn't. Apparently it's 100K for Froggy, cause Froggy over charity. Either way, I'll take it. And for those of you who are confused about the Froggy versus Chris Ray gun fight in June, when their fight was supposed to be in April at Creator Clash, he's actually talking about this tweet that Keemstar made shortly before that conversation, where he says, Misfits approved, DAZN. Froggy Fresh versus Chris Ray gun in June 2023. Gideon just texted me that he'll donate 100K to the winner's charity. Froggy has agreed, waiting on Chris Ray gun. Gideon responds with a heart emoji. Keemstar @s Harley under his tweet and then deletes it, to which Gideon responds, he don't like to reply when things make sense, lol. And then Harley says, thank you for further acknowledging together in this tweet. I did this. He then quote tweets him and says, don't believe me? Then why did they CC me and tag me in this? Cause I held them to their word. Good for them. You love to see it. The charities win and Froggy gets a match. Get tickets for Creator Clash 2 right here, thecreatorclash.com. Akinola responds to Keemstar by saying, just donate 100K to charity instead in my opinion. Keemstar responds, just cancel all the Creator Clash fights and have fans donate the money to charity instead. Akinola responds, unfortunately there are no refunds. The upside is people and the charities benefiting from this are gonna get their money's worth with some entertainment. It's not UFC, just slightly serious punchy fun time. No clout is at stake here, so feed off of this while you can. Keemstar responds, I'm sorry, I think my comment went way over your head. You, the boxing announcer, were suggesting that two fighters shouldn't fight, they should just donate money to charity. That made absolutely no sense when they can do both. Akinola responds, I must not have been clear. I'm just saying, don't have the fight at all. Then you should take Gideon's 100K and donate it to a charity. Any one of your choosing. Or break it up and give it to maybe 10 of them. Keemstar responds, but Gideon is offering the 100K to see the fight happen. Much like Creator Clash fans donate to charity to see the Creator Clash fights happen. Do you get it now? Akinola never responds to that, but he does tweet out that clout is a disease. Harley quote tweets Keemstar's announcement with a Twitter video titled, You Love to See It.
I did this. You're welcome. I did this. I just reminded Gideon that he owed 100K to a charity, which he tried to, I think, duck on. And I held Keem to his word that he said he would book Froggy in a match. So, if this goes down, I did it. You know what, Keem? I'll be the commentator for this fight. And you know what? Anything you would have paid me, I'm also going to donate it to charity. So, you're welcome, dude. You're welcome, everyone. I did this.
Keemstar then tweets at Harley asking, do you own any part of Creator Clash? To which he quote tweets him and says, no. I told you that I know people that are very close to me that are affected by MS. I rallied to have the MS Society as a charity, and that's more important to me than internet beef. I don't stand for people disparaging the event that all the fighters have trained for over a disagreement. James Chan says, Keen and Harley look identical. Harley responds, fuck, you might be right. Like we share a mother. I'm signing off for a bit to think on this. Shade tweets at Harley saying, Froggy Fresh is fighting. Charity's still getting money. Training wasn't wasted, so that's pretty much that. Harley quote tweets him and says, case closed. You're welcome, everyone. W's all around. See y'all on April 15th when I box the real Morrison at Creator Clash 2. Tickets available here, thecreatorclash.com. Geo tweets out, weird that Harley is getting super involved in all this drama whilst also in camp for a fight. He should have enough on his plate at the moment, but he wants more. Hashtag epic mealtime. Night, guys. Harley quote tweets him and says, I got a big plate.
What's up? You don't think I'm ready, bro? You don't think I'm ready for this, bro? You don't think I'm ready? Don't look at how small my fists are. Don't look at that.
Bob and Dunn responds to Harley by saying, "I respect Harley even if I think Creator Clash was in the wrong at first. We don't know the whole situation, and Harley seems at least like a good friend with a different view on things." Harley quote tweets him and says, "The bandwagon effect is strong out there, but I'll stay busting the wheels off that bad boy." So before I get into explaining the research I did to come to the conclusion that I posted in the title, I first and foremost want to say that despite the fighters getting potentially paid quite a bit to do this charity boxing event, a lot of money will end up going to charity through this event, in addition to the fighters getting paid a lot. And I don't personally have an issue with these content creators getting paid for the work they are putting in to put on a great show for everybody. My issue is more with the deceptive marketing coming from iDubbbz's channel as well as the Creator Clash socials on how much money is being given to charity versus the creators who iDubbbz and Creator Clash are paying to fight for them. Because I guarantee majority of people who are watching this video either assume that all of the money is going to charity or that the creators are being paid a small amount and the vast majority of the proceeds are going to charity, which I really don't think is the case. And let me tell you why. So as many of you guys know by now, the YouTuber iDubbbz is hosting an upcoming charity boxing event called Creator Clash, where many YouTubers who normally don't box are getting paid to box by Creator Clash, with any of the excess proceeds made from the event going straight to charities. Now 2 weeks ago, one of the creators who was set to fight against Chris Ray-Gun in Creator Clash, Froggy Fresh, ended up getting kicked from the event for what has only been described as violating a legally binding code of conduct, which our best guess at the moment to what this violation is this comment he made about iDubbbz's wife Anisa's OnlyFans while trying to roast Chris Ray-Gun on Twitter.
If I don't hurt you beyond what anybody could have imagined, I will be so disappointed in myself that I will subscribe to Anisa's OnlyFans.
Obviously, Froggy Fresh was not happy with the sudden removal of him from the event, but people involved in Creator Clash, such as Harley Plays from Epic Mealtime, the announcer for the event Akinola, and most recently another fighter called Alana, have spoken out in defense of Ian and Anisa's decision to kick Froggy Fresh from the event. And in Alana's case specifically, she went onto her YouTube channel to contest the accusation that Froggy Fresh made on Twitter, claiming that Creator Clash is threatening to sue Froggy Fresh for the $15,000 they gave to him for training purposes.
Tyler, Froggy Fresh, was given $15,000 for training purposes. And what they did was send him a letter saying, "Hey, can we have the $15,000 back?" The reason they did that was because now that he's no longer fighting because of breach of contract, he had to be replaced. That money that was given to him is just taken out of charity at this point. But the $15,000 thing, again, is not them suing him for $15,000. That's them asking him if they can have the money that they loaned him back for the fight, because that money is being taken out of the charity directly, because that's how it works, right? They have to give money to the other fighter for training purposes, and if that's just $15,000 that they no longer have access to for somebody who's no longer participating in the fight, that is $15,000 wasted that otherwise would be going to one of these charities. So
obviously the accusation that Froggy Fresh is trying to take $15K away from charity is a pretty severe one. So Froggy Fresh went onto his Twitter to make a response to Alana's claim.
Elena Pierce is misinforming the public, saying that I'm taking money off the table for charity, okay? The money I used to train was an advance on my purse. It had nothing to do with the charity organizations. All the fighters are receiving a purse to fight. That money was an advance on that purse. It was coming out of my purse. That's it. So I would have a smaller purse on fight night. That's it. Now what I'm willing to do to show you how dedicated I am to charity, I'm willing to donate the rest of my purse to charity, as well as my portion of profits from ticket sales and pay-per-view sales that all the fighters are splitting. I'll donate both of those to charity. That means doing it for absolutely nothing. Nothing. I'll donate the rest of my purse and the profits that my portion of profits fighters are splitting from pay-per-view and ticket sales. Will any other fighter do that? Because I'll do that. And JDN wants to put up $100K. Take the money for charity.
So after Froggy made that video, obviously Keemstar tweeted about it, and an adamant defender of iDubbbz and Aniza, as well as the announcer for Creator Clash, Akinola, responded to Keemstar, confirming what Froggy Fresh claimed by sharing the detail that all net profits are going to charity, meaning that only once the revenue from Creator Clash passes the threshold to break even for whatever they paid the creators to fight, as well as any other operational costs, only then any extra money will go to the charities, which is a far different outcome than what was promoted by both iDubbbz and all of the creators involved in the event. Not only are they getting paid an initial amount to fight for iDubbbz event that is for them and not for charities, but they also get a percentage of the pay-per-view money all the way up until that pay-per-view revenue is considered to be breaking even, which is cool. I think they should be paid for their work, but then they would be raising money for charity in addition to getting paid to fight, rather than what they are implying, which is that they are fighting only for charity.
This is so cool and exciting, and it's all for charity, of course. I'm such a big proponent of doing things for charity. It's a big thing that drives my entire online experience.
A fighter got fired for breaching his contract. Would I have fired him? Irrelevant. Would you have kept him? Irrelevant. Are they allowed to fire him? Yes, absolutely. So what happened? You're going to turn on charities? Yeah, I'm boxing for charity. It's a good cause and it's going down no matter what. Oh, you're going to pirate a charity event? Then I'll see you in hell. It's not ego. It's not about that. It's about the charity that I'm fundraising for, so.
And all this raw entertainment had one purpose in mind.
It's one of the few things that I've done that's not driven by money.
I love that.
This is for a good cause.
We're here because of some great charities that I know you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. None of this was to put money in anyone's pocket. It was to put on an entertaining thing to raise money for charity.
The Creator Clash also donated a lot of their proceeds to charity. I'm not exactly sure how much.
Over $1 million for charity, so.
Badass.
Yes.
All the profits are going to charity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there like a payday in the future you guys are working towards?
No, not really.
And now we got to do it to help other people?
yeah. You can't do your get the bag fight. Sorry, Phil.
Now, obviously, I expected the fighters to get paid some amount of money to do this, whether it be to cover the cost of training or to cover the cost of whatever revenue they'll lose by doing this instead of making money doing the regular content creation, because obviously training for a boxing event is a huge time commitment, which takes away from time to make content, which is how they normally make their money. So while I was pretty disappointed by the lack of transparency from iDubbbz, if it's just to cover the more practical costs of stuff, I don't really think it's that deceptive or that important to call out. But obviously the title references an amount of money that is a little more than the bare necessity. So how did I come to this number? Well, an MMA/boxing writer, Donna Corby, last year tweeted out that the first Creator Clash sold at least 100k pay-per-view. This is an account that is followed by iDubbbz, and the tweet talking about the amount of pay-per-view sales was liked by iDubbbz's opponent in the last Creator Clash, Dr. Mike. Not 100% solid confirmation that this number is accurate, but pretty damn close. Now, I actually went to the Creator Clash in person last year, and the tickets cost about 55 Canadian dollars for me. Obviously, if you convert that to USD, that would be maybe closer to $40. Also, I'm pretty sure the tickets are more expensive than the pay-per-view, and there's early bird sales that cost a little less, so let's just round it to 30 USD. I think that's a pretty accurate amount for all of the potential variations. So by doing simple math, we can times 30 by 100,000 and come out with an amount of $3 million. Now, if you were paying attention earlier in the video to when I showed the trailer for Creator Clash, iDubbbz showed a tweet where Creator Clash announced that they raised $1.3 million for charity. And with the total proceeds of Creator Clash 1 being at least $3 million, that means that the leftover amount that they paid for operational costs and the fighters is approximately $1.7 million. And again, this number is on the lower side, as we know over 100,000 pay-per-views were sold. We just don't know the exact amount, so this is the lowball minimum estimate. Now, obviously, that amount is also going to operational costs, not just the fighters, but I can't imagine those extra operational costs being that much, considering that Creator Clash 1 was held in Yulang Center, which had a capacity of 10k, and a venue like that would probably cost maybe 20k to rent out for the night, potentially more, even if we round it all the way up to 100K in operational costs, and then stack up another 100K for hiring the commentators or the announcer or security or anything else other than the fighters, that still leaves 1.5 million to split amongst the 24 fighters, meaning that each fighter is personally making within the ballpark of $60,000 that is just for them and not going to charity at all, which sounds quite a bit different than the image iDubbbz showed in his latest Creator Clash 2 video, where he tries to brag that his event is better than other influencer boxing events because all of the profit goes to charity, when that's not the case. All of the profit goes to charity and to the fighters who get paid to be in your charity boxing event. I don't know how iDubbbz and the rest of the Creator Clash fighters can be like, hey, we're better than these other events. We're actually doing it for charity. We're doing it for a good cause. We don't care about getting the bag, getting a good payday. It's all just for the kids with cancer. Then at the same time, these creators get paid thousands of dollars to do this event. Again, I don't have an issue with them making money off of doing months of work to put on a great event for us all to watch. That also helps to go to a good cause, with some of the proceeds going to charity. But you can't claim to be better than other events just because the organization you're working for donates some of their money to charity. That's like being a McDonald's employee and bragging that you're better than the Wendy's employee because all of McDonald's cookie sales go to charitable causes. Okay, some of the money that McDonald's makes goes to a good cause, but you're still being paid the same amount as that Wendy's employee. So you're not really better than them. You're still working at McDonald's to get a paycheck, just like the Wendy's employee. And these fighters in Creator Clash are still fighting to get a paycheck, just like how some creators in Misfits Boxing or DAZN would be getting paid. It's just that Creator Clash donates some of their proceeds to charity, and those organizations don't. But at least they're not utilizing charities to push for more sales when a huge portion of the revenue from those sales aren't even going to charity, but rather the pockets of the fighters who have sacrificed so much of their time to entertain us all on April 15th.
Another thing I have to mention, last year we uploaded the entire broadcast to my channel like a week after it aired live. This year we're not doing that, so I don't want anyone to be like, oh, I'll just wait till it comes out on iDubbbz's channel a week after the event. It's just like a bad decision if we want to drive as much traffic as possible to the broadcast itself and to have as much money as possible raised for charity. If you want more ways of supporting Creator Clash and the charities involved, we have merchandise. Before we look at this year's fight card, I want to address all of the fighters from last year who aren't returning. Pretty much all of them wanted to fight again. It seems like they're all keen to do it again, which surprised me.
So iDubbbz finally uploaded a video responding to the backlash he's received from kicking Froggy Fresh from his Creator Clash 2 card 3 weeks out from the event. The top comment says, imagine making Keemstar sound reasonable. Needless to say, it's not looking good for him. And that sentiment also carried over to Twitter, with the video's upload causing him and Sam Hyde's name to trend on Twitter. The first response I want to go over is from Froggy Fresh himself, who posted this Twitter video with the caption, "My only response to the iDubbbz video.
iDubbbz, I saw your video. You put my face on SpongeBob SquarePants. You said I was a meanie. You said I don't respect sex workers. I'm going to tell you something. Have you ever seen Ricky Martin in Living La Vida Loca? Have you ever seen that man move? That man is a sex worker. And I respect that man. So you explain that.
Jabroni shares screenshots of the DMs iDubbbz had with Froggy Fresh that he flashed on screen really quickly in his video and captions it by saying, iDubbbz just dropped this text convo. Green is iDubbbz, gray is Froggy Fresh. This conversation plays out exactly how Froggy described it weeks ago. Thoughts? The DMs are from March 12th, 2020, and it starts out with iDubbbz saying, hey dude, I just want to clarify that I'm not mad at you. I just want this event to go well, and part of that is trying to be proactive about things. I just want to find a solution. I really appreciate appreciate your friendship and don't want to feel like I've upset you. Froggy responds by saying, I don't understand what's wrong. Can I not work with Sam Hyde? He's been very nice to me. iDubbbz responds by saying, it's just a tricky situation. I personally have been hurt by a lot of things he's done. If he's your friend, that's totally understandable. I just don't get along with him, and I'm afraid of having him associated with the event. There are others involved in the event that also aren't comfortable with. Froggy responds, yeah, he's my friend. I don't understand what me going to Rhode Island to work with Sam has to do with anyone who is uncomfortable with him. They don't have to see or work with him. iDubbbz responds, I agree. Privately, what you do is absolutely only your business. But because we are running a public charity event, we need to be careful about these things because you do represent the event in some ways. I had similar issues last year. I thought, no problem, Harley. You can work with Sam Hyde. But it ended up attracting a bad crowd, and I got harassed online about it a lot because it was a public display. Froggy responds, that's nice of you to give Harley permission to work with Sam. I didn't know I needed your permission as well. iDubbbz responds by saying, it's not about permission. He just called and asked if I was cool with it, because he was making content around it. Froggy responds, so what are we actually discussing right now? If I work with Sam Hyde, are you going to prevent me from fighting in the event? iDubbbz responds, he actively makes content about wanting my marriage to end, that my wife is evil, and hasn't respected my boundaries. I don't feel comfortable having him associated with the event. I'm wondering if you can understand where I'm coming from on that. Froggy responds, I can understand the way you feel. I'm sorry about that, but you also have to understand that he is my friend, so I can't just tell him I can't be friends with him because Ian said so. That's why I'm asking you if I work with him, are you going to prevent me from fighting in Creator Clash 2? iDubbbz responds, it's not a reflection on you. It's just a very painful and difficult thing for me that I'm dealing with, that I need to keep distance from, and that includes this project. Froggy responds, I would just appreciate a yes or no answer, man. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to boxing practice tomorrow or not. iDubbbz responds, it kind of depends on what your plan is, because Sam Hyde is banned from our event. If you want him to be there, we cannot accommodate that. Froggy responds, my plan is to go to Rhode Island to hang with him. So again, I asked, if I go to work with him, are you going to prevent me from fighting in Creator Clash 2? I would appreciate a yes or no answer. I have to talk to my coach about practice this week. iDubbbz responds, wait, I'm not sure I understand. Does that mean you aren't expecting him to be at the event? Are you going to make content together? Froggy responds by saying, he has not mentioned attending the event. I don't believe he intends to do so. I have not discussed this with him. I do intend to make content with him. Now that I've answered your questions, would you be respectful enough to answer mine? iDubbbz responds, this event is really important to me, and I'm just trying to understand everything so I can make the best decision for everyone involved. I need time to think about this. I don't want to be rash. Froggy responds, so I'm going to schedule practice this week, not knowing whether or not you are allowing me to fight in the event because I'm going to hang out with someone you don't like? Okay. iDubbbz responds, I don't understand why you are talking to me like this. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I explained to you the awful experience I've had with him. It potentially leads to another year of harassment for me and Aniza. I can't take this stuff lightly. Can you guarantee that it's not gonna end up affecting? This isn't just someone I don't like. This is someone who is dedicated to disrupting an event we are running for charity, harassing its two main organizers, and sending his fan base to do his bidding. I want you to fight. I just want you to know the pain he's caused me, Aniza, and our event. Froggy responds, dude, because you were trying to tell me who I can and can't be friends with, I'm going to Rhode Island to work with Sam, and I'm scheduling my practices for this week. If I'm being removed from the event, please let me know. iDubbbz responds, I never said you couldn't be friends with him. I would just prefer if you waited till after the event to post content with him. Froggy responds, yeah, that's weird. I'm not the type of person that you can just make do whatever you want, or what is convenient for you. I have a life and a family. You were not gonna change my mind. I'm going to work with him. I'm trying to cook dinner for my kid. Sounds like your personal problems are interfering with your business. iDubbbz responds, it wasn't my intention to dictate things to you. I just wanted to give you my perspective because we haven't talked about this topic before. Ultimately, it is your decision. I'm sorry the convo went in this direction. Froggy responds, okay, I'll fight, thanks. After Jabroni shows these DMs, he follows it up by saying, so after watching this video, iDubbbz, it's your event. Kick or don't kick whoever you want. But how did Harley know specifics about text conversations between Froggy and Aniza? How did Alana Pierce know specifics of the legal notice that your lawyer sent to Froggy? Hire a spokesperson next year instead of leaking stuff to your friends to defend you on social media. Also, the text conversation above. Neither of you guys were communicating clearly. Next year, just put in the contract who fighters can and can't train train with. Then there's no confusion. I know I criticized this a lot, but I hope this event continues to succeed. Very entertaining. Willie Mac shows a picture of iDubbbz in the video and says, as iDubbbz disavows his past, he has become more and more homeless and unwashed looking. He then shows the video title and thumbnail and says, this is the worst content cop I have ever watched. Took him 30 minutes to say he got offended. Willie Mac then shows the DMs and says, iDubbbz kicked off Froggy Fresh because Froggy didn't think hanging with Sam Hyde was a big deal. Ian said it is a big deal because I got harassed online about it. There, I just saved you 30 minutes of iDubbbz trying to justify being a total pussy. The funniest part is the entire video is Ian complaining about shit Froggy said after he was kicked from the event. Duh, he was rude to you after you already banned him. Shaking my head, this video is for glue eaters. Glue eater Def Noodles quote tweets Willie and says, iDubbbz made it very clear to Froggy that he was crossing a boundary that could jeopardize his position in the event. That being said, while I initially had sympathy for Froggy because I didn't think collabing with Sam Hyde was a big deal, after getting the full context of what happened behind the scenes between Froggy and Ian, as well as Sam's treatment of Aniza, I think it's safe to say most people in a loving relationship would do the same to protect their partner. At the end of the day, it's their event. They are free to set the expectations for participants as they please. Elvis the Alien responds to Willie by saying, truly abominable thumbnail, lol, showing the thumbnail of the video. Power of Myth responds to Willie by saying, I don't know, it's Ian's event. He can do what he wants. It's kind of alpha to kick someone because the guy he trains with talks shit about his wife for months. Super trad of Ian. I dig it. E-Boy responds to Willie by saying, all he had to say was, we have a code of conduct. This entire defense of Froggy and Sam are mean is completely unnecessary. It's cool that he wants to turn over a new leaf, but he berated creators for years. You really shouldn't be crying about harassment. Whitey responds to Willie by saying, can they both just admit Aniza got offended by the OnlyFans joke, despite how tame it was, and used Sam Hyde as a scapegoat? Provolone Cheese says, why would he even upload this? The video just proves that Sam Hyde is successful in trolling the shit out of Ian, and he is going to keep doing it, laughing my ass off. Willie Mac tweets out this clip from Ian's video and captions it by saying, bro, what is this video, laughing my fucking ass off? God forbid you joke about OnlyFans.
I don't think Froggy respects sex workers. I think he has some really old, tired opinions about people who do sex work. I think he has a lot of weird opinions as well about masculinity and shit.
Belle Delphine then ratios Willie when she replies by saying, you can joke and insult whoever you want, but why would you expect to still be welcome to their event? For instance, if you were to insult Gordon Ramsay's wife repeatedly, it would be reasonable to expect he would drop you from Hell's Kitchen without hesitation. Willie Mac responds by saying, because he said he didn't care, and that's not why he kicked him, then proceeded to cry about it for 20 minutes. Mr. Freeman responds to Belle by saying, so iCucks shouldn't be invited to any event ever? Bit harsh. Belle responds by saying, yeah, it works both ways. I wouldn't expect somebody like Tanamongu to ever want to invite iDubbbz to any event she creates, considering the video he made about her. I am for free speech all the way, but expect people to resent you if you personally attack them, OFC. Repsion responds to Willie by saying, people make jokes about my OnlyFans all the time. Who fucking cares? He then makes a tweet of his own that says, I watched iDubbbz's newest video on Froggy Fresh drama, and wow, what a cope fest. The mini rant about how dare you make jokes about OnlyFans, yet the video is sponsored by Fansly. Video felt like it was all virtue signaling. Mind you, I do OnlyFans myself. I don't see the issue. Humor is subjective. Matt Pitt shows a picture of iDubbbz about to say the N-word at Tanamongu's event, next to a screenshot of the DM he sent Froggy explaining the harassment he and his wife has received from Sam Hyde, and captions it by saying, I can't believe we're in a world where the guy who did this now texts this. Ryan Beard says, to the people who are anti-iDubbbz, at what point would you think it's reasonable to set up a boundary that you don't want to associate with the friends of someone who repeatedly insults you and your wife? Do you think people should even have these types of boundaries? Obviously, iDubbbz has also insulted a lot of people in the past, like Leafy, Rice Gum, etc. But I also think it would be reasonable if Leafy didn't want to associate with iDubbbz. I'm just confused by this idea that people should have no boundaries with the people who insult them. Like, I've shit on Sneeko a lot, and if Sneeko didn't want to associate with me, I think that would be totally reasonable. I also don't want to associate with him. Certain people on the internet just aren't meant to interact with each other in my opinion. Dumbsville shows a picture of iDubbbz from the video and captions it by saying, the iDubbbz drama is like seeing some guy who peaked in high school reveal to everyone that he injected experimental steroids to get on the football team. FPS Diesel says, can't believe this guy killed iDubbbz, showing a picture of Brandon Buckingham wearing a chest plate. He continues by saying, Sam has been running to new high right now like Fish Tank has captured the internet for weeks, where Creator Clash was a single night. Invoking Sam's name has made people run. It's hilarious. Even I've lost mutuals for tweeting tweeting about the guy. It's comedy. All Creator Clash needed to do was hype it up pre-event. But the only reason I knew it was happening, as someone who covers news online, is because drama happened. Take a cue from wrestling. Maybe some showmanship would have helped. Adam Nader says, God, the resurgence of Sam Hyde and his crusty side of the internet has collectively broken thousands of people's brains all over again. Made the mistake of reading the comments on the new iDubbbz video. Shit is bleak. Like, dude is not a funny haha comedian, man. He's a right-wing freakazoid, using sketches and streams as a thin-veiled cover for disseminating his abhorrent takes and ideology. And it's not even remotely subtle. Harley TBS says, I don't understand how iDubbbz thought this video was going to go well. His entire platform's built off edgy commentary. He won't win his audience over by being offended when they literally subscribe to him because he was the one saying offensive shit in the first place. This isn't even a comment on the content of the video itself. I'm just talking solely about knowing your audience and who you are appealing to. Ricky Berwick says, lol, iDubbbz should have never made that video. He should just take his money and go offline for a few years. Cocaine Kurt responds to him by saying, it's funny you defend a pedo wannabe Nazi named Sam Hyde, when the real Nazis would have thrown your ass in the furnace at first glance. Ricky quote tweets him and says, I met iDubbbz, and he was a fake asshole after that, showing a picture of them together on wheelchairs. Chris Pratt responds by saying, yeah, you mentioned how he was kinda quiet, and didn't seem like he wanted to be there. Guess he's ableist. Ricky quote tweets him and says, him and Anisa also called me socially awkward afterwards to one of my friends via DMs. I have improved my social interaction since then, but kinda fucked up. Boogie2988 reacts to the iDubbbz video by saying, I wasn't expecting to get dragged as talentless in the iDubbbz video. I get the point he was making by saying I am not a professional boxer, but I've been training my ass off and trying to change my life. Felt like a pretty low blow. Hahaha. Boxing joke. Vale says, 2 minutes into iDubbbz's new video and he already is apologizing for his old content. What a pussy. Jordan says, watching people dog on iDubbbz for defending his wife and getting rid of shitty people is absolutely insane. Like, bro, people can change? Teddy says, iDubbbz is not only proof that people have the capacity to change, but he's also hot and has a mustache, so... Never in my life did I think I would be defending iDubbbz on Twitter.com, but anyone shitting on him for his decision / his new video is actually fucking brain dead. His reaction and decision to kick that guy out of the event was completely valid and justified. Danny says, iDubbbz is such a L, lol. Leafy retweets a tweet he made on the 16th of April, where he laughs at iDubbbz crying and getting kissed by Anisa after losing his boxing match at Creator Clash 2. Plain Rock says, iDubbbz fell off harder than me, what the fuck? Scott Schaefer says, balance achieved, Thanos is smiling, showing that at the time he took a screenshot of iDubbbz's video, the dislikes and likes are both at 20k. Turkey Tom shows the part of iDubbbz's video where he labels him as a Sam Hyde fan and captions it by saying, it's actually so fucking over, bros. W or L. Brandon Buckingham responds, he got us. Brandon Buckingham then shows the part of iDubbbz's video where he shows Brandon interviewing Rusty Cage and says, man, this new iDubbbz video sucks. iDubbbz banned Sam Hyde and Froggy Fresh from his event, then used their negative reactions to being banned as his explanation for why he banned them. Pretty backwards. Wavy Websurf says, so iDubbbz explicitly says Froggy wasn't banned because of the OnlyFans joke. It was because of his friendship with Sam Hyde, but his entire video was him showing examples of Froggy joking on OnlyFans models? Opinion. He banned him for both Sam and the OnlyFans joke. Wavy then also shows the part of iDubbbz's video where Brandon is interviewing Rusty and says, very on brand for Rusty Cage to just randomly catch a stray at the end of the new content cop. Brandon responds by saying, I don't get why he closed the video with that clip. Wavy responds, the puppet master making marionette moves. Rusty Cage says, that's the last time I attempted diplomacy. Too much goofy internet drama for me. He then shows a screenshot of the bad dislike to like ratio on iDubbbz's video and says, go ahead and dislike. The engagement still helps me in the algorithm. The funny thing is too, right before Anisa confronted me, I was planning on going over and talking to Ian to try and squash whatever weird beef there may have been between us. But of course, that would have probably been considered an unmasculine move by his standards. And Blemon shows that same part of iDubbbz's video and says, wow, Turkey Tom and Rusty Cage were invited to the iDubbbz shaming party. Isn't there someone else you were forgetting? Or did I not fall into your straw man argument of shaming sex workers? Obviously referencing the fact that in the Brandon Buckingham video that iDubbbz cited for his video, Empleman also gave his opinion on Froggy Fresh being banned, but wasn't included in the iDubbbz video like Rusty Cage, Turkey Tom, and Brandon Buckingham were. Death Crips responds by saying, sorry, you were not part of the Cool Kids Club, showing a picture with a sign that says, He-Man Woman Haters Club. Death Crips then makes a tweet of his own that says, excited for everyone to finally see my collaboration with iDubbbz.
A lot of it's not explicitly said, but when you listen to the jokes, it's like, oh, that's actually just your opinion phrased in a comedic
There I
way.
am, Gary, there
There was some
I
type
am.
of nerd fight last year.
Death Crips makes another funny Twitter video with the caption, addressing the elephant in the room.
Hey guys, I wanted to address some things that have been brought to my attention, and I wanted to start off by saying everybody knows as of lately that my girlfriend has an OnlyFans. Yes, it's true. And I know that people have been on record making a lot of disrespectful jokes about it. So, I just want to come out there and say, doesn't bother me. It is absolutely fine. I don't care. I get it, you know. You all thought of me one way, but in all reality, I'm not like that. I know that I put that image out there, and that's what made me popular, and that's what I did it for. But, yeah, no, not who I am, and don't be surprised, okay? Make all the jokes you want, doesn't bother me, get over it, okay? That being said, I also want to address the fact that I kicked somebody out of an event that I was hosting for associating with a person who made jokes about my wife and her having an OnlyFans, because what in the actual fuck, dude? Are you unhinged? You're literally crazy. You're absolutely insane. I would never in a million years want to reach out to you to make a video and then turn my back on you when you don't abide by the way I want you to behave. This is insane. You're actually fucking crazy, dude. And I shouldn't have to associate with you. Or anybody that I don't want to. And I don't have to put up with this bullshit. This is fucking crazy. Also, I'm big gay.
And then Death Crips makes one more video with the caption, "What did we learn from the iDubbbz and Froggy Fresh drama?"
And at the end of the day, it's pretty poetically beautiful that the man who made Content Top, a video series that was made to comedically critique individuals and those around them, is seemingly breaking down right in front of our very eyes. All because him and others around him are being comedically critiqued. So, all in all, I guess the lesson to be learned here is that, this is what e-girl pussy does to a motherfucker.
Augie RFC says, "I don't think it's appropriate that you're hanging out with a guy that doesn't think women are people." iDubbbz to Froggy about Sam Hyde, laughing my ass off. Lucari tweets out, "Nuclear take apparently. This is a good video. iDubbbz not associating with a guy who openly harasses him and his wife is completely fair. Froggy was acting like a knob in this situation." Augie quote tweets him and says, "It's fine for Ian to not want to work with Sam Hyde. Good thing he never had to. Sam privately training a fighter at his event literally doesn't affect it at all. And Ian was indirect with Froggy in the text messages. Froggy asked Ian multiple times if it was too far. Even if you were being ultra charitable to iDubbbz, it doesn't really work. His video was shit because it was 26 minutes of him saying Sam is too mean. Sure, why does that matter though? It doesn't." Nicholas Diorio says, "How many of these clips Ian posted of Froggy talking shit came after he was thrown off the card unceremoniously 3 weeks before?" Laughing my fucking ass off. Nerd emoji. Bro, if you told 2016 me that iDubbbz would upload a video where I optics check Sam Hyde with Keemstar in 2023, I would never believe you. This is awesome. Not really sure what to say about the iDubbbz video, honestly. He basically faced the criticism head on and went, "Yes, exactly what you said about me is true. I am like that." Well shit man, laughing my ass off. I guess that's it, laughing my ass off. This take was too hot for some at the time, but it's so fucking true. Especially after that vid. He then shows a tweet thread he made in March, where he says, "I'm tired of all the conspiracies about Aniza being the singular reason why iDubbbz sucks now. It's kind of pathetic to act like Ian has no agency, and was put under a spell by a gold digger," laughing my fucking ass off. "Just admit you don't like him as the insufferable person he grew into. It's not like it took a woman's influence to turn Ethan Klein into a loser. The sweet, smug smell of Cali air and an inflated ego did that all by itself. People change, and it's okay to not like them anymore when they start to suck, lol." Just to clarify a bit, since this seems to have been lost in translation, this isn't a defense of Aniza, it's a jab at iDubbbz. I don't think Aniza has mind control powers, but I also can't stand her. I just think people sound pathetic when they make 1,000 excuses because they wish iDubbbz would wake up randomly on any given Tuesday, divorce his wife, and make a new bad unboxing / content cop. You just sound insane, lol. Little bro, you don't like him. Back to present day, Nicholas Diorio continues tweeting about iDubbbz's new video by saying, "Dude, after everyone fucking cried and said said it wasn't true. Ian straight up said Froggy got kicked for doing a collab with Sam Hyde. I feel so gaslit from those spaces, laughing my fucking ass off. Like, agree or disagree? I am just happy that this shit is out in the open. People acted like we were insane to say that. Harley plays, bro. You owe me like $5 or something retroactively from a bet we never made. Harley quote tweets Nick and says, "This proves I wasn't a talking piece for Creator Clash 2. I shared a perspective that I thought could make sense to a mob that didn't want to hear it. I said like 50 times I wasn't speaking on behalf of anybody, and everyone claimed otherwise." Renaissance Crusade responds by saying, "Just think it's pretty shitty of ya to act like what Ian did was alright, when you in fact trained with Sam, made way more content based around him, and even went so far to defend him. Now all that's changed?" Harley responds, "I never said it was right or wrong. I was just pointing out how the situation could have possibly ended up here, and how it can all make sense. That's all. But people don't want to hear an alternative perspective, it seems." Nicholas then tweets out, "I think we underestimated Harley's ability to damage control effectively. We were too hard on him. I wonder how many of the content creators saying iDubbbz video is good are just trying to avoid getting blackballed from Creator Clash 3, laughing my ass off." Keemstar says, "Boxing is a dangerous sport. iDubbbz's brain damage cost him the ability to make good arguments. Creator Clash is a great event, and I look forward to the event next year. The owners of Creator Clash are very sensitive, and not inclusive at all, my opinion. Retweet if you think iDubbbz should train with Sam Hyde for his next boxing match, so he can win." So Sam Hyde just tweeted he left a comment, but it's not on the video? Did they delete his comment? He then shows Sam's comment, which says, "Come train with me. Do it in secret and for free. I don't need clout or money. I will stake my career and reputation on you getting a win." Sam Hyde quote tweets Keem and says, "It could just be YouTube's automatic filter. Offer still stands." Keemstar then shows that iDubbbz blocked him and says, "Bro, what? What happened to the internet bully guy?" In reference to the current iDubbbz/Creator Clash situation, Korn has been talking shit about me for years. I talked shit back, it's whatever. Instead of blocking Korn or banning him from Happy Punch boxing events, I included him in it. I see people defending iDubbbz's actions for banning Sam Hyde and Froggy Fresh, saying it's good he's changed and has grown. Is blocking/banning people growing? Blocking people makes you a grown-up? Really? Being overly sensitive has always been seen as childish. Optimus says, "Not gonna lie, iDubbbz looked like a total pussy in those texts between him and Froggy Fresh, and was clearly dodging any question Froggy had for him. This idea that he was clear about his intentions through these texts with Froggy Fresh is just not true, laughing my ass off. He couldn't have been more vague." It's also hilarious because iDubbbz wants to act like him, essentially demanding Froggy Fresh to postpone posting any content with Sam Hyde is even remotely reasonable as a request, laughing my ass off. I don't give a fuck who you are. Nobody would ever tell me when I can and can't upload my own content. Be iDubbbz. Spend years of your life making content centered around edgy humor, racism, shitting on other content creators, etc. Gain millions of subs plus huge reputation in creator scene. Repeatedly defend yourself in said content over several years. Times change. YouTube suddenly cracks down on edgy content, and slowly over several months, and much of the content iDubbbz was popular for is now going to the wayside and not as profitable. Suddenly disavow content immediately after dating new chick, Aniza. Insult previous fans and become generally insufferable. Cope that everyone blames your girlfriend, the only new visible variable in the entire equation, for your newfound behavior. Repeatedly cope over OnlyFans jokes/Aniza joke, which only makes things worse. Beef with Froggy Fresh and kick him out of your event for collaborating with Sam Hyde. Claim it's not due to the OnlyFans joke. Make a 27-minute video where 90% of the video is you coping about misogyny and Froggy's OnlyFans joke. Instantaneous backlash and criticism. Public perception of you as a person now at a record low. Holy fuck, how did we get to this point, laughing my ass off? If this whole situation is weighing on bro's mind like he's claiming it is, then he needs a fucking therapist. I just realized this, but iDubbbz gave up his birth name to take Aniza's last name, laughing my ass off. Some black guy then shares his opinion in a Twitter video titled, "iDubbbz Froggy Fresh drama reminds me of Bill Burr and Anthony Camilla fallout."
Essentially, this situation reminds me of Bill Burr. Bill Burr had a falling out with Anthony Cumia of, former Opie and Anthony. And Anthony Cumia, kind of scummy. He said some not so nice things about Bill Burr's wife, called her ugly and all this stuff. And obviously, naturally, Bill Burr wants absolutely nothing to do with Anthony Cumia. Bill Burr every year does this benefit, this Patricia O'Neal benefit, because he died back in like 2011 or something. And Anthony Cumia he's banned essentially. He's not invited to this thing anymore. He can't participate, right? For obvious reasons. And if you look at the internet's reaction to this, people in the comedy scene, everything, everyone understands. They totally understand. Anthony Cumia even recently tried to make amends, and Bill Burr was not having it. He's like, "Nuh-uh, man. You're a scumbag." Had him kicked out of this club they were at. Anthony was all mad. But the internet, again, understood. People were saying things like, yeah, man, as a man, that's what you do. You got to defend your wife. Totally understandable. He's doing what any reasonable person would do. So when it comes to iDubbbz and the situation with Froggy Fresh and Sam Hyde, how the fuck is that any different? So Froggy Fresh associates with the one guy that they can't stand, the one guy that's been relentlessly shitting on Anissa. Sounds kind of like, oh, well, fuck this guy. Hey, we brought him into this event, and then he's just associating with this one dude that's been just giving us a lot of fucking grief. So yeah, I don't want anything to do with him anymore. Pretty simple to me. I just say take iDubbbz and Anissa, Froggy Fresh, and Sam Hyde out of the situation. That's why I use Bill Burr as an example. Put anybody else in those situations. Anyone that you hate or anyone that you love. Why is this problematic? Why is this a fucking issue? It just sounds like people are all up in their feelings because they don't like who iDubbbz has become and they think Anissa has been pulling the strings and all this shit. I don't give a fuck about any of that stuff. I really don't. To me, it's just the situation. Having an event, you hired some talent, the talent associated with someone who's been shitting on your wife, don't want them there anymore.
He then follows up his video by saying, some people out here trying to act like they wouldn't do the same thing if they were in the same situation. Froggy even said he didn't like the vibe of Creator Clash, so severing ties was the only move that made sense. Why stay on an event you don't even like? Lol. If a friend or business partner was associating with someone who's been relentlessly shitting on my wife, we absolutely wouldn't be cool anymore. They have every right to pursue a relationship with that person, but I have every right to sever ties with said friend. The Quartering says, watched the iDubbbz vid. Hearing him unironically refer to mean words online as harassment? Oof. Thing is, Ian made these choices, not his girl. I have a strong suspicion that his wife is the first girl he's ever had sex with. He's willingly cucked. Blaming her doesn't fit. It's really hard to blame the guy for being the way he is when half the internet is calling his wife a whore. This is who Ian is now. Shitting on him endlessly feels mean-spirited now. The man got a crumb of pussy and abandoned everything he ever believed. Fellas out there, I bet you've had a friend at some point who turned out just like this. I know I did. Dude's just like Horatio Sands in Tomcat, if you were old enough to remember that movie. Side note, I wonder if that still holds up. Moose Choose says, I liked iDubbbz's response. Flamenco TV says, for someone that is very secure about Anissa's OnlyFans, iDubbbz gets really fucking insecure when her OnlyFans gets brought up. Memeology101 says, iDubbbz looks like a crack addict. Jack Saint says, the weird thing about the iDubbbz situation is seeing people act like openly associating with a guy who called my partner a slut for internet cred would be like the masculine Chad move and not the most weak, pathetic shit imaginable. Yeah, bro. Real cuck move from iDubbbz not working with a guy publicly insulting his partner, so a bunch of online shut-ins can think he's still based and red-pilled. I grieve for the significant others none of you will ever have. I will have it on record that yeah, if you call my spouse an ethot bitch, I would ban you from any event I had control over attendance on, regardless of the imaginary clout you think I have to gain from you. Ted Cruz energy. Extremely sad. Cavo shows the DMs between Froggy and iDubbbz and captions it by saying, iDubbbz is such a moron. Tried making a video justifying why he kicked out Froggy Fresh from Creator Clash and ended up looking worse. These text messages make him look like such a baby. Barry Blockstan responds by saying, I find it really funny that out of everything iDubbbz has done, him growing up is what gets him the most hate he's ever gotten in his entire career. Technical says, these DMs were the most professional shit I've read all month. What the fuck are you saying? Froggy just comes off as dense and unyielding. Xavier's Online says, Sam Hyde is a Nazi cunt, and iDubbbz is not obligated to associate with him. Put your big boy pants on and accept that not everyone has to get along with your weirdo fucking friends. He then quote tweets Cavo saying that the video is not doing too well, showing the dislike to like ratio, and captions it by saying, you have to get along with weird Nazi YouTuber. Look at the dislike button. The people want you to be friends. Grow up. Thank God Joji got out when he did. Harley quote tweets Cavos and says, man, I feel old today, laughing my ass off. How can you think these texts make iDubbbz look bad? To me, they come off as mature, transparent, proactive, and professional. Communicating thoroughly is not baby behavior. Willie Macshow responds, cause Ian is paranoid and getting in Froggy's business, when it's literally just Froggy hanging with his friend. In the vid he said he kicked Froggy out for posting content with Sam, but it was just some tweet. Very few YouTubers would consider that content, lol. Feels like Ian was looking for a reason to kick him cause he obviously hates Sam. Hurley responds, getting in Froggy's business. Technically they got in business together when they signed a contract, so his texts were not outlandish because they are literally doing business together. Very Bad responds by saying, the signed contract contract had no such point that barred him from training and hanging with whomever he wanted to. Harley responds, I'm technically not allowed to talk about specific. There is language in the contract that includes people you associate with publicly. It's actually common in lots of contracts. I lost a deal with a hotel chain way back in the day for a tweet I engaged with. Kavos responds to Harley by saying, the combination of these texts with the actual outcome of what happened, Ian only ended up attracting the attention he claimed he didn't want by his actions. These texts don't come across well in my opinion after everything we know happened. Harley responds, the texts come off like a mature attempt to proactively avoid drama in my opinion. In fact, considering how everything played out, those texts also come off as ample warning backed with a transparent justification and explanation. Mexican George Lopez responds, nah, it just shows how soft he is. He shouldn't be in the entertainment business if comments are the straw that breaks you. Harley responds, I don't know about that, bro. He seems to be doing pretty well in the entertainment business. Plain Rock responds to Harley by saying, get off his dick, you got paid already. Harley responds, I'll continue to call out things as I see them, whether I'm paid or not. Why are you so mad at iDubbbz? Plain Rock responds, for starters, and then shows a bunch of tweets that I previously showed, criticizing iDubbbz video. Harley responds, what does this mean? To which Plain Rock responds, you got brain damage from the fight. Harley responds, no, seriously, what does your tweet even mean? I want to reply, but I don't understand what your point is. Plain Rock responds, why the new iDubbbz video was bad. Harley responds, hahaha, you're weird. Spawndial responds to Harley by saying, you asked him what reasons he was mad at iDubbbz, so he took screenshots showing said reasons, laughing my ass off. It's not that complex. Harley responds, apparently he responded with, why iDubbbz video is bad, and not, why is he mad at iDubbbz? You guys aren't even on the same page, laughing my ass off. This is dumb as hell, lol. Plain Rock responds, it's the reason I'm mad at him today? Check your brain damage, please. Harley responds, that's why you're mad at him today? Plain Rock responds, did anyone screenshot his instantly deleted tweet where he doubles down about me being the dumb one, but he finally got smart and hit delete? Spawndial then responds with the deleted tweet, and Harley responds by saying, it was just me having a hard time understanding what you were trying to say. Plain Rock responds, bro admitted he dumb! To which Harley responds, no, you were silly and weird. So Froggy Fresh went on his Twitter and posted the notice of termination he got from Creator Clash on March 5th, 2023 for engaging in conduct that degraded and offended the event sponsors, obviously referring to the disparaging comments Froggy made about the event on a podcast from April 26, 2023, that iDubbbz showed in his video as obvious proof that Froggy did indeed break his contract 11 days after the event took place. Froggy captions this on Twitter by saying, I know everyone's sick of hearing about this, and trust me, I'm sick of talking about it, so if you were over this, just scroll past, don't worry about it, I get it. But I have to finally address this big point which Ian is saying they weren't threatening to sue me. Attached is the legal letter I was sent threatening legal action. I highlighted the important parts. Also to clarify, the only thing I had done up to this point is spoken to Ian on the phone and through text, trained with Sam Hyde, and the OnlyFans joke, and of course Marian and I's Twitter exchange, which iDubbbz didn't include in his video for obvious reasons. Since she was publicly discussing my removal from the event before I had even been contacted regarding it, Ian's timeline of events is skewered. I didn't start publicly badmouthing the event until after I had been kicked. They kicked me and sent me this letter telling me to basically shut up about it. So that's pretty much it. The letter reads as follows. Notice of termination of bout agreement. Dear Mr. Cassidy, as you know, Creator Clash LLC entered into a bout agreement with you dated September 20th, 2022, in connection to your scheduled participation in Creator Clash 2. Based on your recent conduct, Creator Clash has determined you have materially breached Section 8C of the bout agreement, specifically by engaging in conduct that has degraded and offended the event sponsors. Based on this material breach of the bout agreement, Creator Clash is hereby providing you notice pursuant to Section 12 of the bout agreement, that it is terminating the bout agreement effective immediately. Please be advised that you shall no longer participate in the event, or any event activities, and pursuant to Section 8C of the bout agreement, Creator Clash shall have no further duties or obligations to you. In addition, please be advised that the confidentiality obligations set forth in Section 17 of the bout agreement shall survive termination of the bout agreement. Thus, Creator Clash demands that you immediately cease and desist from making any further public or private statements about Creator Clash, your participation in the event, the terms of the bout agreement, or this letter, or any of the participants or event sponsors of Creator Clash. Continuing to engage in such conduct will cause you to be liable for damages to Creator Clash, and Creator Clash will seek all remedies available to it in order to protect its rights. Creator Clash is presently evaluating all courses of action that may be available to it due to your actions and omissions, which have caused Creator Clash to incur significant damages. Accordingly, Creator Clash hereby reserve all of its representative rights, powers, and remedies under the bout agreement and applicable applicable law. No failure, whether at this time or in the future, by Creator Clash to exercise, or any delay in exercising any right, power, privilege, or remedy that it may now have or may have in the future, under or in connection with the bout agreement, shall impair, prejudice, or constitute a waiver, or deemed waiver, of such right, power, privilege, or remedy, all of which are hereby reserved and preserved in their entirety. Notwithstanding the foregoing, as you know, Creator Clash previously advanced you $50,000 for training expenses in connection with the event, which advance Creator Clash is entitled to be refunded in full due to your material breach of the bout agreement. Creator Clash will agree to release any claims with respect to the advance and any damages Creator Clash may have suffered. Due to your material breach in consideration of your signing of the non-disparagement agreement attached hereto as Exhibit A, if you are in agreement with this proposed release, please execute and return the non-disparagement agreement no later than 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on March 27th, 2023. If you fail to return the enclosed acknowledgement by the specified date, Creator Clash shall seek all remedies available to it at law and equity due to your material breach of the bout agreement, including without limitation, seeking punitive and consequential damages. Sincerely, Richard Turris, General Counsel at Creator Clash LLC. And then here's the non-disparagement agreement that Creator Clash wanted Froggy to sign before the 27th. It says, I, Tyler Cassidy, hereby represent, warrant, covenant, and agree that I shall not, and hereby agree to use best efforts to ensure that all members of my team shall not make, publish, or in any other way discriminate or authorize any other person or entity to disseminate any false, disparaging, or materially misleading comments or remarks to any third party, including without limitation on in the press, social media, or via the internet about Creator Clash, or any of its owners, officers, employees, personnel, family members of personnel, fighter participants, etc., and or the event or any event activities. And then it has a space for it to be signed, which of course Froggy Fresh never ended up doing. Willie Macshow responds by saying, man Ian, what the fuck is this? Emp Lemon says, Ian is such a fucking weasel, laughing my ass off. Shelby says, don't worry, he still has his new audience.
Last, I am surrounded by people who get me. People who understand me and people who think like me. Man, this feels good.
Dolt4 the meme says, you working with Sam Hyde does not equal you violating the disparagement clause of any contract. Ian himself is recorded on tape now saying it was always about Sam Hyde, and that you knew this. By legally binding terms, they state it's about you, the individual, disparaging, not you and an outside influence, Sam. If they did take you to court, cite the clips as evidence, cite the dates and timestamps of beginning work with Sam, the Anisa's OnlyFans clip, the cease and desist segment, / termination of contract clause receival. In fact, by the terms of this agreement stipulation itself, that whole cease and desist clause also means that you cease and desist both your participation and the agreement itself. The document is null and void by its own terminology, and if you seek damages as a non-profit, that's retaliation without cause. You can and should countersue them for wrongful termination, since they clearly lied about the terms of your termination both in private and on record in public. Harassment, slander, and liable, blackmail, etc. Please seek legal counsel, Froggy Fresh. Ian also only made the entire video to smear your reputation, and others, to ruin your image. It wasn't to clear up anything whatsoever. For the record, all the Buckingham clips and Rusty clip at the end was just obnoxious, and clearly targeting you as individuals. It was not an explanation. It was a great value brand content cop video, except, instead of abiding by the laws of the internet, he's become the crooked cop, who drags you out of the car and beats the brakes off of you for having a tone with him, instead of actually committing any infraction. We all knew. Though iDubbbz thinks his audience only ever consisted of racist troglodytes, we all knew it was about Sam the whole time. The intelligent ones followed both of you and Sam. Perspective is everything in this world. Bro, for the record, I have followed you since I sat in a computer lab in the 8th grade, watching your music videos back on OG YouTube, for 2012 to be specific. It was one of our running inside jokes. We got so much enjoyment out of your content and your image, and you were genuinely wholesome. I respect that and always have. Why is Anisa even following what Sam is saying? And why is Ian obsessing over it as well? I thought he was done with that. The clips he used are out of an entire compilation that was recently released of Sam versus Anisa. If it's anyone he should have gone after or had a problem with, it should have been Sam all along. But oh, Ian's little bussy just couldn't handle being a man and fighting his own battles, so he came after you instead. If anyone should have been targeted for legal recourse, I hate to say it, but it was Sam himself, not you. El Yoko responds by by saying, Ian and Anisa had every right to kick you from their event. Southern Cannibal responds, look son, a dumbass. Psyop says, imagine sending a legal letter to someone with that logo on top, laughing my fucking ass off. Samantha Hyde says, thank you for being transparent about all this, Froggy. You got done dirty, and iDubbbz proved that by not disclosing all the facts in his video. Gameaholics responds by saying, they gave you 15k. You were disqualified and never fought. Pay back the 15k. Move on. You are more famous than ever been. Just swing it into Rev. This is a bad look. In a court of law, they'd win, my guy. 499 responds by saying, do you realize how stupid this is? This is like your employer firing you and then demanding you pay them for it. They'd be absolutely destroyed in court, and they know it, which is why they decided not to sue. TRX9921 responds by saying, if you want to make the analog of it's like firing an employee, it's like firing an employee who was caught breaking the rules of their employment, like stealing food at night instead of throwing it away, and then being asked to pay back everything they took while employed. 499 responds by saying, no, it literally isn't at all like that. It's like your employer paying for you to travel. Then they fire you and demand the money for travel back because they were pissed and badmouthed the company after being fired. Micah responds by saying, some big huffs of cope there, lad. To which 499 responds, talk about cope. You must not have watched Ian's Crybaby video that prompted this. T-Rex responds, if you also watched the video, then you know Froggy was badmouthing prior to being fired. Anisa messaged him and his wife on March 12th, trying to figure out and resolve things after Froggy had already been badmouthing. Then he continued to badmouth and was fired. Froggy responds, no. I never badmouthed the event prior to being kicked. Provide proof I did. Left D's responds to Froggy by saying, squeeze every last drop of clout you can get from this. It's your only shot to try and get some relevancy. Pissboy Adam responds, you underestimate the pure Chad energy Froggy has. Left D's responds, Chad energy is basically pouring out of his 4'8" body. Froggy responds with laughing emojis, and then Left D's responds, Froggy, brother, I think you could have a chance being a decent content creator. Just stop with the Creator Clash 2 BS. It's been tired. Froggy responds, brother, I'm posting a threat that Ian says doesn't exist. Lefties responds, yeah, I saw your tweet. My point still stands, laughing my ass off. Nobody really cares, just move on. Don't make it your whole personality. It's boring, to be honest. Froggy responds, brother, I never thought people would care this much. I just had to clear my name because his fans are saying I was lying about the legal threats, since he said in his video that they had no intentions to sue. What do you expect me to do? Allow a false narrative to spread? Jen IRL says, so you breached the agreement that you, presumably, hopefully, read and signed, and put on a surprised Pikachu face when they removed you? Hayden Field responds, what did he breach? To which Jen IRL says, Section 8C of the agreement, it's in the picture. Hayden responds, all it says is that he somehow breached rules, yet doesn't say exactly what the breach was. This is legit garbage, dude, laughing my ass off. Jen IRL responds, it literally says he engaged in conduct that degraded and offended the event sponsors. Can you not read? Hayden responds, and I said that doesn't say really anything, and is incredibly vague. He made one joke towards Anisa, and only degraded the precious hosts, after he was unceremoniously kicked out and lied about. The trash man responds, making a public joke insulting one of the people who runs the event is degrading the event. Froggy responds, then why say in the video I was kicked out for collaborating with Sam Hyde? Not the joke? Emblem quote tweets Froggy showing his notice of termination, and says, please, by all means, continue boasting to me about how Ian is oh so morally correct in this situation. Froggy has been here since the beginning, responding to questions and posting receipts. Ian has posted nothing but aggravated lip service and immediately disprovable hearsay. To people asking, why care so much about petty drama? He literally put multiple of my friends on blast with his god-awful response video. Am I supposed to just do the spineless thing and say nothing? Or may I possibly defend the people I care about? Def Noodle's response to Froggy by saying, from the wording on this letter, it appears Creator Clash fired Froggy for breaching some kind of non-disparagement clause, which would contradict the justification iDubbbz gave in his video for terminating Froggy. Without knowing the scope of the clause, I'm not entirely sure how training with Sam Hyde would qualify as disparagement. Safe to say Froggy's termination was poorly handled. Taylor responds to Def Noodles by saying, his public statements against OnlyFans and OnlyFans girls wouldn't be disparaging to Fansly? Def Noodles responds, iDubbbz said in his video that the reason Froggy was fired was because of Froggy's associating with Sam Hyde. He said the OnlyFans statements had nothing to do with the termination. Repzilla responds to Froggy Fresh by saying, laughing my ass off, all you guys saying there was no legal threat just got proven wrong. Flamenco says, as much of a pain it would be for Froggy, I kinda hope it goes to litigation, just because there's a really good argument that iDubbbz has done more damage to the Creator Clash brand and his own than anyone else at this point. FPS Diesel says, I would like to apologize for calling Froggy irrelevant. He will be remembered, even if all the Creator Clash dweebs dogpiled of which those other guys can eat it. Froggy responds to him with the 100 emoji. Lolo responds to Froggy by saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is pretty boilerplate language for a cease and desist, with an added provision asking them to sign something to keep the funds they had been paid following a material breach. Could see how someone might think this is a lawsuit, but it's really not. Not coming at anyone involved in this dispute. Just, if you've never seen a cease and desist, they use pretty similar language. If you were getting sued, you'll know. Jabroni responds to Froggy by saying, lol, Alana Pierce just straight up lied in her video saying this letter wasn't a lawsuit threat. This language explicitly threatens to sue you. Froggy responds, I know brother, shaking my head. Nick Diorio responds to Froggy by saying, just a reminder of how many lied on your name about this. Quote tweeting a tweet he made a month ago calling out Alana Pierce for her comments on the Froggy Fresh situation. Froggy responds, I know brother, I really feel annoying constantly talking about this, but it's like I have to say something, or people start saying I was lying. So reading Nick's older thread from April 8th that he linked under Froggy's tweet, it starts out with Nick saying, it's crazy how Creator Clash fighters who don't represent the event continue to come out and drop exact numbers to defend Anisa/Ian dropping Froggy Fresh. Now they are trying to make it sound like Froggy stealing from charity, laughing my fucking ass off.
But that document is not litigation and it's not them trying to sue him. Essentially, Tyler, Froggy Fresh, was given $15,000 for training purposes. And for the record, I was not given that money. I don't know if anyone else was. I think it was effectively like a financial aid for him specifically because I guess he requested it. I'm not entirely sure how that went down because he needed the help paying for training. I don't know how much money he spent. I don't think that I've spent $15,000 paying for my training or my meals. It certainly costs thousands of dollars, but I don't think I would have spent anywhere near $15,000. And what they did was send him a letter saying, hey, can we have the $15,000 back? The reason they did that was because now that he's no longer fighting because of breach of contract, he had to be replaced. That money that was given to him is just taken out of charity at this point. So essentially, they're not going to ask him for money he doesn't have. If he doesn't have the money, he doesn't have the money. And if he can't return it, the other clause was you can just keep it if you just stop talking about it, which I guess he's kind of said no to both options. That is not them trying to sue him. I think like that was an offer, but I don't think that's their way of being like, if you don't do these things, we're going to sue you. And at no point did they ever say that. But the $15,000 thing, again, is not them suing him for $15,000. That's them asking him if they can have the money that they loaned him back for the fight, because that money is being taken out of the charity directly, because that's how it works, right? They have to give money to the other fighter for training purposes. And if that's just $15,000 that they no longer have access to for somebody who's no longer participating in the fight, that is $15,000 wasted that otherwise would be going to one of these charities. So the dude is not being sued. Nobody is threatening to sue him. It's ultimately just being like, okay, if you have any of that money, can we put it towards the charity? If you have any left, rather than you just getting to keep it now that this has gone down.
Nick continues his thread by saying, Froggy got dropped because he made a joke about an insecure person's OnlyFans. Stop acting like he committed some heinous act, laughing my fucking ass off. Are they giving the replacement fighter $15K to fight on 3 weeks notice? If so, it should come out of Anisa's pocket, laughing my fucking ass off. This is Alana Pierce, Chara Lanazard. It's just fucking hilarious watching these total losers make an OnlyFans joke sound like he assaulted someone in the street. All of these people are completely disgusting, and you should cancel your ticket to the event.
I don't want to talk about this too much. There are a lot of people already talking about this a lot. And obviously while I am currently contracted to Creator Clash to perform a service for them, I do not represent Creator Clash. I'm not a PR spokesperson. That's not how it works. I used to be such a big fan of Tyler. It's not to say that I'm not a fan of him now or anything, but I think the whole situation's a real bummer. For anyone who doesn't know, basically one of the fighters got dropped. And it was because of breach of contract. And the breach of contract, I don't have even full understanding of everything that happened here, but he basically he broke contract in a way that if I had done it at my job working for PlayStation, I would have been fired. So that's that part of it. But one thing that I would like to take the opportunity to clear up, just because there's a lot of misinformation about it, is some people, including all of the big YouTubers who just love jumping on this stuff without really digging into it, which is always so frustrating, have made a bunch of commentary about Froggy Fresh getting sued by Creator Clash, which is absolutely not true. So let me take the opportunity to say that, because I don't think anybody else has yet. A lawyer sent a document, but that document is not litigation and it's not them trying to sue him.
Back on April 8th, Froggy responded to this thread by saying, "Really glad whoever this is aware of who all did or didn't receive this gracious financial aid. To fight in their charity event they approached me to be in. Admit she doesn't know what's going on. I breach a contract and they are not going to sue? Okay. Just a nasty email from a Creator Clash lawyer threatening to sue for damages they incurred to their brand. If I didn't sign their termination contract agreeing to shut up." Nick also tweeted out, "So the current spin is that Creator Clash never intended to sue Froggy Fresh. They just had lawyers draft up an ultimatum where they asked for 15k back or demanded Froggy stop talking about the event. We are also supposed to believe Creator Clash would never have followed up either. And when this didn't work, they sent another fighter out to make it sound like Froggy is robbing the charity 15 grand because he was unceremoniously thrown off the card 3 weeks before the event starts. These people are evil, man, laughing my fucking ass off." Nick in current day then quote tweets that old tweet and says, "Froggy Fresh released the papers. Bro, I wonder why the dude thinks Aniza and Ian were going to sue him," laughing my fucking ass off. Wherever did he get that idea, laughing my fucking ass off? Both Froggy and the entire community have been repeatedly gaslit about this for a month. After this document from Froggy was released, Aniza then goes on her Twitter to attempt to clarify some things. She says, "I want to clarify something. We pay each fighter a purse of 20k for fighting in the event, which is awarded net 30 after you complete your fight. We came up with that number because it will guarantee cover training costs, so no one loses money doing it. It's not literally for training. Most fighters pay for training and get their fighter's purse for fighting like any other fight contract. Sometimes we lend money in good faith when someone can't afford to train to the level we desire. That's us advancing their purse. We did not pay for training. Not excited for whatever comments show up on this thread, but I wanted to make it clear the 20k payment is for completing the contract and fighting. We don't pay for training. We advance in good faith." I'd also like to selfishly point out that this is the exact point I was making in my video talking about the Creator Clash finances, because people were under the impression that the fighters were fighting only for charity and not getting their own personal pay cut. The same video that Aniza mocked and misrepresented on the H3 podcast.
I don't know. According to a couple of YouTubers, we're pocketing $1.7 million. So.
Ooh.
I never said in the video that they personally were pocketing $1.7 million. I said $1.7 million of Creator Clash 1's income was not spent on charity and therefore went to the fighters and whatever other costs there are to run the event. Which, regardless of how expensive that is, I'm pretty sure it's significantly less than $1.7 million, meaning whatever's left of the $1.7 million after the event costs would be going directly into the fighters' pockets. Which again is not an issue. The issue is that they hadn't been being transparent about it, and that because Froggy got an advance on his purse, he wasn't stealing 15k from charity like Alana Pierce was alleging at the time, which was the point of that video. If you want to see me explain my argument more in depth, you can just go watch that video, but needless to say, Anisa's interpretation of my video was incorrect, and she just proved the point I was making in my video on her Twitter of her own volition. But moving on, Scourge HH responds to Aniza by saying, "That's very fair. I think most of the drama was just a disconnect between people not understanding that for charity doesn't mean everyone is fighting at a loss. Just means the majority of money goes to charity. Good to clear it up. Thanks, yeah, that makes sense. We expect a lot of training to happen in a year, and it's expensive, plus fighters take time off of content creation. The numbers meant to make the sacrifice hurt a little less." Dawa Hawkin responds to Aniza by saying, "I thought the fighters weren't paid for the fighting. Charity event." Riley responds, "I wonder how much Wasabi was paid, and how much that salary Ian and Aniza will be taking next year, or if they just decide to cash out and sell the brand in a few years for a few cool millions. Nah, no way. It's only for charity. I guarantee their salary will be healthy." Aniza responds, "We haven't taken a salary for Creator Clash 1 or Creator Clash 2. Ian gets paid the purse for fighting though." Jack Shackleford responds by saying, "I don't know why this is such a big deal. It's no money out of any charity's pocket. Fighters and their trainers need to be compensated for the work they put in and the show they put on. Keemstar was just reaching and pulling at straws. I don't know why it was criticized at all." Aniza responds, "It's literally built into our budget and cost. They are why the event is happening at all. We asked them to sacrifice a year of their life and pay a ton of money while slowing down on content creation. Charity still benefits massively." Solar Being responds to Aniza by saying, "If associating with Sam Hyde was such a deal breaker that you want all your money back in immediate firing, you should have put it in the contract." Bibble Links responds by saying, "There's a difference between wanting money back and actually taking legal action to get it back. Every time I spend my money on random shit on Amazon, I want it back, but I'm not obligated to get it back," laughing my ass off. Solar Being responds responds by saying they have the right to sue him, but iDubbbz denied it in the video, and then Froggy released proof that they threatened him. If they just sued him and allowed people to call them villains, I wouldn't care. Aniza responds, Ian said we are not suing him, nor do we plan on it. The letter lets Froggy know that it's not his money, since he did not complete his contract, and like any legal document, outlines the rights we have as a company. This is very typical for a lawyer to do. Solar Being responds, if the money is in his account, it is about the money. Aniza responds, that's not how contracts work. Riley responds to Aniza by saying, why don't you just address that Ian lied about not threatening to sue? We all saw the gag order sent to Froggy Fresh. Aniza responds, he did not lie. We said we aren't suing him, and we never planned on suing him, which is true. It's very normal for a writer to write out what's within legal rights as a company due to contract breach. No one's suing him. He's keeping that money. Riley then shows the last page of the Froggy termination notice and says, am I missing something? Aniza responds, please sign this to keep the money, or if not, it's within our right to use the law to ask for it back. Also, again, Ian said, we aren't suing him or plan on it. That highlighted part doesn't contradict anything he said. It is normal legal jargon. Riley responds, so, sign this and don't ever talk about any of us ever, and we won't sue you for money we advanced you that you spent on training while we run your name through the mud. Got it. Not a threat at all. Aniza responds, it's offering an NDA in exchange for the 15K. Yes. Also, we weren't running his name through the mud. We were hoping to part amicably. Aniza also tweets out, I feel like no one can read today or something. Meowery responds, it's not like they can't read. They are just dedicated to misunderstanding you. Aniza responds, yeah, very true. Bleh. Willie Maxwell responds to Aniza's tweets by saying, imagine trying to sue a guy for money he's used for training and trying to get it back on a loophole. Aniza responds by saying, sign an NDA, keep the 15K that isn't yours. That was the offer. He wasn't interested. We didn't pursue any further, nor were we ever planning to. That's it. Willie Maxwell responds, I'm guessing the NDA is so he doesn't express discontent for being kicked off? Aniza responds by saying, NDA was for bad-mouthing the event. It was an attempt to minimize drama so close to the event to protect the company. This was drafted by the lawyers, and we told them we didn't want to pursue legal action before it was drafted up. We were hoping he would be okay with the trade, and we can split amicably, with him keeping the 15K, which is 5K less than the purse, and we could part ways with no bad-mouthing basically. Froggy wasn't interested, which is fine. We just wanted to try and do a trade. Willie responds, it doesn't seem like a very amicable trade. You were just saying in a nicer way that the 15K he used for training isn't really his, and you can sue him for it if he doesn't sign the NDA. Nicholas Diorio responds to Aniza by saying, we sent this guy a legal notice and threatened him with an ultimatum, but ultimately never followed through. Why is this guy running around saying we are going to sue him? Sign this NDA or we will respectfully ask for our money back? This is the most brain-dead shit I have ever read, laughing my fucking ass off. They literally tried to scare him into silence, and are too chicken shit to admit it was a threat. Someone who was actually mentioned in iDubbbz video, Boogie2988, made an entire video responding to iDubbbz titled, iDubbbz dragged me into his drama so I destroyed my wheelchair.
Footwork is amazing. Kind of sucks to see me and Jordy being used as a punchline for a joke, or being used to prove a point. And he's not entirely wrong. I am an amateur boxer. This is my very first fight. But I think it still really sucks to see me and Jordy being used to prove a point, or to make fun of the fact that we're trying to change our lives here and get better. Sometimes I needed this thing just to get around the house. And iDubbbz knows that, because I met him in one of those wheelchairs. I think what I've accomplished in the last few years has been nothing short of a miracle. Not only did I lose 200 pounds and keep it off, but I went from needing a wheelchair almost everywhere I went to being able to walk around for miles at a time. In fact, I'm stepping in the ring. How many people in Creator Clash, Misfits, or anything else has gone from a wheelchair to stepping in the ring?
Put that in the video, Ian.
There's a lot more to that video. It's over 4 minutes long. I highly recommend you go check it out. I will leave the link to that in the description. Anyways, Keemstar reacted to this by saying, holy shit! Boogie made a content cop on iDubbbz, laughing my fucking ass off. What timeline are we living in, Leafy is here? Shitpost Gateway quote tweets this Twitter video with the caption, thought this was iDubbbz and Aniza for a second. Alex posts this Twitter video with the caption, "Why does everyone hate iDubbbz now?" For everyone saying the clips are out of context, yes, they are. It doesn't change anything at all whether he was making a grander argument or not. He was still making fun of people's appearances, lol.
The fact that Harley trained with Sam Hyde for the year previous, that was before Sam was saying this about my wife.
I don't think so, Anissa. Bitch. Ho. Fucking Anissa. What an ugly piece of shit. But look how beat she is. Oh, nice jack-o'-lantern teeth.
That's like
I can't wait to see what she looks like when she's 32. Her teeth look like a pumpkin head. Like it's the Anissa Joma hole stretcher. I'm sending this to Anissa's OnlyFans. It goes directly into charity. Yeah. Everybody hates him and his wife's a slut.
So yeah, now that this guy is on the daily insulting my wife, I think it's pretty fair to, not want to associate with him in any way.
Straight off the bat, I want to let all the newcomers to my channel know that I'm perfectly fine with bullying. Make fun of someone because they're fat, autistic, or riddled with acne, I don't care. Make fun of better. Scarce is overweight, but more importantly than that, Scarce is boring. I'm not going to be talking about the kid today after showing a picture of his up snaggletooth to my millions of followers. A zoomed in picture of his up snaggletooth. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be talking about the kid today. I'm not going to talk about his up teeth. His teeth? The up thing in his mouth? I'm not going to talk about that. That would be a up thing for me to do. These things? Not gonna do it. Not gonna talk about those up nasty things. Revenue brothers, more like money-grubbing Jews. Money-grubbing Jews end their fucking career. End their career. I say lynch them. Lynch those brothers. If you run a toy review channel, it's entirely necessary for you to have the most annoying voice on the planet.
Try it, Barbie.
At least I can hide behind the fact that I'm only 20 years old.
No, you're an adult. You actually can't hide behind the fact that you're 20. I know what you mean, Leafy. I'm a young buck in my 20s just like you. And all these old cats. They can't do cool young like us. We can say retarded all the time because, hey, we're in our 20s!
The Scrub King then ratios Alexis's tweet by saying, iDubbbz has had one of the greatest character arcs in YouTube history, and a whole lot of people are really mad that he grew up and became a reasonable, decent man and husband. Buggy D. Bussy responds by saying, where's his apology and accountability for all the slurs he said? T-Rex9921 responds by saying, 2 minutes into the video, he starts talking about how a lot of the content he's made has been irresponsible and misguided, and he's hurt many people with the content he's made, despite any entertainment value given. He's put a lot of negativity and bad out, and doesn't want to again. Buggy responds by saying, he also says, if you learned and grew with my content, I won't take that away from you, implying there was anything positive about his videos in the first place. He was clearly throwing that in there to dodge astray from criticizing Froggy for the things he said that are almost adjacent to what Ian has said and done not too long ago. His own wife made it clear his morals haven't changed in the slightest. It's just his marketability online has. On the H3H3 podcast, I'll wait for that full video addressing his past to see if he takes full responsibility and is genuine. Betaniro responds by saying, you pay $8 a month to write this kind of shit? Generalismo Snake says, great character arc, becoming a pathetic weirdo with a mullet and bad tattoos and losing tens of thousands of subscribers. Okay? Goblin says, Joji did it better. Fuckhead Ultimate Piss Champ says, it's great he grew and changed, but the fact he takes every chance to throw his old content and fans under the bus, as well as obscure his current actions, like banning Froggy Fresh for associating with Sam Hyde, instead of just owning it properly, is what makes him detestable. Prolific Setback says, I feel so bad for him. They really just want him to be that 2017 edgelord in perpetuity, and feel shafted that someone they adored can pivot to become a better person, while they've spent the last few years making being insufferable their key personality trait. Kuzi Costana says, legitimately, if you were on this level of, iDubbbz has grown, cuckoldery, what are you even supporting? Oh, he was such an asshole for shitting on the paragons of Leafy, Keemstar, and Rice Gum. Now he's better for getting genuinely bothered by Sam Hyde. Kuzi Costana also makes a quote tweet that says, you wouldn't even be able to compliment him for his character growth if he didn't do that older content. You just wouldn't even know who he is. Like Ethan, he's just a mediocre bore now. Only interesting because it his trolls. Baller Party quote tweets Scrub King and says, after being edgy and anti-PC is not financially profitable anymore. I'm mature now, guys. Anyways, check out these fat guys trying to box, lol. Bepsi posts this meme titled, Average Sam Hyde fans versus iDubbbz. Cornelius Balls responds by saying, advanced meat riding. Zack Schneider's Axel in Harlem says, I don't give a fuck about the iDubbbz and Froggy Fresh shit, but it's quite amusing to see a bunch of dudes going, hey iDubbbz, you're kind of a bitch for not wanting to associate with a Nazi who's called your wife a slut on multiple occasions. Schizo Friend responds, who the fuck was looking forward to seeing Froggy Fresh box anyway? Axel responds, I don't even know who the fuck that is. Emiska says, guys, what do you mean iDubbbz grew as a person? I want him to scream N-word and be homophobic. Oh, how the frickin' mighty have fallen. Fucking cuck. I hate your wife too. Reddit assemble. What? The Ohio? Bingus posts this tweet that says, iDubbbz fans when he doesn't hate his wife and doesn't abuse his wife like Based and Chad pilled Steven Crowder.
It tore me apart, but I learned an important lesson. You can't count on anyone.
Nicholas Diorio tweets out this clip with the caption, it's so fucking funny they replaced Froggy Fresh with this guy, and he said this shit.
Here today. Thank you, ho. All you hoes mean so much to me. I couldn't do none of this shit without the line of hoes and niggas that love me. I love you, ho. I love you, niggas. I love you, Jews. Lock me up! Lock me up!
Wavy Web Surf responds, the advertisers loved this moment the most out of the entire event. Obviously sarcastically referencing the fact that Froggy got kicked for degrading event sponsors on his notice of termination that he received. I have an entire video on that I will leave in the end cards if you guys want to catch up on that. But moving on, Gabriel Davenport says, I want nothing to do with Sam Hyde. Fuck that guy. Then delete your video documentary of him, iDubbbz. Zulu says, iDubbbz comment section of his newest video is filled with hashtag FishTank Live and Jewers, saying their farewells to John. iDubbbz fans are confused because they don't watch good content anymore, showing a top comment on Ian's video that says, John was a real ass dude. Show won't be the same without him. Speaking of Fish Tank, iDubbbz's good friend Airsoft Fatty just made an appearance on Sam Hyde's new show. Joey Fan Club tweets this out by saying, breaking news! The big man himself, Airsoft Fatty, is in the building. iDubbbz is seething. Hashtag Fish Tank Live. The co-creator of Fish Tank, Jet Neptune, tweets out, iDubbbz gave Creator Clash Security a picture of my face at every entrance. Not a joke, by the way. Shitpost Rock says, finished iDubbbz video. It's him pretty much trying to deflect jabs from Sam Hyde. It's literally him admitting he got really triggered at Froggy interacting with Sam Hyde on Twitter. Pathetic behavior. Luna responds, he's been scrubbing comments non-stop, to which Zubu says, probably has Anisa's mom doing it. Comment Cop posts this image with the caption, iDubbbz is currently auto-deleting comments on his new video containing Sam Hyde, Candyman, Sam Hyde spelt with numbers, and possibly more. However, you can still bypass the filter using symbols, no spaces between banned words, etc. Wavy Web Surf responds by saying Puppet Master. Whitey quotes iDubbbz by saying, either all of it's okay or none of it is. Ellison says, remember when he made fun of Leafy for filtering Chin in his comments? And speaking of Leafy, he tweeted out that iDubbbz randomly blocked him and said, lol, okay. And then to end this all off, Nisa shows this comment from iDubbbz's new video that says, all of this was caused by a My Little Pony dating sim. And yes, I do finally know what that's referencing, as a couple nights ago, I actually watched the iDubbbz Sam Hyde documentary for the first time. I knew about it being a bit and iDubbbz getting tricked, but I never really went and watched the video. So I now know about the My Little Pony dating sim lore, and I do finally know that this picture that FPS Diesel tweeted out that I showed in my last video is not Brandon Buckingham, but a younger version of Sam Hyde. A lot of people pointed that out in the comment section of my last video that I got that wrong. I apologize. I think I just might be fucking retarded because they don't look that much alike on second glance. So a couple days ago, iDubbbz uploaded a video announcing that Creator Clash made a profit of negative $250,000.
We lost $250,000 on the event.
Which means no money went to charity, despite the event being heavily promoted as a charity boxing event, to the point where Ian was mocking other influencer boxing events for not being charity events. A couple days before the event began, I made a video talking about this deceptive marketing from iDubbbz and Creator Clash, explaining how with Creator Clash 1, majority of the proceeds from the event ended up going to staffs, fighters, and other expenses, rather than directly to charity itself, partly due to how expensive it is for the event to be run, but also also because he decided to give all of his fighters a bit of a payday for participating in the event. And I was only able to figure this out due to connecting the dots with a bunch of obscure out-of-the-way information provided by people involved in the event, which I was only looking into because I happened to be documenting all of the drama surrounding this event on Twitter for my YouTube channel. So I ended up being the first and one of the only people on YouTube to talk about this. And most of what I found and hypothesized about ended up getting confirmed through iDubbbz' new video talking about the harsh reality of Creator Clash 2.
Once our expenses are paid off for the event, like all the minimums of like, you know, broadcasting, the hotel, travel, all that sort of stuff, once that's all paid off, then we can start paying the charities.
And an adamant defender of iDubbbz and Aniza, as well as the announcer for Creator Clash, Akinola, responded to Keemstar, confirming what Froggy Fresh claimed by sharing the detail that all net profits are going to charity, meaning that only once the revenue from Creator Clash passes the threshold to break even for whatever they paid the creators to fight, as well as any other operational costs, only then any extra money will go to the charities, which is a far different outcome than what was promoted by both iDubbbz and all of the creators involved in the event, which is cool. I think they should be paid for their work, but then they would be raising money for charity in addition to getting paid to fight, rather than what they are implying, which is that they are fighting only for charity.
This is so cool and exciting, and it's all for charity, of course. I'm such a big proponent of doing things for charity. It's a big thing that drives my entire online experience.
A fighter got fired for breaching his contract. Would I have fired him? Irrelevant. Would you have kept him? Irrelevant. Are they allowed to fire him? Yes, absolutely. So what happened? You're going to turn on charities? Yeah, I'm boxing for charity. It's a good cause and it's going down no matter what.
Oh, you're going to pirate a charity event? Then I'll see you in hell. It's not ego. It's not about that. It's about the charity that I'm fundraising for, so.
And all this raw entertainment had one purpose in mind.
It's one of the few things that I've done that's not driven by money.
I love that.
This is for a good cause.
We're here because of some great charities that I know you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. None of this was to put money in anyone's pocket. It was to put on an entertaining thing to raise money for charity.
The Creator Clash also donated a lot of their proceeds to charity. I'm not exactly sure how much.
Over $1 million for charity, so.
Badass.
Yes.
All the profits are going to charity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there like a payday in the future you guys are working towards?
No, not really.
And now we got to do it to help other people?
yeah. You can't do your get the bag fight. Sorry, Phil.
You know, because each fighter gets a $20,000 stipend. And for anyone like confused about this or thought everyone was fighting for free, they pretty much are fighting for free. I think any of the fighters can attest to the fact that fighting in Creator Clash is not a financial boon in any way. I think other boxing promotions would like disagree that, you know, fighters should be getting paid this amount, but, you know, to each their own. What do I know? We lost $250,000 on this event. Another thing I want to address is there are some people floating rumors around that we're pocketing money from Creator Clash, and that's extremely hurtful because it has been nothing but the opposite. I understand that some people out there don't like me. I'm okay with that, but the thing I'm not okay with is just lying to people and making up shit for the sake of like clicks. I mean, this is hard enough as it is. Like, I don't want to make this video telling people that we made half as much or we sold half as many pay-per-views as we did last year. And what I absolutely don't need is people spreading rumors about us pocketing money.
So iDubbbz in his video says that people are spreading rumors that Ian and Aniza have been pocketing the money for Creator Clash. Now, I've seen pretty much all of the discourse, specifically on Twitter and YouTube, about Creator Clash and all of the drama as I've been making videos documenting all of it, and not once did I hear someone claim that iDubbbz or Aniza were pocketing money for Creator Clash. In fact, as I said earlier, the only person who really talked about the finances of Creator Clash, outside of just mentioning that they're giving money to charity, was me and my video, which is a video that Ian and Aniza have watched, as 10 days after it was uploaded and 4 days after the event happened, they went on H3's podcast to talk about the event, and in that podcast, they said this.
I don't know. According to a couple of YouTubers, we're pocketing $1.7 million. So.
Ooh. What's the calculus on that one?
Well, they thought the production cost of the event was $100,000, so.
Just in total.
In total, the whole thing.
So the numbers they reference in that clip directly correlate to my video, as I claim that $1.7 million of the speculated $3 million they made off Creator Clash was spent on the event itself and not going to charities, as they announced that 1.3 went to the charities, so any other money made obviously went to funding the event, as they said all profits went to charity. How I came to the conclusion of $3 million was taking the average ticket price for Creator Clash 1, which is $30, and timesing it by the speculated amount of pay-per-view sales that Creator Clash 1 ended up getting, which was 100k, which would add up to $3 million. This 100k number was confirmed by iDubbbz in his latest video.
But we did half as well as we did the first year. 50,000 compared to 100,000 the first year.
So I don't know how in that clip they can claim that I said they were pocketing money when I made it very clear that that 1.7 million was for event expenses, which includes the money they would be paying to the fighters, which the whole point of the video was to prove that the fighters themselves are making money off of Creator Clash, which was pretty much directly confirmed by one of the fighters, John Morrison, after he won his match.
To everybody who came out here tonight, this is for a great cause. Proceeds are going to charity. That's why I did this. I also did this for money. I ain't gonna lie, just keeping it real.
So what's the allure of doing a boxing match like this?
Money. You know, the competitive spirit runs deep in me, and yeah, money.
As for the 100k that they mentioned, that was me trying to speculate on the event costs outside of paying the fighters for Creator Clash 1, which admittedly, despite bumping up the speculation to 200k to make up for my lack of knowledge on how much it costs to run an event like this, I still ended up lowballing it a lot, saying it might have cost 200k minus the fighters, which would leave 1.5 million for them, and dividing it by all the fighters would end up giving them a payday of around 60k. In iDubbbz's latest video, he clarified that the fighters got 20k for Creator Clash 2.
You know, because each fighter gets a $20,000 stipend.
So assuming the payday for Creator Clash 1 was the same, it would mean that only $360,000 were used to pay the fighters, which would mean the event itself actually cost $1.34 million to put on, which is obviously a lot more than 200k. So admittedly, my math was very off, but the point I was trying to make is that the fighters weren't fighting for free, which was not made apparent in the marketing of the event, and was actively being used as a way to attack critics of Froggy Fresh being kicked from Creator Clash. As one of the fighters, Alana Pierce, literally said that he was denying money to charity because he kept the 15k that he was given for training purposes for the fight, which clearly isn't the case, as that 15k was always intended for him for fighting in the event, just like how every other fighter in Creator Clash 2 got paid 20k. So I said all of this on Twitter when the podcast happened, and Harley, who was the co-main card of the event, responded by saying that it was well communicated that the fighters were getting paid, which I personally disagree with. And he also says, I'm sure the benefactories of the event weren't concerned if the DJ, the ref, and the people involved got paid for their time and effort considering the amount raised, which is true for Creator Clash 1, but for Creator Clash 2, they might care a little more, considering Ian couldn't even recoup the costs of the event in order to give any of the potential profit to the charities. Based on all of the numbers given to us through Ian's video, the event sold 50k pay-per-views, which would mean it made about $1.5 million. Since they are 250k in debt, it costs 1.75 million to host the event, with 480k of that amount going to the fighters, since they all got paid 20k and there were 24 fighters. This would mean the event itself cost about $1.2 million to put on, which is less than Creator Clash 1 that cost 1.34 million to produce based on the calculation of the fighters getting paid 20k. So maybe they were getting paid more for Creator Clash 1, but Ian ended up reducing the payday for Creator Clash 2 based on them not being able to make a profit, because naturally Creator Clash 2 would cost more to produce, considering the arena is much bigger, which would mean they would need to hire more security and staff, as well as any other increase in costs that the new arena would necessitate. So I think the fighters in Creator Clash 1 got paid more than 20k, but obviously that's just speculation. Regardless, Creator Clash 2 did cost 1.22 million if you exclude the money used to pay the fighters, and even while keeping the big arena, there's so many ways that number could have been reduced. Like, for example, they had a gala afterwards that was paid for with the ticket sales from Creator Clash 2. That didn't need to happen. The first Creator Clash didn't have a gala, and I did hear iDubbbz reasoning in the video, and it was nice that they had a gala. But if you're gonna promise money to these charities with the sales from your event, but you prioritize a gala over axing it in order to make more money to go to profit for charity is kind of scummy. Now, obviously they didn't know that they weren't gonna break even, but even with that knowledge in mind, any additional expenses you put towards the event is taking away money that could have went to the charity, something that Alana ironically accused Froggy Fresh of doing, when in reality by Ian adding these unnecessary expenses to the event, he was actually the one who took potential money away from charity. Now luckily, iDubbbz is taking responsibility by uploading this video that he really didn't have to, especially with information that wasn't even public before his video, so no one even had to pressure him into making this response. He just did because he knew he fucked up. And he is trying to take matters into his own hands when he did a 24-hour charity stream and helped raise over $160,000 for the charities that were going to receive any profit made from Creator Clash 2. So despite my criticisms of the event and me kind of getting slandered as someone who falsely claimed they were pocketing money when I never did that, I do appreciate Ian's effort to make things right. But some people on Twitter like Keemstar were not as impressed. A couple days ago, iDubbbz uploaded a video talking about how their charity influencer boxing event Creator Clash 2 put them $250K in the hole, meaning that they didn't make a profit and couldn't donate any money to the charities. Gun News tweeted about this in a very unfavorable way, and then Kinocopter responds asking Froggy Fresh for his thoughts. Froggy Fresh, of course, being one of the fighters that was going to be on Creator Clash 2, but got kicked for associating with an internet enemy of iDubbbz, Sam Hyde. He responds to Kinocopter by saying, "I don't want to get sued, but since people are at me, I can only confirm Kids Cancer Foundation of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, received $50K along with Nicholas Children's Hospital before the event happened. They were told that it was only the beginning, but weren't given more or given answers until the founder of Children's Cancer Foundation reached out to them. I'd also like to add that the founder of Kids Cancer Foundation got a call back in response to her email from someone on the Creator Clash team at 2:23 p.m. EST, confirming she would not be receiving any more money, and the event lost money, a few hours before this video dropped." Froggy Fresh then uploads this Twitter video titled, "Me vs iDubbbz Cage Match."
Opened up Twitter, I heard the news. My boy Ian Drumhigh ain't paying his dues. He got costs out the wazoo, bills out the ass. When the charity called, say he ain't got the cash, we could pay all them charities back in one day. If you fight my dumb midget ass in a cage, cause now nobody care about Creator Clash 3. Bitch, them parties cost money, but this ass whipping's free. How about me? Verse iDubbbz got the whole world eyes on us. How about me? Verse iDubbbz got the whole world eyes on us, on us, on us. Where were you the day that Ian got rocked? It was 187 on a content cop, cause I made some joke, then your boys got blocked, then the staff got paid, but the kids did not. I said, where were you the day that Ian got rocked? It was 187 on a content cop, cause I made some jokes, then your boy got blocked, then the staff got paid, but the kids did not. Then the staff got paid, but the kids did not. Ian, I'm being serious. I will whip your ass till you're delirious. I can see that you're so furious, but that mullet got me feeling so bi-curious. Call me Ian.
Mr. Mooch9 responds to Froggy with this meme image saying, "Get in there and make it about you." Froggy responds by saying, "I'm not gonna lie, that meme is funny as fuck. But really, I would just like to see the charities I submitted get paid. I didn't know the lady personally who runs the local Kids Cancer Foundation, but after my wife spoke with her, I realized how fucked up all this was, because my name is attached to this charity event that doesn't follow through with promises. Thank God I got kicked out so I don't get lumped in with all these people." Another fighter from Creator Clash, Harley Morenstein, responds responds to Froggy Fresh by saying, 2 of the Creator Clash fighters anonymously donated a total of 100k directly to the charity you submitted. When Gideon offered iDubbbz 100k to have you back, those 2 anonymous donators donated 100k to your charity, and then Ian declined Gideon's offer. Froggy Fresh then responds by saying, this says iDubbbz and Creator Clash. Who are the 2 anonymous donors? He then circles the part from the Creator Clash statement about him getting kicked off of the event, where it says, Creator Clash and iDubbbz have already donated 50k each for Froggy Fresh's supported charities. He then continues by saying, Michelle said the donation came from Real Good Touring. By the way, Real Good Touring is a live event company founded by Egoraptor, another fighter in Creator Clash, and that's the company that was used to make Creator Clash a reality. Anyways, Froggy continues by saying, don't know how these finances work, or why the statement said iDubbbz and Creator Clash, and you were saying 2 anonymous donors. Harley quote tweets him and says, I texted you who the donators were to your charity, but either way, with all the negativity around the event, there has been some good that came from it. Your efforts got your charity 100k, and really that's what most of this event was about. Technically, it doesn't matter who donated. Greg responds to Froggy's cage match song by saying, Jesus, I'd pay to watch that. Hopefully it'll go to charity this time. Froggy quote tweets him and says, yeah, a lot of people would, but the problem is iDubbbz doesn't really give a shit about charity. You think I want to spend months of training fighting? I don't even enjoy it. I don't even want to fight iDubbbz, but I'd do it to pay the kids' cancer charities that were promised more money, but iDubbbz won't. Too wowed, iDubbbz. Too wowed. ADR Wow responds to Froggy by saying, hi, using charity to manipulate people into doing something they don't want? Froggy responds, I'm helping him come up with a way to raise money for the charities he left out to dry. Sibley quote tweets Froggy and says, Creator Clash 2, Froggy drama, post Creator Clash 2, Froggy fell from relevancy, iDubbbz drama, suddenly relevant again. Froggy quote tweets him and says, we do this faux charity, not for money. It's for the kids. Pay Amaranth, pay Markiplier, pay Jacksepticeye, do Big Hassan Party. So saw we, no money left for the kids. Oh well. Will Haynes, who's the fighter who replaced Froggy Fresh for Creator Clash 2, quote tweets him and says, what about me, bro? I'm the one that stole your spot, and proceeded to say even more bad words than you did, dumbass Nazi fuck. Froggy then responds to Will with this video.
Will Haynes, the midget slayer, you better talk to God, you better send up a prayer, cause you beat up a midget, now you gon' talk smack, boy, you best be careful, some midgets fight back, and I know you're mad, cause nobody cares, yeah, you tried to sell tickets, but no one was there, so I do everything that I can for these kids, but boy, you can't sell tickets, so get off my dick, Will Haynes.
Will quote tweets Froggy's response with this video in the caption, and you better keep my girl Anisa's name out of your mouth. She don't like shrimp dick dudes, you have 0 chance. Hashtag bigot slayer.
You should focus on yourself, boy. Yeah, she don't need nobody else for it. Yeah, you can't get on her level even if you had $1 million, you could do it by yourself, boy. Yeah, you should focus on your bench press. Maybe then you can pull in them big checks. Yeah, cause the way you is now, she know it ain't working out and she really ain't too impressed.
Froggy then ratios Will with this video response.
Cause Anissa's not your girl, she's our girl, she's everyone's girl. I know you live in a small world, but see out here, she makes everyone her. And I don't really know much about her. Yeah, I just know about the site where I found her. And then I learned Anissa was our girl.
INF Boxing reports on Will's call out to fight Froggy Fresh, and Will quote tweets them and says, if you believe in persecuting people based on their religion, race, or sexuality, expect to catch these hands, bitch. Froggy responds, I'll cage match you MMA, if you can get enough people interested. He then responds to somebody else saying, I told him I'd fight him MMA in a cage if anyone cares. We'll see. Will responds by saying, if you publicly deny Nazism and say you love the Jewish community, I won't beat you up, as simple as that. Froggy quote tweets him and says, Nah, I don't gotta prove shit to you. You done enough already, said some out-of-pocket shit about me, and said you gonna fuck me up. It's too late to go back, pussy. Tell Phil DeFranco to get a hold of Jake and Logan to get some MMA cage match shit going. Let's glove up, baby. I'm ready to roll. Actually, Ian's got someone's number over there, cause he ducked a fight with 59-year-old Greg Paul for Creator Clash 2. So tell Ian to hit up Greg, and tell Logan and Jake let's make this Octagon Rumble happen. Sam Hyde quote tweets Will and says, "This doesn't count for me, right? I'm 40 years old and overweight, so you'd have to promise to go easy. Come to Providence and spar at my gym though. I swear to God I'm out of shape. Couldn't run 3 miles if I wanted to. Have back pain, and fucked up shoulder, and hamstring. We'll bring 10k cash for you win or lose if you hang for 3 rounds. Headgear, and 16 OZ. Froggy quote tweets Sam and says, "Do it, William. You were too scared to even say his name." Sam Hyde then quote tweets Will again and says, "Are you awake yet, boy? I offered you 10k to spar. Yo, what's good, Black? You pick up your phone yet?" Froggy then says, "William, you are gonna love his gym. There's a lot of real professionals there who you learn from." Sam then responds, "Lol," and William has not tweeted at all since Froggy and Sam had made these tweets at him. So moving on, Brandon Buckingham posts a picture of him talking to Hassan and says, "I spoke to this guy who told me he would rather steal hundreds of thousands of dollars from child cancer research in exchange for not being in the same room as someone he suspected of being a Nazi. All his friends agreed." Froggy quote tweets him and says, "Seems about right." He then says, "When Anisa left Acadian for iDubbbz at TwitchCon, she knew her future was bright, but never knew she would go on to be one of the greatest boxing promoters of all time." Froggy then shares this email he got with the caption, "These mature, tolerant Creator Clash fans are wild." The email reads out, "Hello, Froggy Fresh. Really sad to see you turned out to be such a fucking loser supporting Nazis and hating on sex workers because you can't think for yourself. Don't worry though, it's probably just because you lack the ability to. Anyways, keep supporting Nazis, I guess. If I ever saw you in public, I would punch you in the face and kick you in the balls. Hope you get beat to shit, curb stomped, and left bleeding out to die, you absolute waste of oxygen. I wish you nothing but misfortune and hope a large automobile crashes into your house and obliterates everything that is dear to you." Froggy then quote tweets this with the video in the caption, "Ah yes, the old punch in the face, kick in the balls submission." He then follows up his tweet with this Twitter video in the caption, "This Froggy Fresh guy needs to die."
Alright, let's see what's going on Twitter. Okay, what's this? Hold on 1 second. Who's this Froggy Fresh guy? What's he talking about? Making an OnlyFans joke. What is this? Hold on, babe, get the laptop. I'm gonna type this guy an email. I don't care if it's 1:59 a.m. This guy made an OnlyFans joke. He needs to fucking die. Get me the laptop. I'm typing this up.
Froggy Fresh then says, "This post isn't made to try to posture myself as a charity crusader, but this charity is a great one. I've gotten to know them, what they do. No weird stuff going on. Just genuinely good people. A lot better than I could ever hope to be. I legitimately can't think of anything more heartbreaking than having a child with cancer, and I've personally seen what a family faced with this tragedy goes through. If you are interested in donating to a good cause, I'm putting the link in the comments. I'll be meeting with them next week to see if there's anything more I can do for them. I, of course, will also link to the Kids Cancer Foundation in the description below, so if you want to donate to them and help out kids with cancer, I highly recommend doing so." But Froggy isn't the only one helping out charities, as iDubbbz recently did a 24-hour charity stream with all of the donations he got going directly to the charities that Creator Clash 2 intended to donate to if they made a profit. And through that stream, over $162,000 was donated. Froggy Fresh responds by posting this Twitter video with the caption, "Why only Critical Role get all 24-hour charity stream money? So many different charity on list."
I opened the charity stream and I seen something bad. All the money is going to Critical Role, and that raised a red flag, cause the lady Marisha Ray who got fight of the night, she's in charge of the organization. It's a little fishy, right? Now everything made from the stream, all the money they make, guess who it's all gonna go to? Guess who's getting paid? It's the same girl who got her face messed up bad and then got fight of the night. Ian, what the fuck was that? I smell bullshit, bullshit. Can you disprove it? Prove it. How she got fight of the night after she's losing. Yeah, I smell bullshit, bullshit. Can you disprove air, I smell bullshit.
He then responds directly to iDubbbz by saying, "Dude, you didn't include the Kids Cancer Foundation in the donation options link? When Justin Tracy literally told Michelle that they would be included in future charity fundraising, but your link had no option to donate to them for the entire stream. Why tell them they'll be part of it then disclude them? What's the point?" Michelle from Kids Cancer Foundation just confirmed she'd received $650 in donations in the last 24 hours. Why not include her charity in your Tilify link right now, along with Marcia's, whose charity is currently sitting at $97,229? iDubbbz quote tweets him and says, "They aren't registered on Tilify. Others are telling you this, but you're not listening. I included it below the stream along with the others. Go away." Froggy quote tweets iDubbbz and says, "So you couldn't give Michelle from Kids Cancer Foundation a call and say, 'Hey, Michelle, register for a Tiltify account. Since we are doing a charity live stream to raise more money for the charities we can't pay, why am I having to reach out to her to tell her to make a Tilify account? Justin just told her Monday she would be a part of all future fundraising events. Why didn't anyone tell her to make a Tilify account for the link? She only got $650 donated to the Kids Cancer Foundation over the course of the entire live stream. Marzia Ray is sitting around $97K for the charity her husband runs. But then again, Marzia's Tilify link isn't missing. Maybe including Kids Cancer Foundation in the Tilify links could help them more." iDubbbz responds to Froggy by saying, "You continue to move the goalposts. I've said this a few times already. We are donating ad revenue from the YouTube broadcast to charities who haven't received as much. Both charities you've submitted received 50K. Other charities need more attention." Froggy quote tweets Ian again and says, "I already knew I was gonna get harassed by your fan base as soon as I brought this up last night. I'm trying to get this woman's Kids Cancer Foundation what she was promised by a charity event that I got her involved with. When Creator Clash 2 gave her 50K after my removal, they told her it was only the beginning. Then they ghosted her until she called them to see what was going on. Then Ian does a charity stream, and then no one even calls her to tell her to make a Tilify link? While Marzia's husband's charity becomes the main focus of the live stream and brings in around 150 times what the Children's Cancer Foundation brings in over the course of the stream. If you gave my charity organization 50K and then said this is only the beginning, I would be thinking I would be getting a lot more than $650 down the line. Geesh. So I expect Creator Clash 2 is going to release receipts showing how much each charity organization received at the end of all of the fundraising campaigns. I also find it ironic that Creator Clash 2 never addressed anything at all until the day the Kids Cancer Foundation emailed Justin Tracy." Sibley responds, "Harassed as in the same way you retweeted my quote retweet and had your fanboys on my page because I hurt your feelings? People calling me an F-slur, etc. You are such a morally corrupt loser, dude. Like I told you to make music, and your career will actually flourish." Froggy responds, "You came at me first calling me irrelevant, when I've been spending the entire 4th of July weekend trying to help this sweet woman, who is a much better person than I am, at the Kids Cancer Foundation secure the charity money she should have been receiving if the Jamas hadn't wasted all the money on luxuries." Jayla Ray responds to Froggy by saying, "Get this man a bucket and a stool, cause he be milking this shit, laughing my ass off." Froggy quote tweets her and says, "Imagine fighting in a charity boxing event that raises no money for charity, and then sending your Twitter simps after the only person who got their charity paid by getting removed. Did you have fun at the after party, girl? To process your trauma?" And just like the last Creator Clash fighter Will, she never ends up responding to this. But iDubbbz wife Aniza responds on Twitter by saying, "Froggy is crying about his charity getting no love, when both of his charities got 50K each from us before the event even happened. We also will be donating upload revenue from the full broadcast and stream highlights to charities that weren't registered with Tiltify. We have to use Tiltify as it's the only credible way to take donations and make sure it gets where it needs to go. It was a last minute decision to live stream, and it was the 4th of July and everyone was out of office. This is the solution we came up with. We wanted to strike while Creator Clash was a hot topic. We chose CRF because they give to multiple charities and tackle multiple issues. All charities are being thought about always. We aren't intentionally leaving anyone out." She then says, "Creating drama centered around charity is insane. We learned a lot from our mistakes, including realizing we need to make it a free live event with guaranteed funding. We will be bringing the same charities back on next year with a fixed budget and a preset amount of money plus companies matching donations. It can be done. I don't want things to be over just because of our mistakes. It's a good show. I think people watching the business grow and change is good. Thanks for all the support. It's about getting back up sometimes. We have to channel our inner Ryan McGee, our inner Marzia, and keep going." iDubbbz quote tweets her and says, beautiful. KP responds to Anisa by saying, since it's for charity, shouldn't the fighters participate for free? Just suggesting because that's how benefit concerts work. Anisa quote tweets them and says, it's not for free if we don't give them a stipend. It's at a 20k loss for training costs, and even more when you count time off from content creation to train properly, travel, equipment, etc. They would be fighting and putting their lives at risk for a financial loss. They still do it at a loss overall. For most, the 20k doesn't cover everything. Training from scratch to be safe in a competitive boxing environment is not cheap. I have direct contact with every coach we work with. I know what every fighter's expenses look like. I have regular check-ins to make sure everyone is taking it seriously. No one's making a bag off of Creator Clash.
To everybody who came out here tonight, this is for a great cause. Proceeds are going to charity. That's why I did this. I also did this for money. I ain't gonna lie, just keeping it real.
So what's the allure of doing a boxing match like this?
Money. You know, the competitive spirit runs deep in me, and yeah, money.
Anyways, I'm happy to be able to explain why we have made the choices we did, and explain the average cost of training. I understand why fighters getting money can be jarring, but I hope this clears it up for the people who are genuinely curious. We want people to be safe. We are demanding they work with the coach we have previously vetted, and put in a certain amount of time to ensure everyone can be as ready as possible to protect themselves fight night. If we are demanding that type of expense, it shouldn't be put on the fighter, it's on us. She then talks a little bit about Creator Clash 3 when she says, we will now begin hunting for a headliner. I already have 4 female fights in mind, and we'll be filling in the blanks for 4 male fights. Lots of YouTubers are excited to fight, especially now. I'm very excited. And speaking of exciting matches, iDubbbz actually suggested that he could fight Leafy when he tweeted out, Creator Clash 3, make up iDubbbz versus transphobic Leafy. Leafy then responds by saying, I accept iDubbbz boxing challenge, and will be training with Sam Hyde. Froggy Fresh responds, watch out for joke clauses. Get him, sir. You and Sam will make a great team. You are in good hands. Anisa responds to Leafy by saying, we can have a contract for you, but there will be drug testing done by the commission, and a severe no-show penalty, if you are serious. Leafy responds, I would not pass the drug test, and would need at least 5 to 12 years to train as advised by my trainer. But I am serious about this, and I think we should meet IRL to discuss the details. Have you ever been to Park City? Anisa then responds, cringe, to which Leafy responds, get off her computer, iDubbbz, Nashville was great, showing a 2016 tweet from Uber Danger who says, real question, who wants to fuck Leafy is here tonight? Nashville, genuine offer. Anisa responds, I thought you would never ask. Anisa of today then replies to Leafy by saying, does no one understand what a sarcastic nose face is? Chili's21 then responds with a bunch of other tweets from 2017 and 2016 of Anisa thirsting over iDubbbz, and Anisa responds by saying, I'm very clearly indicating these were jokes. It was like 2014 and I was farming joke tweets. Big shocker. The nose face is meant to indicate a joke. This is so bad faith, it hurts. And then Robin responds with another conversation Leafy and Anisa had in 2016, where Leafy says, God damn, I want to make a video on a certain topic so fucking bad, but I really don't want to get involved with the YouTube shitstorm. Anisa responds, I will shield you from the storm with my breasts, son. Leafy responds, laughing my ass off, and then Anisa says, whoa, wait, you replied with an acronym representing you laughing? Are we dating now? Happy Punch tweets out about Anisa suggesting a contract for Leafy to fight iDubbbz, and Leafy responds by saying, thank you for the offer, but we have just agreed to go through negotiations in person after dinner and seeing movie. Keemstar quote tweets Happy Punch and says, as Leafy's boxing representative, he will not be signing any contracts from Creator Clash based on their terms only. There has to be negotiations first. Both sides need to get what they want in order to make an actual agreement. The arrogance that this woman has displayed here is laughable. Our terms. Sam Hyde has to be unbanned from Creator Clash, since he will be Leafy's coach. 2. We want 3 3-minute rounds. 3. You can do drug testing, but marijuana usage must be allowed. 4. Instead of raising money for charity, the charities must raise money for Leafy. Since that's what you guys did in Creator Clash 2, keep that energy. Leafy responds by saying, jokes aside, I am serious about this, and these terms seem much more fair. We'll still be going through negotiations with her in person, however. Going back in time a little bit, Keemstar reacts to iDubbbz video announcing that Creator Clash 2 made no profit to donate to charities by saying, iDubbbz and his wife have been talking shit publicly and privately about every other influencer boxing promotion for years. years. They've been acting like they are morally better people because they are fighting for charity. Yesterday we found out officially that their fighters were not fighting for charity. The fighters were paid. We also found out that Creator Clash 2 lost 250k due to poor pay-per-view sales, and no money went to charity at all this year. Personally, I am so sick of influencers flexing the charity card on others, when the money raised is not even from the influencer, it's from your fans. The fans never get credit. The influencer gets credit for being a good person. So I say, let's give iDubbbz and his wife the credits they so desperately want. Hold these two responsible for donating $0 to charity this year, when they promised to do the exact opposite. Keemstar then makes a Twitter video with the caption, "Creator Clash misleads everyone with this con."
Alright, so you know how Elon Musk is supposed to fight Mark Zuckerberg in the Coliseum, like MMA style? Well, Logan Paul just put out this video saying, I will fight for free. I will fight for charity on the undercard. And Logan Paul means it. Logan Paul will spend his own money in training, all right, to then go perform on an undercard, and he will get paid $0. That's what fighting for charity actually means. Creator Clash has been lying to us non-stop. Creator Clash, the organization, and the fighters have been saying, we're fighting for charity. That's literally their messaging. Harley from Epic Mealtime says this all the time. Well, we're fighting for charity. We're fighting for charity. But they're getting paid. Dude, now you have iDubbbz up there and his YouTube channel saying, well, the $20,000 that we pay the fighters is like barely enough to even cover their training. But they're supposed to be doing it for charity. So who cares if it covers it or not? It's not supposed to cover anything. That YouTuber is supposed to be fighting for charity, all right? They're supposed to donate something to charity, their time and effort and their money for training, all that. But they're not. You're fucking paying them. So
Keemstar follows up his Twitter video by saying, just using Logan Paul as an example, fighting for charity means you get no money whatsoever. Keemstar then quote tweets iDubbbz giving updates on his 24-hour charity stream and says, I need other people to donate money so I look like a good guy. It's the non-stop moral grandstanding from iDubbbz and his wife that's pissing me off. MrBeast has raised way more money for charity and done way more good in this world, and he never comes across like he's acting like he's better than everyone else because of it. iDubbbz and his wife fully 1000% believe they are better than you and I because their fans donated to a charity that they suggested. This is clown behavior. Harley then ratios Keemstar when he says, pretty wild that Keem is legit molding that iDubbbz has donated a total of almost $1.5 million between Creator Clash 1 and Creator Clash 2 to charity. I don't get why Keemstar can't just be like, yay, that's a W for charity. Everyone wins. I would love him to unpack that for us one day. Connor Eats Pants responds by saying, reminder, Keemstar was scared to race me in the 100-meter dash for charity, blocked me on Twitter, and ghosted Ian and Aniza when they'd ask him. Keemstar responds to Harley by saying, moving the goalpost I see, to which Harley responds, I don't know what you mean. I assume you tweet vaguely on purpose so I can't respond appropriately, but yeah, you gotta admit, him eating the costs of his event, being transparent about the failure, and putting in the work to get money to charity is all admirable. Angry Areolas responds, it'd be more admirable to not screw up in the first place. Harley responds, yup, that's Creator Clash 1. That was a major success. Angry responds, right, but are you calling the way he handled Creator Clash 2 admirable? Harley responds, transparent about the event's failures, honest about the drama, puts in work and goes out of pocket to make donations to charity possible, boxed in the event in a pro match. Yeah, I think so. My Little Pay Pig responds to Harley by saying, because he's only doing it to look good. Bro could have easily donated his own money to charity and have been fine financially. Harley responds, who cares if you think that's why he's doing it? You were making that up. Anyways, the charities that received the money don't care what his motives were. He raised a lot of money for a good cause, and that's the black and white of it. Jake responds, Harley's slobbing on that wiener. Harley replies, I don't get why you guys constantly talk about this guy's dick and his sex life. You were fucking weird as hell, buddy. Turner says, Creator Clash made 1.3 million, but I think you were confusing loss and profit when it comes to Creator Clash 2. Harley responds, Creator Clash 1 donated 1.3, Creator Clash 2 donated donated 100k. Now iDubbbz is donating another 150k on behalf of Creator Clash 2. 1.3 million plus 200k equals 1.5 total between both events. One was over budget, the other one was a major success. Either way, it's a good thing for charity that these events exist. Turtle responds, I guess. I don't count the current live stream as part of Creator Clash 2, and more like damage control. I don't know about that first 100k. I agree the existence of the event is a positive thing. I just hope it can be managed better in the future, because obviously this is not the desired outcome. Mr. Freeman responds, Harley is lying. Creator Clash 2 didn't create any money for charity. Ian did a fundraiser now to save face, but none of it was raised from Creator Clash 2. Harley responds, he understands what I said. I understood what he said. There is no lie. He said he doesn't count today's live stream as Creator Clash 2. That's fine. Instead, we can just consider it as Ian just doing good on his own, single-handedly, for the event underperforming. Video responds to Harley by saying, because it was supposed to be covered by Creator Clash 2, since the tickets were sold as all proceeds were going to charity from ticket sales. Seems like he's doing this so he doesn't get sued for not donating initially with Creator Clash 2. Harley responds, nope, that's wrong and not how it works. Proceeds are the money bought in after costs. For example, the venue costs money, so does lighting and sound, and 100 other costs that are legit paid before a ticket is even sold. He didn't lie or mislead, he just undersold. Davidia responds, then what was the purpose of Creator Clash 2 if in the end he has to do this live stream just to donate? Realistically, Harley, looking at this, does this sound logical? Harley responds, it's logical if you read my whole tweet. It was just undersold, that's all. The event expected 100k pay-per-view buys like the previous year. It did 50k and cost more. Simple math, that's all. The fact that he's doing the charity stream is because he wants to get money to charity. Azzy McGee responds to Harley by saying, I don't know, supposedly some of you guys are getting paid and not even training much. Harley responds, nobody got paid behind the training cost, which was up front from the beginning. A lot of fighters spent that almost right away on training, equipment, nutrition, coaches, and ring walk. Nicholas Diorio responds to Harley by saying, Creator Clash 2 actually sent a grand total of $0 to charity directly. Hope this helps. Lamps responds, dog, do you even donate to charity? Lol. Harley responds, actually, in this case, I can confirm, haha, he does. He made a nice donation before Creator Clash. He then quote tweets Nicholas and says, you were told a couple of hours ago, right here on Twitter, that he raised at least 100k today. Then you retweeted that tweet, so you are aware he raised 100k hours ago, plus the initial 100k they donated before the Creator Clash 2. That's 200k plus. Hit me up if you were confused about anything else. Nicholas then ratios Harley when he says, how does Ian doing a charity stream yesterday or sending a personal donation beforehand mean Creator Clash 2 made 100 to 200k? This guy is such a dick riding clown. You guys acted like pricks and hid behind the it's for charity excuse for ages, lol. Turns out it wasn't for charity, laughing my ass off. People are gonna make fun of you, dog, and it's totally justified. Harley responds, the donations were on behalf of Creator Clash 2, but I'll use your narrative. Either way, you recognize that Ian, either through his actions with Creator Clash 2 or on his own, he made good on the fact that his event underperformed. He brought 250k to charity. You talked yourself into a corner, lol. Nick responds, my statement isn't a narrative, it's reality. I think Ian doing this 24-hour charity stream is great. I have made that clear. It's not revenue that came from Creator Clash 2, and I doubt the 13 charities that would be receiving any money from this charity stream feel the same way you do. Harley never ended up responding to this, but he does continue reacting to a couple other people, one of which being Renaissance Crusade, who asked Harley why he feels the need to defend iDubbbz in every post. He responds by saying, I don't think he should face such an uphill battle to do right. Him not wanting to say racist words and raise money for charity is good, so when thousands of goofballs are discouraging him for it, I want to make it clear that there are people out there that respect him for it. Dick Masterson responds, but he didn't raise money for charity. Harley responds, Creator Clash 2 didn't. He did though. He's donating 250k on behalf of Creator Clash. Dick Masterson responds, should be more. To which Harley responds, should be 10 times more. Keemstar then continues tweeting about Creator Clash when he posted this video and says, remember when Racegum requested Keemstar should organize Creator Clash and iDubbbz said, no way?
Though he did want Keemstar to organize the event, so naturally, I took on all the responsibility of organizing this event because I'm not going to have Keemstar do that.
Keemstar continues tweeting when he says, "Dear iDubbbz, after blocking me, you still comment on all my tweets. So now you see this. Sam Hyde has honestly no troll offered his help to you during this time. I will also help you. The people you see as enemies are not your enemies. The true enemy is... I'll leave her out of it. Good luck." Keemstar then shows a tweet from Aniza Jamha where she says, "Ian got a surprise gift in the mail from our Creator Clash business partners. Even in make-believe land, Ian can't seem to win." Keemstar comments on this by saying, "She goes out of her way to humiliate her husband every day." Leafy responds by saying, "This all happened because of the Rice Gum diss track." Keemstar also tweets out this Twitter video with the caption, "His wife just leaked that iDubbbz shit himself. This has to be the worst wife imaginable."
If you can. I just want to ask him if you've always been shitting your pants.
No.
Because since I've known you, you've always had like IBS. You've always been shitting yourself.
Yeah, well...
Leafy responds by saying, "Disagree. Based. She needs to keep going." And then I have one more set of tweets to share with you. I didn't know where to place this in the video, so I'm just gonna put it at the end. But Tommy C tweets out some DMs that him and Harley had in March of 2023, where he tells him that the pay-per-view buys and ticket sales are already bigger for Creator Clash 1 than Creator Clash 2, and he captions it by saying, "Shocking. Harley Plays was lying to me. Lol." Harley responds, "I lied to you in private because I don't respect you. I didn't know the 50k pay-per-view buys until today. This is a funny response. If you don't find it funny, you read it wrong." And that was about it for the discussion surrounding Creator Clash 2 for the next 9 months, until this topic was brought up again by Aniza and iDubbbz on their Patreon podcast, The Bog, where they talked more about Froggy Fresh, and once again talked about my video, which you guys have already watched as part of this compilation. Anyways, here is what they said.
When we were being threatened to be sued, they actually said, the lawyer said that they didn't believe us, that we lost money on the second year.
Yeah.
And they wanted us to like show our like back end basically, and show them that we lost money. They like said that they used the fucking Bowblax video as like proof.
What? Yeah, which is why even though if you come out and you make videos where you aren't necessarily alleging things, but everything that you're saying is like an implication, it still fucking has real world consequences, and it's fucking bullshit. Some lawyer's trying to use this as
an argument. But we're sitting there waiting for the doctor to come in to stitch Ian's eye up, and we're trying to digest the idea that we like only sold 50k pay-per-views. And we looked at each other and we were like, "Do you want to just like fucking
kill ourselves?"
Like literally, like there was like that actual like thought.
It was just like, what the fuck?
Like what the fuck do we do?
Yeah, what are we supposed to do? This is
like,
not...
I have never felt so horrendous.
Yeah.
Like, we're having this conversation while we're waiting for the fucking doctor to come in and stitch your eye up.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where you're just kind of like...
We did everything we could right, and we cared. And like, I felt like we provided a fantastic product, and you sacrificed your body twice. You like we really believed in what we were doing, and then to be greeted with pirating to the point where like we couldn't even pay back what we had like put on the table to put on the event, like was such a emotional gut punch that I feel like I'm never going to get over. Like the pirating, having websites up because people felt like we made the wrong decision pulling someone to make sure that like not only charities didn't get money but we lost money as like a punishment. But I do honestly wonder how many people who bought it the first year saw people tweeting and you know, tweeting irresponsibly, to be honest, without all the information about...
Still, though, I don't think people care enough about like the... Like, it maybe justifies in their mind a little bit more to do the pirating.
Yeah. The second year we decided to do the gala, which everybody complained about. Not everybody, but some people were like up their ass about us like doing the gala. We decided to do that this year because the first year everybody got punched in the head, and then the very next day everybody's getting on planes, and we had all these feelings that we hadn't processed. The second year, which by the way, we knew that we had lost money on the event, and we had to go to the gala.
Yeah.
We had to go there. And everyone, and I really wish I could take everybody that's listening to this and put them in my, like, you know, like SpongeBob had Plankton in his, like, head. Like, I wish I could put all the viewers in my fucking head, and so they could see. Like, we had like coaches, boxing coaches, coming up and grabbing us and hugging us and crying and telling us how important this was to them. We had fighters, we had friends of fighters, we had people coming up and saying, thank you so much for doing this for my partner. It has built their self-esteem in a way that I've never been able to, like.
Yeah.
We had so many people in this gala, like, so thankful. Everybody was laughing. Everybody was dancing. There was karaoke. You had Dakota Olave, who was talking about how, like, this was, like, the most unifying thing. He was performing, like, Eminem with, he was performing it with Jarvis Johnson. And it was, like, this magical, like, movie moment where it felt like this was the right thing to do for everyone as a thank you, is to have them be here and be with each other and, like, be celebrated, because, you know, this is a huge thing. And we had to sit there while we knew that we had lost money. But I'm glad that we did it, because I think it was very important for people to have that at the end of
I think it was important for us as well. I mean, it was a hard lesson. As we can see, there's other circumstances that lead to that, like, idea suffering, I guess. You know, pirating, hate campaigns,
God, that
all
was
sorts
so
of shit.
bad.
Just drama in general.
That's the other thing. Dealing with, because, like, it's one thing to have, like, hate videos be made about you, but have hate videos be made about you while you're, like, spending $1 million+ on an event that you know can, like, be swayed by public opinion while training. Like, those last 2 weeks when you were giving interviews and you didn't know, like, what was going to be online that day, and, like, what were people saying, and what was the, like, I mean, it got to the point where, like, you couldn't even advertise on your own socials.
Yeah.
Even just for your own sake.
I was like, I don't want to fucking tweet anything. These fuckers are going to, like, just constantly, like, ream me over this decision that was very fucking justified.
Yeah. Which, and it had nothing to do with, like, the OnlyFans comment.
Yeah.
Which still, like...
Oh, yeah, there's loads of, like, things that we can talk about. I feel like, I mean, at this point, it's like we're a year away from it now.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, there's still so much to that whole thing.
Yeah.
That people don't know.
I know.
And I'm like, you know, I want to respect, you know, a lot of the people that we talk to, you know, coaches primarily.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were a lot of very justifiable reasons.
Yeah, including, like, not showing up to training.
Yes.
Like, there were so many, and I think a lot of people banked on us being fair and not sharing everything.
Yeah, and that is exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened. And I mean, you know, I don't know. I think if the one thing that I would change is, like, I love our team and I love our PR team, but I think that was such a unique situation that the advice that we were getting, I think.
Yeah, and I want to trust the professionals, but there's certain situations where you're like, oh, fuck, it looks like I'm the professional here.
I know.
Like, there's not a person who knows my channel and what we've been building better than me. The shit, like, fuck it makes me angry.
The accusations of us
really angry
stealing money makes me very angry.
Yeah. And I will say, like, this is one of these things where, like, no one's going, or I would say I haven't come across a video that explicitly states that we or anyone involved has, like, stolen money or whatever.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, with the irresponsible type of, like, commentary videos and reporting, it's basically all like implied to the audience, and there is no amount of there's no amount of journalistic integrity to, like, take responsibility for, like, the message that you're spreading.
I know. Well, also there's, like, leaked DMs of their, like, conversations
and planning
with each other,
it. Oh yeah, that whole, like, Keemstar shit. Yeah.
It's nasty.
Yeah, and it's all out there. I fucking recorded this, like, this one person basically who was in one of these, like, tea rooms, like this DM
they
group.
call them tea rooms.
Yeah,
like, tea is in, like,
right.
Tea. Yeah.
They were just scrolling through. It was like a 2 hour. I think it was like 2 2 hours, a part 1 and a part 2, of them just scrolling through the DMs with Keemstar and Bowblax and all these people in their on their YouTube, and I was like, oh shit, this like
fucked up.
They're just talking all the time.
No, I know.
And like plotting and shit. Like, what do you fucking...
Makes them feel good, I guess.
So insane. It's creepy.
It's creepy. And then it's also like, I really don't get characters like that because they're also the ones who clip our podcast. You sit through an hour and a half of our podcast.
Yeah.
And clip something just to like put it on your timeline to like remind people that we exist. Like, I want those people to forget that we exist.
Yeah, I would prefer that.
And like, you don't have to watch it, bro. Like, you just don't. So like, but it's they just have nothing else.
Yeah.
You know, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, that's just part of the content.
Losers.
It's just part of the content. I mean,
that's
like
the definition of loser to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Someone who like occupies their time with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because I think it wouldn't bother me if it was just like about us, but it affected the whole, like their like narrative building that they clearly did together, like affected the landscape for everyone that was involved in Creator Clash.
Yeah.
I mean, there were people that like I think about the most innocent people involved, like our broadcasting team.
Yeah.
Like I don't think people understand this. We had to like have the FBI involved. The FBI was involved. We had the police, the Tampa Bay police were involved. We had to like track flight logs to see who was coming, who was flying in. For many, we had many names on that list. There were like 2 bomb threats. We had 2 bomb threats. And because we had the FBI involved and all of this beforehand, we actually did a bunch of bomb sweeps with dogs during, before, after the event. It was insane.
Yeah, that way when the bomb threats like essentially come in, I think they could essentially be like, well, we've been
clearing
we cleared it ahead of time and no one's come in and out, so it's kind of like it gives them a lot more confidence that these are just you know, swatting basically.
It's swatting. Yeah. So like man, were we on it? We had the FBI and all of that involved so early on that like, yeah, I don't know. It having to explain to like the production team and broadcasting team like what's going on and what not to look at because it's just so toxic.
Yeah. And it's just confusing for anyone who's living a normal ass life. Like, I don't expect any of these people to know what the hell's going on. Like, this shit's like confusing, and like when you come across it and you're not part of it, you're like, this shit's like creepy and weird. Like, am I in the right place?
I know. And we stepped on such a landmine that we did not know was a landmine at the time.
Yeah.
Which sucks. You know, to have that
crazy.
explode during the he waited like 3 months to start being weird.
Yeah. Fuck. There was a period where fucking like Brittany Venti was making videos about you.
Yeah.
And she just kept doing it until I think like it was one of those things where she could have theoretically continued to do it because you are a living person who interacts with the world.
Yeah.
But I think she stopped primarily because like people just didn't want to fucking see it. It's
anymore.
like, how much are you going to talk about this person?
Yeah, you got to get tired eventually.
And I feel that way about the commentary people. Like, it all, like, you know, it's trendy for a while.
But it makes me mad because it's like the amount of steam that it has. You'd think that you like touched a child or something.
Yeah.
Like if you think about the people who get the amount of shit that
like
you get.
Juicy.
Yeah, it's like Onision.
Right.
Like you're not in an Onision. Like why? What the hell?
I mean, that you're right.
Like,
That's what I was thinking about earlier. I was thinking about that earlier when you were talking about like how your event got like the FBI involved and like there were bomb threats, and I was like, how did this all go so wrong? And I thought, oh yeah, Ian got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's like literally what happened.
Yeah.
And it evolved to that. Like, what the hell?
I know.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
You made nothing but responsible decisions.
Well, I mean, all responsible except, you know, fucking making a documentary about Sam Hyde.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like,
I think that
Yeah, I mean, it just like kept fucking coming up. None of these fuckers have any good intentions, right? Like, every commentary YouTuber is just like grabbing this shit out of like a fucking like a pipeline. It's being fed to them in a very
and then they're like, this is fact,
deliberate way. Yeah,
dude, what the hell is he even talking about? The videos of mine that they're critiquing in this Patreon podcast are videos that you guys already saw as part of this big compilation that you're watching now of all my Creator Clash 2 coverage. And maybe I'm biased, maybe you guys disagree since you've seen the videos, but I just think Ian is straight up coping and using me as a scapegoat to pass off blame to. And I'm not the only one who thinks iDubbbz was coping, as Froggy Fresh made a tweet reacting to the podcast where he says, "Imagine over a year later talking in your secret dungeon podcast, you were too cowardly to publicly broadcast, still coping and lying saying the reason I was kicked out of your boxing event was because I didn't show up for training. Did that info come from the alcoholic boxing promoter your business partner set up as my coach, who couldn't find me someone to spar or was too scared to spar himself, that I was given permission to get rid of? The guy who was 1.5-hour drive one way, that was getting paid under the table telling me not to let the gym owner know he was getting paid because he was lying saying he was training me for free for a charity event? The guy who would cancel when I was in my car ready to drive 1.5 hours early as shit because he had diarrhea? Jesus fucking Christ, mate. Imagine doing a 1.5-hour podcast crying about your haters lying a year later when no one fucking cares. P.S. Not all your haters are incels. Stop the cap. After paying $5 to listen to an hour and a half of complaining about haters, some ambiguous lawsuit stuff, lying about me, still coping about their personal monster that lives under the bed. I do feel bad for these two, seriously. I was mad at first, but now I'm just sad. They have some personal demons, even if they are mostly self-inflicted. Best of wishes to them. Just let them live in the delusional bubble that they are always victims, and everyone else is a sexless meanie. There is no nuance. These are very black and white people, who I really don't even believe are aware of their own levels of disrespect shown to others, and someone who can't stand not being the smartest person in the room. Good night. Carlos Rangel responds to Froggy by saying, "Dude, you were at the gym like it was a job, sparring twice a week with experienced amateurs." Froggy quote tweets him and says, "My real coach, a great man who has dedicated his entire life to the sport of boxing and taught me so much in life and in sport. My real trainer, Coach Carlos, knows I was always there on time for every practice and could actually get me legit sparring partners and was ready to corner me. Talk to him, not the salty boy your partner is bros with that was mad he got the boot." Robin Suda responds to Froggy by saying, "Didn't they replace you with the guy that only had 2 weeks to train?" Froggy responds, "Yup." Bato Linguini says, "Crydubbbz still talking about destroying their own show? Jeezums." Froggy responds, "What else is there to talk about?" Intel CPU says, "Crazy that Ian is so bad at lying. If this was the truth, he would have said that was the reason when it happened, instead of whatever BS reason he said." But Froggy responds, "Right. It would have went over much better with the public over the real reason, but it wasn't true. So he couldn't use that in his May video, even though I know he'd already been gossiping with the trainer, who he allowed me to can." Funny enough, neither of them ever spoke a word to my real trainer who was approved by him. Beazle responds to Froggy by saying, "Watching these people drag you through the mud and imply you are a Nazi, say you stole money from charity, and label you a racist and misogynist was the most frustrating things I've ever witnessed." Froggy responds, "Thank you. It was frustrating for me as well, and I can't believe they still won't shut the fuck up about me, especially with shit that can be fact-checked. They don't even believe that bullshit themselves." Into the Fart Side responds to Froggy by saying, "Crazy how wasn't it Harley who publicly said it was because of the OnlyFans comments, and he knew 100% for a fact?" Froggy responds, "Just when I start to feel bad for this fucking guy and his wife, they start lying about shit that they both know is verifiably false with receipts. The delusion is mind-blowing. It's more mind-blowing that they never even talked to Coach Carlos after giving me permission to switch to him as my official coach. It's like they are lying to themselves and a handful of people thinking I'll never hear this BS." And that's about it for the entire story of Creator Clash 2. As for this new stuff, obviously a lot of stuff was directed at me specifically, and I will be giving my opinion on all of that on my second channel, Mayo Monkey, where I post more opinionated content. So if you want to check out that channel, I highly recommend you do. I've been spending a lot of time making content on there as of late. But if you enjoyed this style of video, you shouldn't forget to subscribe to this channel with notifications on, leave a like, and let me know what you thought about all of this in the comment section below. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.